3, 2, 1, action. All right, guys. Episode 3 of the podcast, Toronto Snowstorm Edition.
Hey.
Merry Christmas. We out here. Let's go. All right. So today we're talking about. I think we were talking about like how like when you're dating people, you might not really be showing like the truest version of yourself.
Oh yeah. So I was saying this. There's like a general disconnect between men and women currently, and I think it's because, from my experience, when you're talking to a girl or when a girl's talking to a guy, right, it's not really a genuine conversation because you're both courting each other, right? So you're basically both trying to seem like the best version of yourself, right? So there's things that you're not going to say, and there's things that you're basically you're going to like, sell more than others, right? And I think when that happens, you never actually have to get to have like a genuine conversation about, like, for example, from a guy's perspective, like with girls, like what girls actually like, what girls are actually into, what turns them on. You know what I'm trying to say? Just because sometimes it's like maybe a girl doesn't want to explain what turns her on because she might think that might be weird, and when she's trying to court you, she's trying to put like the hottest version of herself out there, right? And the same thing with guys. I feel like there's a lot of things, a lot of poor perspectives women have because they never actually have genuine conversations with men. Because again, it's the same thing. It's like when they are speaking with men, it's not a genuine conversation, not a friendship. It's like some sort of like courting thing, right? So I think because of that, on both sides right now, there's like a misconception of the other gender, and it's literally, in my opinion, being fueled by a lack of communication.
Yeah. So I read this book called Attached, and they talked about like attachment styles. And then it was this other book. I think it was Brené Brown's book on vulnerability.
Yeah.
And she says that that's what a lot of love is. Like the more you get your heart broken, the more defensive you're gonna be, and then the more like suspect you're gonna be acting around like new people that you meet in your life until you just have like walls up.
Oh yeah. That's the other thing. That's the funny part. Yeah, I know, because I'm the same way. So okay, I'll say this. So it's funny because like I've had my heart broken, and I've definitely become now like a completely different person. I'll say this, like a completely different person. And the shitty thing though is that like it's almost that you have a poor conception of like women. Because like you were so hurt in that relationship, but at the same time it's like the relationship that broke you happened when you were young, and it's like when you're young you're uneducated, not from like institutional but from a life perspective. There's things you just don't know, right? And without guidance you're going to make mistakes. So I feel like that's what a lot of young relationships end up happening in young relationships, because young relationships are very beautiful, right, but also very chaotic, again, because there's things you don't know. You need to like learn. So for example, like I am a much better now, technically better boyfriend, because I've had a relationship that I made the mistakes in. You know what I'm trying to say? But at the same time, going back, there's a level of jadedness. Like I'll never be like, I don't know, as willing to fall in love with another girl.
Yeah, like I feel like when you're young, sometimes when you look at like relationships that start really young and like maybe like both of them have a low body count and they sort of just date and they don't really go through this like whirlwind drama in their 20s of dating like 20, 30 people deep and like maybe having your heart broken like 5, 6, 7 times to the point where like you might be paranoid, feel some kind of level of dysfunction. I don't want to say everyone as they get older, everyone in their 30s and 40s has like that type of like emotional baggage, but I think
if you're single, you do.
Statistically, yeah, I'd say it's pretty common.
If you're single, yeah, man, because there's been so many conversations I've had with chicks that I shall not name, and basically it's like we could have had a great relationship, but we're both jaded. Mm-hmm. We both have preconceived notions of each other that we're unwilling to let go of, because there's a level of risk you have to take when entering a relationship, and like you need it's the older you get, the more averse to risk you are.
Yeah. Right.
It's like sometimes like. Yeah, because like I don't know, man. Sometimes there'll be dumb things where like I know this girl, I might like her, but she has a high body count. She moves a certain way, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be about that life. So I'm sort of refraining from like getting too involved with her. And that's the other thing I do a lot too, and I think a lot of chicks do as well too, where it's like I'll talk to a girl, but I'll keep her at an arm's length. Even when I'm trying to talk to a girl romantically, I'll keep her at an arm's length. You know, because I don't really want her to like over engage with me, because I'm still like jaded from like previous relationships where basically this girl turned me into a bitch, and then when she broke up with when it ended, like I was just broken, right? So it's like you don't want to re-engage. It's such a bad. Honestly, it's almost like breakups are such a like the bad parts of breakups are such a bad feeling. It's almost like physical pain. You don't want to. You're like I don't want to like I don't want to like deal with that ever again. That's what happened. You almost have to be an idiot to be willing to like easily fall in love with somebody else again. You know what I'm trying to say? But I think it's also different for guys and girls though. Because I think as a dude you shouldn't be focused on that. I think it's like, as a guy, the best thing like that happened to me, to be honest, is like being single at the point where I am right now, because I have the ability to singularly focus on myself and be completely selfish. In a relationship, you can't be selfish. Obviously, you're a piece of shit. So I think honestly, like it's I don't know.
Yeah, I think when I was younger, I used to, like, I don't know why, I used to just go after, like, sort of, like, bad bitch type girls, because, like, they were just exciting, and they'd give you that emotional rush, and then you get older, you start realizing that, like, all that exciting, like, up and down roller coaster type, that's just toxicity, man. That's just, like, if you watch, like, that's all this Korean drama where, like, it's for TV, it's reality TV, but the guy, like, what did he do? He broke up with his girlfriend, invited her to like a restaurant just to like, you know, give her closure. She shows up at the restaurant and then like, I didn't actually break up with you. I'm actually going to put on this amazing performance for you and I'm going to shower you with gifts and I'm going to essentially love bomb you. And so I'm going to take you, like, I'm going to give you this roller coaster. I'm going to take you all the way to the bottom and crush
That's terrible.
Crush your fucking soul.
That's
and then I'm
terrible.
going to take you all the way to the heights and like love bomb you. So I think in the modern day, like, this show came out in 2008. Like, I think in the modern day, they would definitely define this as like narcissistic personality sort of love. Like, we have so much more, awareness on like what a healthy relationship and everything is these days. Well, definitely more than before, man. Because like even if you just look at like old like American Pie and these old like movies and everything, there's so much toxic behavior and and you know what's crazy about it is that like people are just like, oh yeah, that's just the way it is. It's like acceptable. It's acceptable to do. In the same way in the 1950s, it was like, you know, like people thought it was like not acceptable to beat your wife, but like it was happening so much to the point where people didn't even know how they didn't even have like a system to deal with it, right? They were just like, yeah, this is happening. We're not really sure what to do about it.
I find it crazy that there's a shirt called a wife beater.
Yeah, exactly. Like the fact that shit even exists says something about the generation. I think maybe this is why nowadays they're saying like Gen Z and millennials we're soft this and that or like so one of my friends. I was at a party yesterday. One of my friends said she read the David Goggins book, and she says that book is the complete opposite of all wellness training. No negative self-talk. Don't say bad shit Don't say bad shit.
Yeah.
Be positive. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself time. Be patient. And then but David Goggins, he's like his foundation is the military, right? So what he talks about is that he's just like, yo, in a hyper-rational war, there really isn't any time for feelings or even grief or like, you know, your friend gets shot in the head. You don't have time to grieve or even feel bad about that. Okay, here's our coach. Yo, what's up, dude? Okay, is there security down there? Oh, yeah, it's a buzz, my bad. Yeah, we're recording right now. It buzz one more time.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it.
Yeah. That's good old Professor Adrian.
Yeah, so Adrian to be on the podcast, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, like just in terms of like mental health and everything, I feel like we have better systems now, and they're calling us soft. But yeah, one of my friends read David Goggins, and I thought David Goggins was one of the best books I've ever read. And then she read it, and she's just like, this book is the most toxic, toxic masculinity type. Man, I'm sorry guys, I'm fucking this up. You're trying to come in now. Toxic masculinity type book. That's not helpful, and she's just like, you know, and she thought it was like hilarious and like very grindy and everything like that, but I just go ahead.
There's definitely a duality. Okay, here's the thing. Like, I definitely feel there's a spectrum, and it's relative to where you're from. And I think what David Goggins is saying, it's almost like how when rappers say, "Hey man, I'm not making this shit for you. I'm making it for the niggas in the hood." You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm not making this for like, you know,
young woman.
You know, he's basically like it's like there's people who are in a bad situation in life, right? And there is no self-help book that's gonna fucking help you. You need to fucking get your shit together, and that's only gonna happen through attrition, kicking yourself like in the ass consistently, and putting yourself in scenarios you don't want to be in, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who need to hear that fucking message, that's not shared, and so it really depends. Yeah, if I'm like a 20-year-old, upper middle class or lower, like upper class, whatever, white woman, who's going to like U of T and then like U of T law school, David Goggins probably has no application to my life.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm trying to say? It's like your life is so easy that like, you know, and that's not necessarily true. I feel like everyone experiences attrition, but again, it's basically relative. But yeah, I feel like I get the same shit too. There's people who give me shit about like I sort of like this is what I was talking about. Like, so it's funny. I was saying like at the gym, I feel like I get this certain perception. It's just sort of like because I operate a certain way. And I can see how some women sort of refer to it as toxic masculinity. Yeah. And it's because I'm not like an overly happy, nice guy. You know what I'm trying to say? But at the same time, it's because I've had shit happen to me. I'm not going to be an overly... Like, I've sat down and thought about this so much. Because I had a lot of people they talked to me about this. I was like, no, I've had like a lot of shit happen to me where it's like I should not. If everything that happened to me in my life happened and I walked around happy with a smile on my face, being overly positive all the time, I would be fucking psychotic. This is what I'm trying to say, right?
You think so?
Oh, 100%, bro. You can't be happy all the fucking time, and people go through shit. And I think the great thing about having my perspective on life is that I have a lot of empathy. Not sympathy unanimously, but empathy, because I understand people different perspectives. Some people are going through fucking shit, you know, and it can be the craziest shit. Some people are struggling to pay rent every fucking month of the year.
Oh, dude.
And you know
dude,
the stress.
Dude, 1/3 of the world lives on less than $2.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I looked at the stats, dude, online. I'm like, how many people make like 6 figures in the world? Like, and the amount of people with a net worth of $1 million in the world.
Yeah.
If you know how many people, guess how many people it is? It's 0.6% of the world have a net worth over. Because I think at the same time, like at the same time when you look at this, like it's just like the fact that like luxury companies and everything exist. They do have a customer base, and it's not billions of people, but it's still millions. Guess how many people in the world have a net worth of like $1 million or make like multiple 6 figures? Guess, Adrian.
Well, which of the two?
So I actually use ChatGPT to make the estimate, which is ChatGPT actually.
So what amount? What's your question?
Guess how many people? Not when people say like the 1%. I don't want a percentage of the world. Guess how many like actual people on Earth make like have a net worth of over $1 million or make like multiple 6 figures a year.
I have a net worth of $1 million.
Yeah.
The number of people.
Yeah.
The number of people that have net worth.
Now, like, and if you think about that, because like. Some people, like, it can't be a small number, because, like, if luxury companies exist, if companies like Bugatti exist where they can actually sell cars that are worth that much, there has to be a market for people who are that rich. If luxury hotels exist...
I think it's definitely less than 1%.
Yeah.
If I were to guess, it's probably...
Yeah, but I'm not looking for the percentage number, I'm looking for the actual, like,
number.
Like,
okay,
the actual number.
So can you say the question again?
How many people on Earth have a net worth of $1 million or make like multiple 6 figures a year salary, and we'll probably eventually achieve that.
I would say in the ballpark of
it's a hard estimate, right?
750,000 to $1 million.
I would say more. I would say.
Dude, are you crazy? Like that's like should be way higher. You say
I think higher than that.
A million net worth. So if you own a house in Toronto, like that, like $1 million, that's way higher in the world. I'm talking every country. I'm talking countries like China. There's 1 billion people.
Okay. I don't know. So let's see. So are we at 7 or 8?
It's a good question. Yeah.
Are we at 7 or 8?
Okay. We're almost at 8. Okay. Do you want to tell you?
I think it would be about 30 million.
Okay, that's a really accurate. Yeah. So they estimated around 45 million people. Because I'm looking. Who the fuck is buying luxury clothes? Who's buying fucking luxury? Like who buys Benzes and who supports these massive car companies?
Yeah.
Who buys luxury cars? Who's buying like multi-million-dollar real estate? And because you know what I think about when people talk about being rich, it's like oh like you know there's some girl she saves up all her money and she buys like an LV bag and then she's just like well whatever because like you know there's all these girls out here who have like Birkins and everything and it's kind of just like how many girls on Earth have I start trying to calculate like how can a company like Hermes sell this many Birkins and actually have it be profitable, like how many people and when I saw the number I'm just like well if you have a customer base of 45 million people who might be able to spend $2,000 on a bag, not a Birkin bag but like an LV bag or something eventually, then you can run a business off that because if you look at luxury services, people think luxury services that they're servicing like when people think luxury services I swear that even Bugatti, their customer base I still think might be like maybe 3 million people on Earth who can afford like a $2 million car. I spent some time thinking about this. Okay, anyways, this is our topic I had a conversation about yesterday with my friend. So my friend says he's really sick of going on TikTok and seeing morning routine videos of like people being like, oh, and it started off on TikTok as this morning routine that's only hard to do.
I just use my phone.
Yeah, is that your Android?
Yeah, just an Android. I just have the.
You have the cable.
Yeah.
I'll just plug it into the.
If you just have any kind of generic.
Or just plug it into that. Or just,
do you need this?
No, just unplug it and just plug it in.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so back to my point. So my friend yesterday was saying that on TikTok there's all these videos of people with like morning routines and like I've seen this trend where it's like, okay, I follow this one girl and what she does is that she gets up in the morning and she films her entire morning like, yo, I'm making like a fruit bowl for breakfast with my granola and my yogurt and I'm like washing my face using these products and I'm doing my whole daily routine, but she's doing it in a way that's such a flex. She's like, yo, I'm getting up in the morning and being a normal ass person, but I'm doing it in a way that's like better than you. Like, look how masterfully I'm doing my fucking like fake moisturizer in the morning. And she's probably selling products and like she's an influencer and everything, I get that, but I'm starting to realize like, what does this do to the mental health of other women who are just normal girls eating granola, eating oatmeal for breakfast? Go ahead.
So that's a great question. I actually had a conversation with a former girlfriend of mine about this, and it's funny because she actually was a childhood TV star.
Oh wow.
And I was like, if you think about it, childhood TV stars generally don't have like a lot like.
You oughta ran here.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah.
I fucking ran 5K here, man.
Yeah.
It's so good running.
Yeah.
Very slippery but good.
Yeah, but childhood TV stars basically have like, it's not like you usually have like a big fan base. Sure, maybe you have like your you know, like I can't think of the kid's name anymore, but like you're gonna have like your singular child celebrity that has millions of fans, but generally a childhood TV star has like, let's say maybe like 10,000 fans off of like just, you know, your random like kid show. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's not a huge fan base. Even those kids end up really fucked up, like the more they progress, right? And it's almost like there's almost the concept. I forget who brought it up, and this is obviously not like academic per se, but it's like your famous age. It's like, so the age you get famous is the age you are forever.
Yeah,
right?
no,
So,
yeah, for sure. No,
yeah, so I feel like with a lot of, it's not even just girls. If you look at, I'm in the fitness industry. I'm not like, I work out a lot, but like even look at a lot of the guys in the fitness industry, right? I honestly feel like it, and I'm using this word purposefully here. It sort of retards your progression, man. Because basically it's like if you start getting too, it's weird because if you start essentially being able to commercialize your life off of the attention economy, people are paying attention to the person you are right now. It does not allow you to progress. It's a similar thing with rappers. Everyone gets upset like when Kid Cudi changes his music because he's growing as a person, right? So the same thing now, you're an influencer, you have a large fan base who likes you for you doing this certain thing, sort of compels you to keep on doing the same thing. That's what I'm trying to say.
They can pigeonhole you, and one of the biggest complaints music artists have about their sound is that once the song, like the White Stripes talks about this, once your hit becomes big enough, you don't really own that song anymore. It almost belongs to the world. Because if you show up like Coachella or some shit, I'm just like, we're so excited to see the White Stripes today, and you don't play your hit song, everyone's gonna be like booing you and shit, and like it's just like and in that sense, like you made music for the world and it came through you, but like you don't really own it anymore. And the thing about being talent in general, the talent industry in general, is your curve is probably like, let's say you're a child star, your curve might be like 12 to 18. And then after that, you're kind of, you might make like millions of dollars by the time you're 18, and after 18, like you're not cute anymore. You might slowly start washing out.
It's not even 12 to 18 if you think about it, right? Like I would say so. Like I remember the Olsen twins.
Yeah.
They in my history of childhood stars probably had the longest tenure.
Yeah.
Right, and that was probably from when I think about it, like late 90s to mid 2000s. So that might have been not even a decade. Obviously, as a kid, you're a kid. There's no way you don't have a long run time, right?
What about Ariana Grande? She's gone longer.
Has she though?
Yeah,
but you know what I'm trying to say? It's
She's
like,
gone much longer.
But she has. But even her, I think that's an incredibly toxic person.
Well, no, that's not the point though. The point is that she's still popular, right?
No, but I agree. But she's had to evolve from a childhood star to essentially now a sex symbol. And I think that's what naturally a lot of these people do, like a Hannah Montana or even or Britney Spears. I think she was always a sex symbol though. But yeah, and I think the other thing though is that like, you're not going back. It's like when you have a lot of attention on you, I feel like even your progression, if you're allowed to have that, is not even what you want it to be. So you hear like a lot of people complain about I feel like a lot of like female childhood stars complain about how like they decided to basically mature, and they decided to mature by going through this like sexualization phase, which is great. But then you start realizing, oh, that's all people want. You sort of have to stay there, like Hannah Montana, and it's like, so if you end up becoming a different person, sort of hard. Right, because it's like now people are sort of in control of the person you are. Anyhow, but going back to what I'm trying to say in terms of like social media and whatnot, specifically Instagram, I think it's literally like it's really like, and honestly like, it's very clear to see. You talk to any therapist right now, they'll tell you being a psychologist is the greatest job right now because there's way more business than psychologists out there or therapists out there, right? The mental health scenario right now is absolutely fucking terrible, and it gets worse the younger the age goes. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think it's very clear, like like the whole idea of being an influencer is fucking terrible for you, man.
That's why a lot of child stars like past their Disney identity, they all have to do some like crazy radical shit to sort of like break away. Like Selena Gomez did the movie Spring Breakers, where she plays like a party girl in Miami, and like they're all doing and I think one of the other co-stars too was also like a Disney star, or like I think she was on like True Blood or something. I can't remember, but she was on something much more like sober and like evil than that. And they do it to sort of break the mold and just announce to people, listen, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm a sexualized person. I can do adult content.
I don't even think
not porn, but like.
I don't even think it's their decision. I think the natural progression for a female childhood star is to turn into a slut. Because there's a whole bunch of perverts who wanted to fuck her when she was a childhood star.
Oh yeah, like Miley Cyrus.
Let me give you a better one. Who's redhead?
Christina Aguilera.
She did Herbie. Sugar Herbie.
Well, I don't know who that is.
Fuck, how the fuck did I forget her name already, bro? That's crazy. I don't remember her name. She was very popular. She was like, before, who's the one with the raspy voice right now? Redhead. She did Scarlet A. I'm really bad with
I don't follow
names, too.
celebrities.
I don't know this one.
Anyhow,
Anyways.
all I'm trying to say is that I don't think basically it's their decision to make, and I think on it like yeah I personally have my own preconceived notions about social media use. I think people can use it like in a healthy manner, but like it's a slippery slope if you're not selling a product. If the product is you're selling, it's a slippery slope. I'm saying this from like my own personal experience as well too.
Yeah, like I also just look at like I was on TikTok recently and I'm checking out TikTok because like I just I feel like I need to understand why this app is so crazy, and I understand why YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels is trying to copy their format, because what TikTok has done, it's almost like being on TV. Like back in the day, because I'm a millennial, back in the day we used to watch TV, and then if we're bored, we're just flipping through channels, and there might be like 50 channels. If you were balling, you maybe had cable, you maybe had like double cable package, you might have like 100 channels max. But it's almost like the same idea of 15-second clips flipping. You're kind of scrolling through channels trying to find something to watch, and the algorithm doesn't tell you. But TikTok is doing something really, really good recently. They're actually telling you why the algorithm is suggesting you this video, which is something that Instagram will not do. And this is actually why I think like TikTok, because TikTok is so transparent with their customers and they're treating their customers so well. Let's see if they have customer support. Like I really respect that, man, because like dude, Instagram and like Meta and shit have existed forever, and they are so black box about how the algorithm works. I'm getting all sorts of weird shit. Actually, no, I think sometimes they're just like, you like this post, and then I'm getting spammed with all sorts of like gnarly content.
No, I get the most random shit, bro. I get like, there's a period of time I was getting pregnancy posts.
Oh, Jesus Christ, bro.
There's a period of time I was
pregnancy fetish.
Yeah. Like, there's a period of time, like, actually, right now, I still get like random industrial videos from like in the third world.
Wow.
Or just some random ass shit. Because I'm not always looking at ass on Instagram, right? I'm looking at other like random shit. Right, and yeah, so, but maybe I just gotta look at more ass on Instagram. That'll fix my problem.
Yeah. So TikTok is the new TV. I also heard, like, I was watching on YouTube recently about they're talking about how Cocomelon is edited like 3 to 4 times faster, and this is ruining kids' attention spans because right now we don't watch Sesame Street anymore. We just watch Cocomelon on YouTube. And
I've never heard of
the fuck's Cocomelon.
Okay, so Cocomelon is this kid. Yeah, well, you're not a kid, that's why. But like Cocomelon is like it's the #1 kid show on YouTube, and it has like millions and millions of views.
I should look it up.
And because I work in animation, it's the #1 request I get. Like, can we just make it simple like Cocomelon? So I'm watching Cocomelon, and I'm like, okay, I know the graphics, like the rendering is kind of like simple and plasticky looking, but like that shit's still hard to make. And that's definitely a team of at least 70 people, maybe even 100 people putting out those episodes, and they edit it so fast, and like and they edit it like I'm like, dude, like this is, if you watch Sesame Street, it's like it's like single frame, Oscar to the ground, Big Bird comes in. You watch Cocomelon, it's like cut, and I'm like, you're gonna give kids ADHD by like you're gonna give make a 2-year-old watch this, man? It's so overstimulating.
Do you think? Okay, so the whole idea of 15-second videos or 10-second videos or shorter videos, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's something natural to the human condition, or do you think that's something that has essentially been trained in?
Oh, we've definitely been trained to do it faster and faster, and like I feel like the human brain these days, like the human brain is very plastic, right? So we can sort of like, like we're training people to do all sorts of things, and but at the same time, I think there's kind of a limit, because like when people start having like mental health problems and attention deficit disorder, and I heard being a teacher these days is a nightmare, because you send kids to class and they grow up on Cocomelon and YouTube and shit, and then they go to class, all the kids are on their phones, they're super bored, they just did the pandemic. Like I heard being a teacher right now is like the worst.
Yeah, I heard the same.
Yeah, but you're also an instructor too, so you probably see like what it's like at a university level, right?
It's not as bad in university.
They're
older.
Young kids these days are, and it's actually because it's like weird. I can say this now, but like people 21 and below are really weird to me these days. And I know that's like an old person thing to say, right? But like they operate really differently than how I'm used to having a lot of people operate.
Well, as it should. I mean, there's generational differences, right?
But it's like weird things. It's like, for example, I feel like when and maybe it's not for the worst, when I was like 21, I was like an over energetic sort of douchebag, right? It's like these kids are very like homely and like lack self-esteem and like aren't really doing anything with their lives. Not in a bad way, but you know what I'm trying to say? I find that's a major difference.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
They're more sedated.
Yeah.
Kids are a lot more hyper. They're a lot more into post-ironic humor. I think they're on average a bit more intelligent, actually. But they, I mean, I have a sample bias. I'm at U of T. My experience,
major sample bias.
My experience too, though, is that Yeah, a lot of them have a lot of mental health issues that our generation had as well, but to a higher degree, I feel like. They're more distracted. They admit that they're getting distracted by a lot of stuff.
Would you guys object if I clip this and put this on TikTok? Because we'll get way more hits.
I don't want to be on TikTok.
No, because you're already on Instagram, so you're on YouTube. You're on 2 platforms already.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Wait, so why do you? So you literally physically do not want to be on TikTok?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want Adrian to be on TikTok.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I actually agree with the FTC that it's a security threat, and I actually don't think I don't respect the privacy. I'm just a little bit more sensitive about my privacy. I mean, I really probably shouldn't be using Instagram either.
Yeah.
But TikTok in particular is like very directly connected to the Chinese government.
It is.
So that's actually my concern.
So it's like about
I
Boost
don't
Arts?
want my data.
It's like how Boost and Arts has been.
I'm not sure you mean.
Yeah, so
it's a music festival.
Boost and Arts is this country music festival I decided to attend last year, right? And obviously it's a giant country music festival, 70,000 people. I was like the one black guy there. Actually, there was 8. I counted.
Was Robert with you?
No, Robert was not.
He loved that.
No. So anyhow, I guess they took a couple pictures of me. I was shit faced this whole time, right? Now, I'm all over their TikTok.
Yeah.
They use my
The one black guy on TikTok. The one black guy who went to the country music festival.
But I'm not worried. But from a privacy perspective, I'm not really. But I'm worried about like. Because I'm not on TikTok. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like they're using my NIL for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
I'm on TikTok right now and like.
And I'm not trying to convince you.
Yeah.
No,
It's up to you. It's up to you. It's fine.
I like your logic. I'm trying to.
Like I understand. I'm not judging other people want to use it. I'm just saying it's just absolutely not.
Because I agree with you. I am not using the app at all.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, the U.S. Congress right now is trying to pass legislation to ban TikTok.
Yeah. It makes perfect sense. It is literally.
The reason why, I want to test it. I can do clips without you. The reason why though is because like the type of engagement, the type of hit score I've seen on it is like insane.
No,
it's
there's
the
no
highest.
question.
It's the highest out of all of them. It's like honestly like the videos like. If one clip goes viral, you could get 200,000 hits in a day without even trying.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it would like skyrocket. So like I'm curious to even or we could post it and no one other likes our content and it's just a dud as well. But like it definitely gets more engagement with Instagram because Instagram the way they've done the algorithm is it's hyper focus. You know, and like I've watched quite a few videos on the differences between the two. The thing about they say TikTok is good for like general awareness, and then after you build up like a solidified fan base, you bring it over to Instagram, and then but what TikTok does too is it's also like they are the inventor of reels. Like Instagram, when people do Instagram reels, like TikTok, they're like 15-second shorts. Like TikTok was like the primary thing for that, and before that we had Vine, right? And and Vine died. Like some people like you.
Vine was killed. Vine was murdered.
It was Vine. Like who's hot on Vine was
Isn't that how Jake Paul got off?
Quite a few guys. There was one guy from Toronto. This Indian guy from Toronto got really big on it. His name is fuck, I can't remember his name. Just Rain. Yeah, so Just Rain went viral on. I think at his peak he was at 300,000 to 400,000 subs on YouTube, but he translated the actual fan base over, and there's a lot of possibilities on there too. Yeah, it's an interesting thing because on Instagram you can't organically go viral anymore, in my opinion. It's really hard.
Yeah, you can.
It's just you can, but it's just way harder.
Yeah, but define viral though. Like, what do you mean? Like
you hit like 200,000-300,000 hits on a video.
I've gotten 5,000 off of like a random.
That's pretty hot. But no, but TikTok you can hit you can hit 600.
I found a way. I think I found a way to game the Instagram algorithm and consistently get at least 2,500.
That's pretty high.
Yeah.
That's pretty high. But if you did that on TikTok though, you'd probably hit 100.
Probably yeah. I like honestly like I thought about it. It would make perfect sense for me to be on TikTok, but I'm not doing it.
I think you should the Chinese government is controlling it, but I think it's honestly the way I look at it, I kind of look at it as a bit of a burner account. I don't want to invest too heavily in it just because they're trying to ban it right now, and if they do ban it, do you know how many kids have made their careers on TikTok right now? There's
you can't ban it now. You can't ban it now. You're basically gonna throw it into the black market. You know what I'm trying to say?
Well, it's kind of like Andrew Tate being banned on YouTube. Like he just went over to Rumble. Like I feel like if they banned it, I feel like if they banned it on that, they might try to Instagram
he was on Piers Morgan 2 days ago.
That's crazy.
The second time. For the second time.
I'm amazed they gave
Who's Piers Morgan?
I feel like I should know.
Who's Piers Morgan? Yeah, that's what
I feel like I should know.
So the thing about British talk shows, they're far superior to most.
He's like an old British newscaster kind of guy.
I love British talk shows.
Yeah.
They're the best.
They have a lot. I feel like they're the guys who
do you know Jules Holland and
I do not.
Oh, Jules Holland's really good too.
Yeah.
There's a number of these British talk shows because they're way more intellectualized than the North American. Like, do you know Charlie Rose, for example?
Yeah.
Like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple other.
Isn't Charlie Rose like a super right wing?
No.
No?
I think you're confused with another one. Charlie Rose is quite old. He's only 70 years old.
Okay, yeah.
No, you're confused with someone else. I'm talking like stuff like that was big in like the 70s and 80s.
Is he conservative? Is that what he's like?
No, you're confusing with William Buckley.
Maybe, yeah.
William Buckley is probably is a British conservative. You conservative talk show host.
Yeah, as a Kenyan, I can only listen to the British accent for so long.
Why? Does it sound like colonization?
Yeah.
Does it sound like oppression?
This is the rage just starts building up, bro.
We're back. So right now we're talking about. Odie says he doesn't want to run on the street because people get scared when they see black guys running.
I live in the financial district, right? And I realize as a black guy I can't be a jogger because you just scare people. You know what I'm trying to say? They see me running, bro. They just shook, bro. Like,
I'll be real. When I'm in Leslieville jogging, there's not that many people like they're not scared. When I moved to the Cleveland West, if I'm jogging with my ski mask on down the street and I'm running up Gladstone or whatever, like. You know, like all the women I pass, they're looking if I'm a crackhead. They're looking at me like, is this guy on drugs?
Yeah,
why is this guy running? Because I run at night. Sometimes I run at like 3 in the morning, and I was running in Oakland, California one time, like in the summer. I have all my running gear on. I got my water belt on. I look like a jogger to the max. I have like my sneakers on. I do not look like a crackhead. I look like some Nike freaking advertisement.
Yeah.
Running. Anyways, some guy's like, "Hey man, you okay, bro?" I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. He's like, you're running from the cops. You okay? You need to call the cops right now? I said, no, I'm fine, man. I'm just running. I'm running at 2 in the morning. I'm running pretty late at night, but that's how I know they have like pretty high street crime there. Because in Toronto, I've run at 2 in the morning for about 10 years straight, and like, they just leave you alone. They just assume you're like on some David Goggins like fitness shit. But yeah, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
yeah.
You want to talk about? Do you want to talk about like? I think last time we heard, I want to get this on camera. Ran out of battery. Was talking about. Straight up fucking violence in football. Violence. I remember you're giving the story. You're just like the amount of violence I will enforce.
Oh yeah.
Once the helmet comes off, the amount of violence you said it like so intensely. I'm like, oh my god. You said it so intensely.
Yeah, no, football like is a very honestly for basically like when I was in high school, I was like I played in the box, which they call it the most like violent like in football, like it's the most violent like square footage in sports, right? Because like that's where like the linemen and the linebackers, the running backs are sort of and they're always colliding and whatnot, right? And when I went to university, I played at Mac, and they made me play DB, and I just really didn't like it. And I started realizing, oh fuck, I just like the fighting. I was like, oh shit, you know, I was like, I don't even really like football. I just like being like, you know, just going at somebody like because I was playing rush end, right? So it's like every play you're colliding to someone, so you're just like scrapping someone for 2 hours, like fucking just going at it, right? And I think that's all I liked about football. I was like, so yeah, it's a good time. But when you put that football, because when you put a football, it's not even just putting a football helmet on. It's like when you get on the field, you turn into a different person, especially playing defense, because like you have to sort of not be in the right mind to want to hit people, right? Because that's the thing. But you get to that progression because you start playing football and on the defensive side, and you start realizing, oh, I have to hit people. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is like, oh, I'm scared. And the third thing is like, okay, well, how am I gonna, deal with this with these two opposing like feelings, right? And then you start realizing, oh, okay, what I did, right, was I started running into fear. So I was like, it basically like I would play like scared, but it was like when I see someone coming at me, I'd be like, okay, rather than responding to like the way I usually do to fear, which is like run away from shit, I just run at him now. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It creates these weird like emotional behavior loops you have to like put in your head, and then when you're playing the game, you're sort of incentivized to be even more like violent and aggressive and whatnot. So you turn into like a different fucking person, bro. Yeah. It's hilarious. Yeah, you're like a WWE character.
It just makes me think about how like I guess like the things we're good at growing up and like the things like we're encouraged to do. Like if you're like smart, fast, strong, this and that, they're gonna like it's almost like society looks at you. They're like, you'd be really good at this. We should like make you do this. I think a really crazy one is, hey man, I think you'd be really good at boxing. Let's start you boxing at a really young age and shit like that. Because like a lot of it, like brain damage and shit.
I did that. I did.
A lot of the with brain damage and shit. And they're like, hey man, you're like really good at this. You know, we should put you in the ring. And the next thing you know, you're kicking people's ass. But you were telling me these stories about like doing like wushu and kung fu in like middle school and like whooping everyone's fucking ass and this woman, like the one black guy whooping everyone's fucking ass.
Yeah, because basically like I grew up like poor in a broken home, so I had a rough upbringing, right? So then it was like. When I got into martial arts, I was basically just like I was training with and facing against, for lack of a better term, kids who needed to get like self-defense training, right?
Okay.
Right? And like, so like,
it was soft.
Yeah. So they were very upset when I started going there. You know what I'm trying to say? So I was just beating the shit out of kids. It was fucking hilarious. Like the first wushu tournament I did. So it's just like wushu. It was point sparring, right? And I just fucking flew up, and straight up fly kicked the kid. Because I was like, because I was like, if all I have to do is hit the kid once, I don't want the opportunity to hit me back or have any range. So I just ran at them. Boom. They flew out of the fucking ring. Then they're like, no, you can't do that no more, bro. You can't.
Knocking his fucking
yeah. I was like a white belt my first tournament. I got a gold medal. It was sick.
That's fucking crazy,
beating shit out of purple belts.
No, that's fucking ridiculous,
It's a good time.
bro.
It's a good time.
Straight up violence and shit like that.
And then I progressed from that into football, just higher level violence, and then
when you get to the university level and you're playing varsity, you're like at that point in time, like the level beyond that is literally going pro. So it's like they start scouting out of those type of colleges, right? So it's kind of like
I'll tell you the funniest thing though, right? So, working in finance, you start realizing a lot of like the brokers, especially at like the a lot of the wealth management advisors and with big books actually, and a lot of people who work at broker dealers, right? They're all former OHL players, like hockey players, right?
Oh yeah.
So equally as aggressive. So they're all like. It's funny how like society, at least for the white guys anyhow, takes the most aggressive those ones. You know what I'm trying to say, and puts them in those positions. It's hilarious. I actually found that quite funny because I got along really well with broker because they're just jocks, right? Like so I found that like really funny. I was like, that's really interesting.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, it's a masculine kind of field, right?
I think it's like part of like corporate Canadian culture. Even if you look at like, why is the Maple Leafs the most profitable team? It's because they sell tickets. They sell box office tickets like year round. It's part of like this like you're on a sales deal. They'll give you like cool perks. They'll take you out to like a Leafs game and they consistently sell.
Did you know there was such bullshit happening at wealth management? Actually, there was such bullshit happening at mutual funds, essentially paying wealth management advisors to buy their like shitty products, that the OSC literally had to put a stipulation that you can only spend $250, I forget, not per year, but per a certain amount of time on a broker. They actually watch the expenditure now.
$250.
Yeah, that's it now. Because before people were like, they're doing the craziest shit. Like that's why literally like the strip clubs were around. Because like basically, if you're a wholesaler, right, you're given an expense account, right, and that expense account is to go wheel in more brokers, right. So you just go find the most fucking. You go find some of your bros. Like, all right, yo, let's go to Brass Rails. Chill. All right, you guys got me. You're gonna buy another like $2 million off your book into my fund. Okay, cool. Bet. Let's go chill. That's how the sales worked.
God damn, that's fucking.
That's how like yeah.
So I don't understand. What's the limit on? What's the $250 limit?
So to that, I think it's like I want to say it's per month.
No, but what's it on?
That a wholesaler can spend on entertainment or whatever.
On entertainment.
For an advisor,
sense.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Because like, and the OSC had to implement that, and they actually closely regulate and watch that because there's so much fuckery happening. So many of these mutual funds or
it's almost like a non-monetary kickback.
Yeah, 100%.
That way, yeah.
Well, because there's a lot of brokers who, for lack of a better term, are whores, right? So when I was in equity sales, basically what you're looking for the people who are into churn, right? So basically, what people don't realize is like some of your advisors will get paid commission. And what that means is that they'll get paid commission not just on your portfolio, but also get paid, some of them get paid per transaction, right? So they'll be putting like your capital into mutual funds that are not beneficial for you just because they're making commission off of it. I'll even give you another one. So when I was doing cannabis equity sales, we used to do this thing. Like the reason why I was able to raise $30 million so quickly is because we were offering 7 and 7. Generally, they only offer 3 and 3. So the thing is when you say things like that, right? So
what is 7 and 7?
Exactly. So equity and cash.
Okay.
Right, so I'll give you 7 and 7.
No, what is that? You have to just
like 7 million and 7 million.
Yeah. So like, okay, so based on how much you're putting in, like, so let's say that you're putting like $100 million, right? And I will give you 7% of that, personally, of the 100 million of your client money you're putting in, in shares, and 7% in cash.
Okay, what is the rest?
I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say here. So, like, basically, you're an advisor.
Yeah.
You're responsible for client money.
Yeah.
So I go to you and say, I have this private deal. I think your clients would be interested in.
Yeah.
Right? I'll give you all the marketing material to sell to your clients, but I'll also tell you, I will pay you 7 and 7. So of this 100 million or whatever theoretical money you're going to put into the deal, right?
Okay.
Percentage-wise, how many shares that is, I will pay you 7% in shares, and I'll pay you 7% in cash for you to put that client money into my deal.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's okay.
Yeah. Allegedly. This is all allegedly.
Yeah, man, that's true.
But no, it happens. It's completely above board. It happens across like.
Wait, why is that a problem though? I don't see why it's a problem.
Well, because it's basically like if it's it's a conflict of interest. So as an advisor, am I putting your money into this deal because I really think it's a good idea for you, or am I a whore who's getting paid commission out for taking your money and putting it into this deal?
What would be the alternative though?
There's a lot of really good advisors. I should say this. There's a lot of really good advisors who are really smart guys who just pick really good deals, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how they get their clients into these deals. Versus guys who are
how are they paid? How are they compensated if not 7 and 7?
As an advisor?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, as an advisor, you're getting compensated off of if you're getting off of the book. You're getting a percentage of your book paid out, right? And fees as well too.
But I'm trying to understand how's that different than 7 and 7 though. Because you're getting 7%.
It's one thing. It's one thing for So it's one thing.
So in practice, isn't that the same as if you?
It's one thing. It's okay. So it's one thing for MER is one thing. Management expense ratios like this. Fees are one thing. That's and honestly that's how you should be fucking capitalizing yourself. It should be done period. That should be it. That should be your compensation. You know what I'm trying to say? So a lot of people. A lot of people get paid off of fees. Usually 2.5% of whatever your return is.
Sure.
So that should be where your compensation is, right? Versus a completely separate entity that's got a private deal offering you money to put client money into this deal, generally because they have some other back-end strategy you're looking to implement, which is maybe a pump and dump.
Okay.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Look, Google's listening.
It's okay, it's not connected to Wi-Fi. Do you guys want to talk about AI for a second? So I tried ChatGPT yesterday, so they're saying ChatGPT versus Google. So you go on Google, you're just I don't know, why did World War II start? You go on ChatGPT, Google will give you a list of websites. What ChatGPT will do is it'll write you a written explanation, and then you can actually ask it more questions and sort of inquire. But sometimes I was asking it harder questions and everything. I was asking it how many people were alive during the peak of the Ice Age when humanity's point was at the lowest, and then it'll say some things like, it's really hard to calculate that due to these factors, however, our estimates, and sometimes it won't even give you an actual estimate. Do you know during the Ice Age, the human population went down to an estimated 600 people, and that apparently all the humans alive today are descendants of those 600 motherfuckers who survived. Have you heard about this shit?
I didn't know.
It's fucking crazy,
I don't know much about that period, actually.
Yeah, well,
did you fact check that, though?
Yeah. I fact checked it on, I think BBC did something about it.
And if you look back far enough, one of those niggas looks just like people. Looks just like me.
I won't be surprised, bro, yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, and they said it went down to 10,000, but I just think about the last 600, that's 600 people. And they said pretty much that was the genetic diversity pool, but at the same time I heard the way DNA evolves is that there's no such thing as a pure bloodline that goes on forever, because by the time you're 3 generations out, your DNA has evolved so many times you're not even related to anyone
that's right.
4 generations back. So this whole concept of
except humanity started in Kenya, right?
Well,
yeah, they did.
I think no.
Didn't start Mesopotamia? Is it Mesopotamia?
It's not that.
Hey, Mr. PhD, let me run with this, right?
Yeah. Where did the
Mesopotamia is only 2,700 BC.
I am the oldest DNA.
No, Botswana.
I am pure.
Botswana's older.
I am pure. I
just watched. I've got to give him this flowers. I just want to be probably the oldest DNA on the planet. Yeah, no, but it just made me question the whole idea of hereditary, aristocracy, royalty.
Yeah, it's actually not grounded in science.
It's very unscientific, and it's actually just another form of fucking oppression if you think about it. It's just oppression.
Yeah.
Man, god damn it.
You know what's interesting too is you can give birth to a sequence of people, and then after a certain point, even though you're causally related in the birth chain, after a certain point, you can calculate this mathematically, but maybe 6-7 generations, you have no shared genetic material.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. It's fascinating because it's counterintuitive to people who don't study genetics, that you could have someone has consecutive birth chains, so this person gave birth to this, who gave birth to this, who gave birth to this, and yet this person actually does not share any genetic material with this person.
Yeah, and
it's very counterintuitive to most people, but it's actually the case.
There's this
So an example is when you look at the British monarchy, they're not so people say about the birth heritage going Queen Elizabeth all the way to William of Orange or whatever. You can go back to the 11th, 12th century, 13th century, whatever. You say actually no, they don't share genetic material.
Yeah, they don't.
So even though And so I think that's a big component of the divine right of kings, right? Because a lot of the history of French, British, German monarchies are grounded in this idea that, we have successive bloodlines. Well, actually, strictly speaking, if you look at modern genetics, there's actually no good reason to think that you would actually share exactly the same DNA.
Even if you have sex with your sister or cousin?
Yeah. Oh, dude. What,
So
I was looking at some on the internet.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, even if you do that.
I was looking at some on the internet. So there's a YouTube channel called Software Underbelly where they interview
We watch the same one, bro.
No. Well, he's on fire. He has 4 million subs on YouTube, which is an enormous channel. I'm like, you have like the fucking city of Toronto subscribing pretty much.
The Appalachian family?
So he interviewed these people who were inbred. So what it was that the grandparents were cousins, and then like the parents were like
No. I remember what it was. So it was okay.
They were very. It was ridiculous.
It was both grandparents. No, so it was so both grandparents were twins.
Oh yeah.
And then they but they were cousins, right? And then they had kids.
That's crazy if you think about it. No, were they a male? Was it a male female twin?
It was two twins.
Was it a male female twin or two males?
Two male female twin, but no. So basically, it was like two identical twins, right? Were cousins.
Yeah.
They had kids.
Interesting. Okay.
And their parents were also related.
So so they were twins. Okay. Was it a male and female twin? Or was it identical twins?
So there are two sets of identical twins. So that means there's two pairs of two females and two males.
Yeah.
Did you know that one of the biggest things that can happen to you when you inbreed that deeply is one of the first signs actually is you have really screwed up facial symmetry, which is why like having a super symmetrical face is like a form of like beauty, but it's also a genetic detector that humans can subconsciously see that you're not inbred. Because people are talking about like why is facial symmetry amongst models like a designer trait, and it's because if it shows you're not inbred, bro. I was like, God damn.
Something I really want to get to the bottom of, and has really not been like honestly, in my opinion, researched adequately enough. What the fuck is up with incest porn? Because this shit didn't exist like no. It didn't exist in 2010. It didn't exist.
I feel like in Japan they've had this shit going on forever, bro.
Wait, why do you say it didn't exist? How do you
didn't. I am an avid watcher of porn. All right, I'm
before 2010.
I'm quite well researched, right? Yeah, 2010.
I'm quite well researched.
At one point in my life, I had a terabyte of porn. I'm done.
That's a lot of porn.
Whatever.
Yeah, but
okay, all right.
So like, that's what I'm trying to say. I know for a fact. So like early 2000s, like.
Well, how do you know for a fact? You've only looked at the English.
I've watched a lot of. What I'm trying to tell you.
No, man. You haven't not looked at Chinese or Japanese.
Japanese people are crazy.
So let me rephrase this to make it maybe more saleable to you. The prominence, for example, Pornhub did not make an incest part of their fucking like website until recently.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Chips. Oh, these are the red beetroot chips.
Okay, but hold on. Why?
Just Costco taking all my goddamn money.
Well, I don't know if I accept the premise here. I'm not sure I do.
I know. I just matter of factly know that like incest porn was not a thing before. Like even if it was, bro, it was not prevalent. You did not see it come up on anything.
They're putting too much.
You know what's actually really big right now is actually training porn, and it's new because you have the technology to convert people.
Oh yeah.
Training porn apparently. I heard what said Joe Rogan is that. Training porn apparently somehow became the #1 category on Pornhub because kids these days grow up on porn from the age of 8, and by the time they're 15, they're just so desensitized. They want to see like something more extreme, so they watch training porn. Apparently that's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I heard someone say this before that like the other issue with porn is that like so porn is actually entertainment. It's not. So people conflate porn with like sexual interaction, but in reality, it's not. It's very similar to a movie. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Dude.
But like if you are not educated on that from a young age, you don't understand that. Like, this is entertainment.
Yeah.
This is not a simulation of how like actual like love making.
I think that's why people are really into like verified couples and like amateur type stuff because they shoot it in a way that's like very voyeuristic and like like here's me banging my girlfriend in my room. I got a camera down there and like and they make it feel as if they make it like real fly in the wall. They make it feel as realistic as possible. And then there's also like very high production porn like Brazzers where like they do like Hollywood level production. They have like an amazing set, and the girls have like a 3-4 makeup artists on site that day, and they're like making makeup on your pussy. And
that's what I like though. I like highly produced stuff because it's entertainment to me. It's not like I want to see like
One of my friends, he's really into the verified amateurs thing only because he wants it to feel like really really raw. But everyone's into different shit on. Like if you look at the porn categories, it's like it's really
all kinds of diversity.
Guys have all sorts of like people are into all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah, man.
Diversity of sexual practices on this planet, yeah.
Yeah, man. People just want to watch, like, you know, that MILF porn, bro. Who watches MILF porn, honestly? I don't really, like... Do you like MILF porn?
No, I'm into MILFs, man.
No, but if you go on the site and, like, actually be like, I want to see some MILF porn.
But what's a MILF these days? These days, a MILF...
You're not down for the MILFs?
These days, a MILF in porn is like 25.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say? It's like, that's... Yeah, it's like... I don't know. Yeah, but define, like, MILF.
I think MILF...
like 30 and over?
To be the MILF category...
30 and over?
Maybe how about 35 and over?
To put you in the MILF category, you're usually around, I think you have to be 35, you have to look a bit older, and then they usually give you really big breast implants, usually a bit heavier, and you're not that young spring chicken anymore, but it doesn't matter, because like, that's not what you're selling anymore. Now you're selling the MILF experience. So you should look like someone's mom.
I was, I shouldn't say that.
It's on camera.
Oh, yeah. MILFs are great. MILF, like, I think, like, the idea of... No, like, a mature woman who knows what she wants is, like, pretty dope if you get into like a comfortable romantic relationship with it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it's actually because like there's no miscommunication for lack of a better term. It's pretty straightforward as to what's happening here.
Yeah. You gotta raise your kids too. You can raise your kids.
I've never but see when I say MILF, I'm just talking about like older lady. I don't think I'm actually talking about like mother. I've slept with a couple mothers.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh
my god. That's the sound back for this week. Yeah, I fucked a couple guys' moms a couple of times in high school. It was pretty wild.
No, but I've never gone to their house and seen their kid. You know what I'm trying to say? Well, I'm not trying to do that.
You gotta do that.
Hey, little kid,
I think that's sort of fucked up. As a child that was like a child of a single mother, I think it's sort of fucked up to conceptually it's fucked up, bro. You know what I mean? Like. Because I know some.
Why is it fucked up?
Conceptually, but at the same time, when you get married and you have a kid, and you have your son, and then you're banging your son's mom, but that mom is your wife, and that's how you created them in the first place. And most married guys, no, because when you have a family, you're banging and you're banging your wife. That's still your son's mom. So at the end of the day, she's still a MILF technically, but she's just your wife.
Oh yeah, exactly.
No, I think guys don't cross compute that because it's like, well, I'm married to her and this and that, but I'm like, if you really think about it, like any guy who's married and has a kid is banging a MILF at that point.
No, I'm saying.
But that's not the literal definition. But that's not the spirit of MILF.
The spirit of MILF is like that Stacy's mom. Got it going on. Like, she looked great in that video. Honestly, she was wonderful.
See, I'm saying I don't feel the most comfortable but I have, but I feel sometimes a bit guilty like banging single moms. You know what I mean? Because there's a guilt there.
Why? Why do you feel that? I don't understand.
I mean, as long as like there's like an understanding that I'm not interested in a relationship, it's cool. Yeah, but
have you given any indication that it was anything otherwise? I mean,
nah.
That's
the funny part.
That's fine.
It's funny because like there's. Oh man, well they're not gonna watch it, whatever. But like I know some single moms get around, bro, and it's like,
oh my god.
Well, that's understandable though.
This is like, I don't know. It's just like, it'd be so terrible. I think as a kid, just to know that like your mom's getting like smashed, like cut consistently, like all the time. You know, like
one of my friends' parents were divorced. Single mom, so like the mom wasn't dating anyone for a while, and then I think when he was 13. This like friend came over and he's like some like I don't know like DILF Chad type motherfucker and the mom looked great at her age. I think she was the hottest MILF I've ever seen in middle school in my entire life. She was fantastic. Anyways, so like they have like bedrooms across the hall because it's a 2-bedroom. They're living in like a little bit of
they're living in like a little bit of this now.
Yeah, no. So anyways, so this dude is in like the other room like clapping his mom for like hours and she's making noises. She's getting railed in there. She's getting digged down by DILF.
Jesus Christ.
And so this guy, he was so upset. And this guy, like, it was kind of fucked up at Oedipus Comics, goes downstairs, finds the guy's wallet, takes out, like, all the fucking cash. And I'm just like, dog, and then he keeps saying, when he spent it, I'm like, dog, did you just, like, prostitute your own mom? Like, that's, you know, and he's like, I'm stealing money from this guy because he's fucking my mom, I'm getting paid out of this. I'm taking this guy's money as revenge. I'm just like, dog, you pretty much just pimped your mom.
That was his boy? But that was his boy?
This was my, it wasn't his boy, it was some other fucking dude. But then
did he just steal from his mom's partner?
No, pretty much, and the guy didn't say anything. The guy was like, I don't give a fuck, man, I'm clapping MILFs out here, I don't give a fuck. You want $80 from me? Can't take it, bro.
No, that's what I'm trying to say, man, it's one thing just banging a chick, but when she got a kid, like, and I'm not trying to, like, obviously, when she got a kid, you feel sort of guilty.
I don't understand this. I don't understand this.
I'm just trying to. I don't understand either.
I've never done this, but I'm just saying.
I'm trying to explain how I feel, bro. I'm just trying to say.
Fair enough. I just don't.
Because it's bad, especially if like you know the chick, and then like you know like it's one thing if like you just meet a random girl and she has a kid and whatever. But it's like if you know a girl and then like you know that she has a kid and now you're banging her. I feel like it's like this is a weird.
I don't know. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. It's just another person.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'm just old school. That's probably what it is.
Is there anything else like gnarly you guys want to talk about today? You guys have any crazy news?
Yo, when I actually, you know what, yo, but when I was in high school, there was a scenario where one of it was on the summer football team. Basically, like this guy's mom used to drive like his son and then his friend to like football practice all the time.
Yeah.
And then his friend banged his mom.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
Some points on the board for the team.
That's real something. That's something.
I'm not gonna say the names right now, but anybody from Pickering knows exactly who it is.
Wow! Anyone from Pickering? Wow! Shout out to Pickering.
Yeah, knows exactly the story. Because his mom was hilarious. She used to just come to like our games and just be like. Just like breathe heavy and shit, yo. She was she was known.
Oh my god. Yo, so I was watching Sam Bankman-Fried. So yo, he got into jail on a $250 million bail, which is like the highest bail in U.S. history. And then I think they're gonna house arrest him at his house. Okay, the question is though, is that you know what's his name? I think his name is like something like Brian McFarland. I think the guy who did Fire Festival. So he was sentenced to 6 years in jail. I think he did 2 years in jail and then 1 year like halfway house, and then they let him out. Now, like he's a scammer. He lost a lot of people money, but it was a non-violent crime, and it's really a white collar crime in many ways. And that guy probably would have to have in prison long term. So I'm thinking about like SBF, like what's gonna happen to him in prison, like. Is he going to do prison time? Are they going to house arrest him? Are they going to like...
Good question, no idea.
Because he stole so much fucking money, and he's obviously... The judge is probably looking at him. It's a non-violent crime. It's a really, really high-level white-collar crime fraud. But like, what are they going to do with him? Because they can also send you to... Jeffrey Epstein... Actually, his was probably considered violent and malicious. But yo,
what do you mean? What do you mean, bro? International fucking traffic. Children.
When he did prison though, like he was allowed to go like his second time going to prison, he was allowed to go home on weekends. He was serving the prison time during the weekday, and then he would go home on weekends. It was crazy.
Let's be perfectly honest. The legal system is completely unfair. If a guy like SBF is gonna be just fine. Let's not joke around. You know, come on. Like, if you think about it, the thing is, like, he's basically, like, made off, but exponentially worse, right? There are people who...
Bernie Madoff.
Yeah, but, you know, but there is a duality in this, because there's a lot of people who lost money, but the other part, too, is actually, I'm hearing right now, there's a lot of investors...
I think Bernie Madoff, the numbers were higher.
No,
Bernie Madoff. No, Bernie. I think the amount is more than
$6 billion.
No, it's more than that. Madoff had $60 billion.
No, but I think
it was way more, dude. Madoff was way worse.
It was the largest Ponzi scheme, but it was hold on. I don't think it was 60.
No, I'm pretty sure. You can look it up. Yeah, look it up. I'm quite confident. Bernie Madoff is one of the worst.
My phone's dead and charging. Are you sure it's not $6 billion?
No, let's look it up right now. It's a good question. I'm quite sure. I'll look it up. Because people have tried to make this comparison, I don't think it's quite accurate. Let's look this up. Let's look at Bernie Madoff.
Bernie how?
Bernie Madoff. Yeah, I'm correct. $64.8 billion.
That's what crazy.
It's definitely the largest, man. Dude, Madoff was a total asshole. They should put that guy in jail for.
Well, this guy's also a total asshole.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, SBF is an asshole. 100%.
Crazy, bro. Why do you think he did that? Like, I'm like, could he just like? Do you think he started making some? He had the money in the account. He started making some bad trades, and then like he just like he's got.
There's a lot of things going on.
Well, I think there's just negligence. There's a lot of negligence where he just. According to the new CEO, I don't. They just is not exactly sure what's going on. So it's a combination of two things.
I don't think
let me finish. Hold on. The first thing is that it's also. There's fraud, but there's also just he didn't understand just how fucked up his balance sheet was. So I think it's a combination of both.
It's gonna be crazy.
I mean, SPF is still like an undergrad at MIT. Like he's 1992 born. He's the same age as Odie and I.
Yeah.
But his attitude is the same as. It's like Zuckerberg. These guys never grew up, man. These guys are just operating the same as if they're 20 years old.
In my opinion, let's go OT in this bitch. I think it's much worse. There's a lot of people talking about how do I explain this? I would have verbalized this properly. I just think there are some people who come from certain. Okay, so here's an example. Mark Zuckerberg went to Harvard, right?
Yeah.
SBF, MIT.
Yeah.
I think there's certain lanes, specifically in academia, that put out these individuals that run these major tech companies. I don't think it's a coincidence that they run these major tech companies. Like I think like Meta being Meta or Facebook being Facebook is not like a matter of like it just being an overly competitive and good company. I think it's that and also it being very much so supported by government entities, right? And I think it's the same thing with an SBF and FTX. I think very much so like this guy 100% has been supported, protected, and rubber stamped by a lot of not just like literal like government entities, right? Like obviously Gensler, SEC, but he's also been rubber stamped by fucking very professional entities in capital markets, like Sequoia and all these
components.
Go.
Yeah.
I think he didn't realize just how fraudulent. I think he knew it was a fraudulent operation. I just don't think he realized just how fraudulent.
So I saw. I mean, obviously, again, this is CoffeeZilla, whatever. But he did a pretty accurate like expose, and there was a lot of leaks, and he very much so knew. He actually wanted to shut down Alameda. He sent an email thinking that hey, maybe we shut this down because I'm not sure how long it should be going on for.
Yeah.
He literally set up a back door so Alameda had access to client money. He lied to clients about where the money's being held. It all got held in a dark pool that Alameda had access to through a back door. Yeah, so all of this is completely felonious. In my opinion, to say SPF was negligent is like negligent in itself. Right? Like I don't
agree with that.
Not for you. Not for you.
I really think that he didn't know just the extent at which he was being fraudulent. I think if you listen to this guy speak, like he doesn't talk like he really understands the extent of what he was doing. Like he knew that it was fraud. I don't think he was Bernie Madoff level. Madoff is like cold, calculated level of fraud. SBF is kind of just a bit of a dumbass, and he just wasn't fully aware of what he knew that it was fraud. I'm not denying that. But I don't think he knew the extent.
Did you know about this drug that he was taking? And I forget the name, but like you.
Modafinil.
Huh?
He's taking modafinil.
Yeah. No, it wasn't modafinil. There's another one he took. There was another like.
It's pretty similar to modafinil, but it's essentially like it's like ADHD medication.
He literally took a
Wait, why do these things matter? I don't
he was taking a drug that one of
people do worse drugs.
He was taking one of these drugs, and one of the symptoms literally is impulsive gambling.
Yeah.
And an increased sex drive.
Holy fuck.
Sure, yeah, I hear you.
This guy was in a tensuplet couple.
Wait, so what's your point though? What's your point?
He was literally okay. I'm saying he's a bad actor. There's no way he was not a bad actor. I'm saying there's
I didn't say that. I didn't disagree with that. I actually agreed with that. Listen to what I said.
I agree. I'm seeing there's a lot of evidence that points to the fact that he was clearly aware of the bad actions that were happening at FTX.
I actually don't agree with that.
I completely disagree with that because I'm saying there's literal email evidence has been leaked that he's completely aware of exactly all the going-ons that are happening.
I'm pretty sure he knew like they were committing crimes at a certain.
Yeah, I agree with that. But again, I don't think he knew the extent at which how bad it was. It really was.
I 100%. So this is okay. So I agree with your perspective. I'm saying where we differ, right?
Yeah.
Is I am saying is that I think he was aware that he was. I was gonna say this. I think he was aware that he was doing extremely felonious things.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't.
I agree with that.
Maybe he didn't even understand the extent of.
Yeah, I don't
no,
think
no. There's no way. Because basically, it's like saying if I run like a cocaine ring, I don't understand how bad the cocaine ring is. You know, it doesn't make any sense.
And I think it does make sense. I think it's totally possible for a person not to understand just how.
He set up a back door. He was collecting client money and set up a back door. He put it like he was lying to people. He basically put everyone's money.
That's consistent with what I'm saying.
So anyhow, but
it's like you run a cocaine ring, but you don't realize just the extent of the amount of blood that's been shed.
I have seen this type of malfeasance. I've seen this type of behavior happen before in capital markets.
So have I, but I don't think that's a point
where some institutions understand that, like, for lack of a better term, I can't get in trouble for this. At the end of the day, I'm going to be backed up by the government.
I don't think that's not what I'm saying. I'm not suggesting that he's not.
What I am saying, and I agree. This is what you're saying. This is we differ on this, and we agree to disagree, right? What I am saying is that I feel like this guy was acting feloniously. He was aware he was acting feloniously, and the reason why he didn't care is because he knew that he was being rubber stamped by major, not just.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
He knew. Yeah, and I've seen this. This is what happened.
Yeah.
This is what happened during 07-09 crisis. Like with all the major banks taking risks that they knew that they shouldn't have been taking. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I've seen this type of behavior happen consistently, where people act poorly because they basically have an understanding. I'm not going to get caught. And that's how they get to. That's how the level of these crimes get to the extent that they do.
Yeah.
Because if he was just a normal, legitimate criminal, he at least would be cognizant of the jail term he'd have to serve in the background of this, and it would not have gone to this extent. You know what I'm trying to say? But it's like when you know you're being rubber stamped by the government, by Sequoia, by all these fucking places. Like, yo, who the fuck cares, bro?
Yeah,
I'll scam all I want. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like I don't give a fuck, bro. What the fuck are you gonna do? You know, like, right?
Again, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I haven't looked at the case super closely. I just, but I've looked at it a little bit, and yeah, I'm totally open to changing my mind. I just, in this case, he's just actually not quite as aware of what he's doing.
And we know you don't have to change your mind. I'm just saying, like, from what I have seen, like, there's no way this guy was not knowingly a bad actor.
But how is that consistent with what you're saying earlier, which is that this person was also playing video games and doing stuff that was kind of distracting from what the task at hand? I think that's actually evidence in favor of what I'm saying, which is that he was not fully aware of what he was doing. Because he was distracted with other stuff. Distracted with sex, distracted with drugs that he was using, distracted with playing video games. I think that's more consistent with what I'm saying, not with what you're saying.
In that extent, what I'm trying to say basically is, like, how in the world does a major top 10 PE firm in any way rubber stamp this guy when he's playing League of Legends?
But hold on, you have to be careful, like, why is that relevant? You have to say a bit more. Like,
these are firms that rely heavily...
You have to understand, like, how this guy made his money. He made his money because he was a Jane Street employee. He was a decent physics student. A lot of physics students have experience in doing all sorts of coding tasks, this numerical Python, you name it, whatever, MATLAB, etc. So they have very good quantitative skills, right? He's clearly a nerdy, geeky person. It's not inexplicable that a person like this would become a billionaire. If you are good at math, you've studied a bit of capital markets, your parents are compliance lawyers at Stanford, it makes sense to me how this person could become a billionaire.
I've never seen it.
Independent of
what I'm saying is I've never seen it. Everyone I've seen raise capital, right? Everyone I've seen approach these firms, right? Operate a certain way, no matter what background they come from, no matter how.
But think about how he made his money. He made his money for arbitrage and Bitcoin.
It doesn't matter. These guys.
It does matter. That's not that easy to do.
But these guys still.
I don't agree. It's that easy to do.
These people still show up to conferences in suits. Jack Dorsey still cuts his fucking hair.
Well, that's Jack Dorsey.
When he has to go present himself, right?
I know, but that's Jack Dorsey. He was not an MIT physics grad. He was not good enough at high frequency trading. This is a completely different kind of situation. Is what I'm trying to say.
I'm okay. I can see.
This is one of the most successful traders I think in history. I think SBF is a very successful trader.
That I don't know.
That's how he made his money. That's how he formed Alameda, right? It's because he made his million. He was making millions of dollars a day, arbitraging off the price of Bitcoin because he noticed that it was lower in Japan, and he was buying it and selling it in, I think it was Korea or the U.S. or somewhere.
Yeah.
So if you understand the history of how he formed Alameda in 2017 or something like that, that's how he got the capital. It wasn't just he had connections. He had to get connections later on.
Cool.
So that's all I'm trying to say.
What I'm saying though is what I'm saying is that from what I have seen, a lot of these firms, for them to do any partnership with you, you don't just have to present merit. You literally have to present yourself in a certain way. There's a certain way to go about doing business.
Okay.
And in my opinion, it's more so to filter out like people like SBF. If you can't fucking wear a suit, if you can't show up look professionally, if you can't look me in the eye, if you can't spend an hour at this fucking conference telling me what you're offering me without paying League of Legends, nigga, get the fuck out of my office. What the fuck are you talking about? I've never seen these guys. Doesn't matter who you are. You can be fucking Einstein. Actually, from what I've seen, the smarter the person, the harder it is to raise capital. That's the confusing part for me, and I understand. It's because of his parents, and it's more so nepotism than anything else. And I'm saying that's the issue here. That's the major issue here.
Okay.
More than anything else. Right? Like this guy, in my opinion, if from my perspective, or just like from my perspective, I'm OT, right? I would have seen this shit from a mile away, bro. I would have seen, second I seen this guy, I would have known, bro. This nigga right here's a fuckboy, bro. The way he operates, and I know I'm sounding now mad ghetto, but I'm just trying to say, there's a way, like there's a way. Okay, I think I like to believe I'm a decent judge of character because you almost have to have a threat analysis. Right? When you not just when you meet someone, but when you have conversate with them, and you get a better understanding of the person that they are. I am, in my opinion, a good threat analysis of like where do I position this person, right?
Okay.
In my opinion, nobody at these firms that rubber stamped him did that with this kid. Because if you did that, you'd clearly understand this guy here is not somebody I should trust with any capital.
But then why do you think they trusted him?
Because in my opinion, I don't know.
I think the answer is because there's a lot of skill.
No, in my opinion, I don't know.
Alameda was a hedge fund based out of California that was making a lot of money through arbitrage and crypto.
Yeah.
And they hired a lot of Stanford, MIT, Harvard, etc. Undergrads who have experience in math. They're quants. So this is a young quant firm. Now, I understand that it's not common for this to happen, but crypto is a relatively new emerging industry.
Yeah.
And if you have the right kinds of novel minds that are trying to study these markets in a different way than traditional capital, it's not surprising to me that young people could become billionaires.
Okay,
so that's just my personal take.
I'm not trying to say young people cannot be successful. What I'm trying to say here is like this kid, I don't care how smart it is, he screams scam artist. He screams like bad person. This is what I'm trying to say here. Like you hear his interviews, everything about him screams, I don't fucking care. If you listen to him and how he talks, bro, right? Like he does not seem like a good person. Is what I'm trying to say here. And I think it's
what's your take on the effective altruism aspect of his of a lot of his philosophy then?
I don't buy any of that. I just think this guy's.
But why do you think you would say that?
I think he's a psychopath. I think he's very evasive. He lacks ability to. He's very evasive. He's a kid who's never had to face accountability. So every time he has to look at something that's very difficult for him, he scrambles away. So he sets up a whole bunch of things to sort of he sets up an infrastructure for him to be able to avoid the bad action he's taking, like effective altruism. I'm just trying to make as much money as I can so I can change the world. No, you're a scam artist, nigga. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Well, he was doing this before FTX.
Okay, no, I really don't know about how much SBF's early life. All I know is about his iteration right now.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say here, right, is that this is a bad guy. From my experience of bad guys, they're bad people throughout their life. You don't just turn into a bad guy. This is a bad person who has slid through life via nepotism, right? Okay, right? Yeah. And credentialism, right? And he's never had to face accountability, and he screams that. And I'm trying to say, if you're an investment firm, I have no idea how you would not see that. It just makes no sense to me.
Look how much money he was making, man. They're just like, yo, we're looking for that unicorn.
So,
and he had a proven track record. He had a
proven trading record.
He had the data to back it up, man.
So if you want to say it's pure yield chasing, or if these firms want to say it was pure yield chasing, that's it. We were just being horse.
Yeah, sure.
That's it.
I think so.
I think they made a bad judgment call because.
Yeah, I think just made a really bad judgment. A lot of people made bad judgments.
At the same time, though, whoever greenlit this kid, there was so much. This happened at the peak of the crypto craze.
Yeah.
When everyone was making so much, but everyone was so it was greed, bloodlust going on. It was so crazy. I can totally understand them being everyone's looking for the unicorn. Everyone's trying to fucking find the next way to make $1 billion. This kid comes in, he has a proven track record. They're just like, well, anything is possible right now. This Bitcoin thing came out of nowhere, and it's made people billionaires. Yeah.
And the other thing is, I'm not sure about this or not, but how much was his father actually working at FTX or helping? Because I
don't know. No.
Because then he's a expert in tax compliance law.
Oh.
I have no idea if this guy is involved, how they would, going back to what I'm trying to say, have this level of negligence. If your dad, for 1 second, peeked into what the fuck you're doing, he would have been like, yo, no, we're cool, right? Or what about the time that Chamath tried to be like, yo, you need a board so you can have experts tell you what to do, and he told Chamath, go fuck yourself. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't know. In my opinion, SPF is a guy who's completely avoided accountability. He's a bad actor. It's terrible because it's in my opinion, he's a symbol of a certain class of individual that exists right now. And essentially, in my opinion, it's there's been such a polarization in wealth, right?
Yeah.
Certain people have accumulated so much wealth, not them, their families or whatever, right? That they're able to essentially via marketing spin up these entities and make it seem like it's they're sort of these power brokers are able to create this thing off of their own merit. But in reality, it's just moving money at the end of the day. And I think a guy like SBF is a measure of that, just in my humble opinion.
Well, the interesting thing about crypto is that it's an opportunity for young people to actually do something pretty big and new. I mean, even look at Vitalik Buterin, right? Vitalik Buterin's a Russian Canadian.
That's a different. Go on.
He's a young guy. I think he's actually the same age as SBF. He's the same age as us. He's 1992, and You know, I mean, he was attending Waterloo for 2 years, and then Peter Thiel gave him the Founders Fund. He said, "I'll give you a couple $100,000 so you can drop out of university and so you can start your own business project." And Ethereum came out of that. And I think it's entirely possible that SBF is kind of, kind of the same kind of figure coming out of this. Like you get these really talented guys studying STEM, and then they have an interest in economics, and they try to apply, and they try to do something new. But I mean, Vitalik to me is like a more proper genius.
Yes, exactly. Like Vitalik is a completely different human being. You can tell from his mannerisms, the way he speaks, the way he goes about things. He's actually just a really smart guy who's very focused on like tasks and whatnot, right? I just think like, especially the way you're saying SPF made his money. Oh, he just basically found a format of arbitrage. So where did he get the capital initially? He just seems like a piece of shit to me. Like, he's not a smart guy. He's not brought anything of value to this world. He clearly just seems like a douchebag. And I don't understand, as an investment firm, how you would rubber stamp this guy. Because I've seen how these investment firms operate. I've seen them being brought literal, legitimate, amazing ideas by legitimate geniuses and tell them, fuck off. Yet this kid... and I get it. It's yield chasing because he was able to essentially.
That's what I think. I think it's that simple.
The profit motive.
I think it's that simple. It's just the profit motive.
Yeah. So
and there's just a lot of major PE firms just fucked it up.
I've lost so much respect for firms like Sequoia.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
I literally I shot on David Young.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that finance makes mistakes. A lot of people make mistakes. Kathy Wood making mistakes. Bill Ackman made mistakes on Netflix.
Kathy Wood is not even a proper... Kathy Wood's ARK fund is not a fucking strategy. It's basically just gas pedal.
We can talk about this.
This is... The capital markets, in my opinion, after working in, it's all bullshit. They're basically... This is what I've realized. The whole reason why people wear suits and operate a certain way at investment firms is to basically lie to you. Because I need to look like a professional so I can fuck you via fees.
Holy fuck, man.
Via for investments. Yeah.
Hot take.
No, what I mean, for years, basically, a lot of...
Before we paint too homogeneous picture here, I mean, Kathy Wood's strategy is very different than most, right? She's focusing on sort of disruptive innovation, right? And it shows through her holdings, right? And I'm not saying that... I'm not saying she's right. I'm just saying like you have to agree that her strategy is not the same as most others.
Because there's no she's completely opposite. There's no risk. There's no contemplation of risk.
No, I think there is contemplation. What are you talking about? No. That's the whole point. Is that these are risky investments.
That's what I'm trying to say. There's no contemplation of risk.
No, I think she knows that. She just took it down. I mean, it was the most successful ETF across Wall Street
when interest rates are being pounded.
For a 3-year period.
Yeah, when interest rates are being pounded so we can provide stimulus for during COVID.
Yeah, I mean, she fucked up by not exiting her position by, 2021?
Because she couldn't, because the whole thing is she's being sold as gas pedal girl, right? So it's like...
Yeah, I hear you.
So, but that's what I'm trying to say. It's not okay. For years, a lot of investment...
But you know what? I think it remains to be seen how her fund goes in the next couple of years.
It's going in the direction of interest rates. So for years, since...
No, I know it's currently going that, but I actually genuinely don't know. I mean, she's buying more shares of Coinbase, she's buying more shares of Tesla, she's buying more shares of Teladoc, she's buying more shares of fucking all sorts of, relatively newer technologies, and... her time horizon is between 5 and 10 years, so who knows? Maybe she will be more successful in the future. I agree that she really fucked up the past couple of years. Some of her valuations are absurd. She thinks Zoom should be rated over $1,000 a share. I'm like, that's absurd. She thinks Tesla should be over $2,300 a share.
Tesla's on the toilet right now.
Tesla's on the toilet right now. So I hear it. I'm critical, but I respect. One thing I respect about Kathy Wood, if you follow her, is that she has a YouTube channel, and the ARK Invest YouTube channel, and she talks a lot about macroeconomics, and ARK Invest in general actually published their methodology on their website. You can actually read their methodology. So they're using pretty standard applied statistics methods to model equities, and they've been totally wrong. But I appreciate that they're pretty transparent so far. But I think I'm going to give her a chance. I'm going to find out maybe in a couple of years whether some of her other predictions are right.
Elon Musk actually voted himself out of Twitter.
Yes, he did.
Did he step down as CEO?
He has not stepped down. He says that he is searching for a new CEO.
I think he needs a reason to not be the CEO of Twitter. There's too much stuff to do. And it's also probably a stupid job. It's probably the stupidest job of jobs he has to do right now.
Fuck.
Think about it. He wants to be the CEO of a social media company. What the fuck?
I think he just wants to control it because he wants to control free speech in the U.S. or whatever worldwide. But like he owns like what 7 companies. It's fucking crazy how many companies he runs.
Something like that.
He runs so many companies. It's like holy shit.
I also think he's gonna turn it into. I also think Twitter is gonna turn somehow or another into a platform that governments can utilize for payment verification.
Yeah, I've heard that. Like WeChat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if Elon gets his way, then it'll turn into that.
Yeah.
But who knows? It's not clear if it'll turn into that.
I think Elon gets his way, man. I think on some level, I feel like. Okay, so like Elon didn't start Tesla. Elon acquired Tesla.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Elon didn't start SpaceX. Elon acquired SpaceX.
I actually didn't know that.
Okay, yeah,
that's true. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I think
he buys technology.
Solar City, all of these things, right? Like, he's an interesting character in history, and I think like, I honestly would not bet against him. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm not a fanboy of Elon Musk.
Yeah. I can't be a fanboy because he hypes really hard, and occasionally the stocks like I think Tesla went from like $400 a share down to like 125. That's a.
He's the most prolific securities fraudster in the history of history, right? Like this is a guy who like consistently just lies, right? The way he raises capital, right? Literally is lie, and then I know my fanboys are gonna support me, right? So for example, I need some more money right now. Let me just say I'm gonna start making androids. Literally spins up like a fucking mannequin, makes a conference, says, oh yeah, in 20 years we'll have an android. Yeah. Everyone's like sick. Fucking, there's another 50 million secured. Boom. Off that, right? There's never been a firm that can essentially print money every time they fucking choose to,
like announce a new product, yeah.
No, I'm not saying because even owning is the worst thing because they basically water down your position because they keep fucking printing more fucking shares.
Oh.
They dilute your stock.
Wow.
Well, but Tesla did the opposite. They actually reduced their share.
They do a buyback.
Sorry, no. Sorry, other way around. They actually did. They did a share dilution.
Yeah.
They did 10-to-1 share dilution.
Yeah.
Because it used to be trading at 1,200, and then it went 10 divided by 10.
They've done everything. They did consolidation.
They actually issued more equity.
Didn't they do a split as well too, or something?
They had a 10-to-1 split.
Yeah. Tesla is like everything that they do, they shouldn't operate. It's literally the most hypest of hype stocks.
Yeah, they barely make cars.
Yeah.
They barely actually make cars.
There are worse hype stocks than Tesla. Tesla's just one of the most famous hype stocks. Yeah. One that was way worse is Carvana.
What's that?
Carvana is a car company that was trying to do, I forget what exactly they're trying to do. They're trying to do all sorts of shit. One of the things they're trying to do is, I think, have like vertical car parking lots around the US or something like that.
That's dope.
But unfortunately, the stock went from $79 to like I think less than $2.
Fuck, you got wrecked.
So that they got fucking wrecked. Peloton I think is probably worse than Tesla.
Peloton was so
a huge.
fucked.
I would call that a straight up marketing scam.
Yeah, Peloton was fucked, bro.
I actually think Shopify is also a bit of a. I mean, Shopify is a legit product, but it was extremely overvalued. So I agree that Tesla's overvalued, but I think there's worse cases.
Peloton is an interesting market because I agree. Okay, my thing with Peloton was like, this is basically an elliptical with an iPad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then I started realizing, no.
And you have to pay every month to use it.
Yeah.
It's like $45 a month.
It's really expensive. It's like $1,700.
You know who you're going.
You can buy a nice bike on those money.
Do you know who you're going after though?
The subscription model.
No.
Digital products subscription model.
Fat rich people.
Sure. Yeah.
That are too guilty to actually work out.
Yeah, of course.
But have enough money to say I'm investing in my fitness.
Yeah, of course.
By owning a Peloton.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the market you're going after. And I think there's a consistent number of buyers in that market.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's more of a scam than Tesla.
I don't know if it's, but I don't think it's a scam. I think there's actually. I think
it's a scam.
I think there's a lot of people who.
It's overpriced, but you don't need a bike that expensive.
Yeah.
And the marketing campaign was so strong. I mean, like you have to remember how high it was trading. It was trading like $70-something a share.
I wouldn't call it a scam because they weren't like trying to scam people. I would definitely call it extremely overvalued, and there was also a huge timing thing because it happened during the
fair enough.
Yeah. And you know, listen to what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say, they create a product for people like that actually need to feel like they're doing something with their fitness, and they are because I own a Peloton. I'm part of the fitness.
Honestly, I really do believe like really genius. Like the marketing was so dope for that. I think really genius marketers understand like that's like a case study in really good marketing.
I agree.
Like we are really selling people like a feeling, a lifestyle, and emotion. We're not selling this a goddamn iPad. Like, if you just like took away all the marketing and all like the slick visuals and cool commercials and everything, you're talking about a goddamn the technology already exists.
Yeah.
You know, like
just fucking add an iPad to a fucking.
You can go on YouTube and just type in like free bike instructor. Like I look at my mom, she does like free like kind of like Zumba classes on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you can do the same thing with bicycles, and they can just record that information. And I think some of the Peloton classes, like you can even take recordings, right?
I don't know. I didn't keep up with much of this.
They have live races you can do, but there's also like inside ones where it's just a recorded instructor.
It's a community. That's the other part too. During especially the lockdown and tactical community, people are devoid of communities right now.
Yeah.
They're looking for that.
Yeah.
There's also an interesting trend too that I heard that I forget what the percentage is. So I'm not going to say it, but like in terms of the millennial generation, consumer spending is generally majority female, and it's like by like a large extent, not like 60-40, it's like 80-20.
I think it's always been that way, how like females like statistically control household spending because they do all the shopping for the guys. So and then what they're doing now is like, they're trying to convert more men to consumers, and this is where that whole thing or like men are the new women, because now they're going after dudes to like make men wear makeup and like have cooler clothes and like I don't know, more male grooming products, and like the amount of like products that's marketed to men these days is actually the male makeup thing really fucks with my head, bro. Like guys like. Oh god, like I feel like that's like one thing about being a guy that's nice is that you don't have to like do that to sort of like
unless you're in South Korea.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what's really big, and because like man, that's what a crazy society to live in, dude. Where it's like because if they create a societal norm where everyone does it, then you have to conform and you're fucked pretty much. And
I don't think so. I feel like there's a lot of guys right now who get a lot of pussy just off being like a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think makeup will get you more pussy, but like the fact that like I think in Korea, for example, they have a lot of beauty standards that are just completely unrealistic.
Yeah, I've heard of that actually though. It's
a plastic surgery capital. What else can we do to you to make you feel? What else can we do to you to like make you feel like you need to do this and buy this product or service? What was I talking about earlier? We were talking about I think I had this conversation earlier. We were talking about like being crazy rich, like having like billions and billions of dollars, and I like it's what most guys say. It's like after a certain point, there's only what can you do with money? You can buy products or services in life, right? Service like a product or service might be an experience of some sort, but it's still a product or service. You will run out of shit to buy eventually, and then after that, like you know, you're just left with like whoever you really are on the inside and what you want to do with your time, right? Yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, that'd be fucked up. I would hate if Canadian society became that way where we have to like. The standard is that like I go to school and all the dudes are wearing makeup and I'm like, oh fuck it, like if I don't do this I'm gonna be like the one whack dude who like doesn't participate.
Man, on some level, like I don't know, I was like, you know, Toronto's definitely the most progressively liberal place in Canada, 100%.
Possibly one of the places in the world, honestly.
Yeah, it could be.
I feel like we're an SJW capital.
And I definitely do get like I don't know, it really depends what areas you're in though, but like I definitely do get like a feeling sometimes of like. Needing to be a more well manicured man, which sort of makes me feel a bit like, you know, like.
I think that's actually the industry you're in, but I understand what you're saying.
Like, yeah.
But I definitely feel it myself.
That's not the case in academia. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, academia. It's almost like the more like frumpy you look, the more street cred you have. Look at like Zizek, for example. He's the fucking. I mean, Jordan Peterson's interesting because he's actually quite manicured, but I feel like he's trying to be like the modern day Sigmund Freud and like you know like. The gray suit, you know, the house tooth, like you know.
He doesn't have a pipe. He has a benzo addiction.
Yeah. That's one of our YouTube clips on there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to fucking get the Jordan Peterson fans on.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, man, super gnarly, bro.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Honestly, life's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, I'll tell you a funny one actually. Yo, so I was walking by Cam H, right?
Yeah.
And they have that sign. It's like not suicide. Right?
Oh, God.
Then it says not today. Then I'm like, what, tomorrow?
Oh my god. That's good one.
Oh my god.
This is tomorrow, okay?
I just tried to say, I mean, maybe not the best message for someone who has suicidal ideation. You know, like maybe just not suicide. You don't need the not today. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah. But think about like the marketing campaign behind that. Okay, guys, we're gonna make some ads for Cam H. Not today? Question mark. It's like that, this fucking philosophy class at UT with the professor at the very end of the course, and the people troll about this like crazy, where all the exam question just says is just, why? And then, you know, that's the question for the whole thing, and then the students are supposed to do that, and then one of the students writes back, why not? And then the answer to the right is because I'll fucking fail you.
Oh my god.
No, but like, that's a myth though, right? Because before we went to UT, all the teachers would joke about that shit. They're just like, when you go to philosophy class at UT, fourth year, man, they're just gonna fucking make you the final exam. You're gonna pass or fail. It's gonna screw up your whole GPA and make you stay back a year. The exam question is just why. That's it.
I got a good story.
It's like a legendary, like ridiculous exam.
I got a good story for you. Yo, so you know why I went to McMaster?
Why?
I got such a low mark in grade 12 religion. It threw my GPA down from like it was like high 80s to like a 75.
Oh dear.
Yo, so basically, I went to a Catholic school. So in grade 12 they do they have like religion all the way through. The 12th grade.
Yeah, of course.
It's called In Search of the Good. So they try to make it like
In Search of the Good.
Yeah, they try to make it like philosophical, theological.
Yeah.
So I have this teacher, Miss Hudson. God bless her soul. She used to be nice, but she's also sort of just like a dumb white woman. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So basically I had.
I'm not allowed to touch that. I've done way too much with that.
So I had her in the 10th grade. It was great. She was a really sweet woman, all this kind of stuff. Then I had her in this class in the 12th grade. And this class, in my opinion, was fucking terrible. Because basically she was just going around the world explaining how bad things are. So she'd be like, look, here are the Philippines. They do human trafficking there. Da-da-da-da-da. This is
It's a typical millennial education.
That's
what the boomers did was, bro.
So then she gets to Kenya. She's like, in Kenya they do fetal mutilation. So that's when I lost my shit, right? Because I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because I remember I had a friend who was like, oh, I'm not going to go to Philippines because I don't want to get human trafficked, right? So
they're putting fear in us, man.
So they have these things called ISUs back in the day. I don't know if they still have them right now. Whatever, right? Yeah. So I was also pissed because she made us do a 20-page ISU, right? Yeah. So I elected to do a video essay rather, right? Where she wanted me to do education in the third world. So I basically just like decided to, rather than doing an actual project, explain all, in my opinion this is what I was doing, explaining all the issues of this course and how basically racist it is in you affecting all these areas.
That's funny, man. That's so funny.
This is fucking
That's super funny. Good for you, man. Good for you.
At one point in the video essay, I said, you should be disgracing yourself. The school should be disgracing itself. The board should be disgracing itself for doing this kind of stuff. And I said, and it's like, you want to talk about what you can do for the third world? Let me tell you. Let me tell you what is now prayer. I was like, rather than praying, how about you donate to some of these farmers that are actually going to do something about it, rather than making us do these stupid fucking projects. Right. So anyhow,
that's fucking hilarious.
I remember being in the class and everyone was like, because it's like a 20-minute presentation, and I'm going ham. Right. I'm just going ham. Yeah. Anyhow, it was so bad. They literally had to get like I was in Durham District School Board. They had to do like a district meeting with me.
Oh wow.
They had to sit me down and whatnot. Wow. Anyhow, so I got a 25% in the course.
That's unfortunate.
I'm the only person I think that can fail religion.
Fuck. Can I run two topics because we're recording right now? I want to run two topics because I just want the footage. The first one is like talk about me getting hacked on Facebook, and the other one is how to get in a Berghain. These are like 3-minute stories. Can I just run it?
How to get into what?
How to get in a Berghain. Can I just run these?
Yeah, sure. If you want.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of people ask me about getting hacked. So I'll just talk about it on this podcast because we're here. We have time.
Yeah.
So 2 months ago, I'm sitting on I'm driving to like Home Depot and I'm in my car. And then I get a lockout on my Instagram. They're like, you've been logged out. They're like, submit your passport. So I'm like, oh fuck, whatever. I'll submit my ID. So I submit my passport. It has a different name than my Facebook account because I'm using like my artist name on my Instagram, right? So I get locked out, and then like I'm kind of panicking this and that, and then you discover really quickly that Facebook has no customer support. Yeah. So then at that point in time, I'm panicking. I'm like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen? I had like accounts going on WhatsApp. 2 weeks later, my WhatsApp gets banned. Anyway, so I'm on there, and then I just have this weird feeling in my bed. It started giving me anxiety at this point. My Instagram's locked out. Everyone's asking what the fuck's going on. I have client work kind of going through the pipeline. So what ends up happening is the next day I wake up and there's like a crap load of credit card charges on my PayPal, my credit card. So I immediately go and I call PayPal. They shut it off. It was about $6,000 in total. They charged $3,000 to my credit card and then $3,000 to my PayPal. And then PayPal, and then I was only able to get back maybe like $2,600, right? So I'm like, holy fuck, they still owe me so much money. So then after that, I spent the next week checking every day, seeing if I can get logged in, and then Facebook eventually just says, we can't help you, this and that. It just totally locked me up. The customer service is like, we can't help you. So I'm like, at that point I'm panicking, so like I hire a cybersecurity team, and then, so the first thing I did is I went to try to go buy an Oculus. So I actually like rode my bike down to freaking Best Buy, and I got an Oculus, and I bring the Oculus back, and then like I'm trying to like finesse the Oculus staff to take my ticket and sort of like upgrade it to actual Facebook support. That way they'll actually like flag my account because Facebook has no support. So they've essentially outsourced their customer service to Oculus. And the Oculus people know about this and it's a problem. So they literally have like all these people buying Oculuses because there's these videos on YouTube on how this guy uses Oculus to unlock it. This video has like 50,000 hits. So now everyone thinks that if you just buy an Oculus, you can get it unlocked. And I feel like this was almost a screwed up way to jack jack up sales for Oculus.
Yeah.
I'm like, screw you guys.
Yo, some guy's a genius, bro.
This is why I started hating Zuckerberg. This is where my beef with him started. Okay, so what happened after that is after a week of that, I hire cybersecurity. They cost like $500 Canadian to hire them. So what they do is they make you do two things. They say, okay, if you have the Oculus, talk to them and don't say that you got hacked. Just say that you're locked out of your account. So I tried doing that, and I went back and forth with Oculus for like 3 weeks, and I tried bullshitting them. I tried being like this and that.
Why can't you say you're hacked?
Because what you have to do is, because like they know that, so they'll immediately just say no. Because so many people are using them as the backdoor to access Facebook. If you just say you were hacked, they're immediately going to disqualify you. They're going to be like, oh, you're in the fucking B-pop, get the fuck out of here.
That's so terrible.
It's the worst customer service ever. So I spent $600 on this fucking Oculus, and like.
So let's break it down. So the people that actually need help, we're just going to tell them to fuck off.
Pretty much, yeah. It's horrible. So after that, so I called the cybersecurity team. I said, what else can I do? He's like, you need to write a letter to the Federal Trade Commission, the Better Business
the FTC,
the FTC of U.S. and then the California State Attorney General. So I do that, and they say wait 3 weeks. Nothing fucking happens. At that point in time, shout out to my friend Eddie. Eddie's a good guy, so he's just like, okay, I'm gonna go with my whole LinkedIn right now, and I'm gonna find at least one guy who works at Meta, because Meta has maybe like 70,000 employees. So he finds one guy, and then I email the guy, and then I don't get a reply back for 2 weeks. So then I spent about 2 months wondering what the fuck is going on. During that period of time, I emailed back the cybersecurity team. Then I joined this Reddit group called Facebook Disabled Me, and then on there, this became like my cult support group for people who are all fucked up. Dude, people on there were losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, losing their memories. Old people were losing their shit. Like everyone on there, it was like a refugee camp outside of a border. Like it's like a refugee camp where no one had a passport, and everyone was trying to get back into their camp. It was like an absolute nightmare. And everyone I talked to. And anytime anyone got out, they would post that they got out. So it was really, really cultish. So it was like, yo, I got my shit unlocked. Everyone's like, how'd you get your shit unlocked? And then they talked about what, like, attorney generals they emailed. So I emailed, like, 7 more attorney generals. I emailed Texas, Pennsylvania, Washington, Oregon. It was fucking insane. So I emailed all of them. And in the end, none of them really could help me, but they all replied back to me at least. And then in the end, it was actually, like, I don't want to say his name, but, like, our friend at Meta. So he unlocked it the first time, then he went on vacation, and then they said, hey, and then like Eddie's like, can you help this guy unlock his account? So he hit me up a second time, and he says, okay, the reason why they couldn't get it unlocked the first time is because you didn't give us like a third-party email created specifically for your relaunch, because the hacker has your old email. So I sent them the information again, and then like 2 months later, after all this shit's done, I returned the Oculus. I complained to the cybersecurity team. I was on Facebook Disabled like crazy. I watched maybe at least like 60 to 100 YouTube videos. It was so much work that it actually took up like. It was almost like adding an additional project addition to my workload, and then like I wasn't able to talk to my own family members, like my WhatsApp got cut off, my Instagram got cut off, I had clients looking for me. In the end, honestly, afterwards, this week, I had a client tell me that I lost a really like a 5-figure contract because he couldn't contact me on WhatsApp, and he panicked thinking I blocked him or I didn't like him, which is crazy because I flew to Vegas and had dinner with him. Anyway, so after 2 months, they unlocked it, and then like they just sent me the code, and then as soon as I got the code, everyone on Facebook Disabled Me on Reddit told me, yeah, as soon as you get it unlocked, like go in there, like. You know, so I went to the account, like, they posted child porn on my account, they stole $6,000, they were running, like, Vietnamese advertisements on there, it was, like, so crazy, so, like, I secured all my stuff, added 2FA on everything, and then, like, I backed up all my data.
Wait, what do you mean they posted child porn on your account?
That's what they do, they hack your account for your ad money to run their own ads, and then they posted child porn on your Facebook just to get you banned, just to shit on the floor before after they rob you. It was so disrespectful. Yeah, anyway, so I had to screenshot all this crap, and then they gave me the account back, and then a week after that I got banned again because I submitted my passport, and then they just took forever to get it back. So all my friends have heard the story already, but I just want to document it for YouTube because it was such a crazy story. So if you have your Facebook hacked, it's a horrible process. 2FA all your stuff. And the way I got hacked too was that, like, I work as a freelancer online, right? So a client sent me a project file, and I opened it, and it was actually a Trojan. That's how I got hacked.
What?
Yeah, and I scanned it with Windows Defender. It didn't pick it up. Malwarebytes scanned it, and they had like 7 Trojans inside of it. So like my fault for being stupid, but like I get sent files now when clients send me files, and like it looks suspicious. I'm like send me screenshots of it. Like I refuse to open any files or download any crap that you give me at this point in time. Like any kind of like exe. I'm so paranoid at this point in time. Like to the point in time, I'll say no to projects, and then if I don't really know them that well, they're sending me like a ton of files.
That's a crazy story. But
so I got my Facebook account. I got back in the end. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
I actually heard a similar story, but it was there was this girl, and then she got her Instagram hacked. Yeah. But apparently, on your iPhone, when it asks you if you want to put like pictures onto Instagram, it asks you if like you want to put all of them or you want to select the photos, right? So she just had all the photos on there, right? So apparently, the hacker got onto her Instagram. And because she had her photos, like, from her reel, like, her camera reel...
he did blackmail you.
So he got her nudes, right? Yeah. And then, he got her to fucking film a video This is back when the ones are saying, hey, I just did this much in crypto, I got so much money.
Yeah.
You should go to this website. Yeah.
Oh, my friend happened to their, you essentially have your Instagram held hostage, and they make you go on there promoting their scam.
Yeah, so he made her fucking promote this shit, and she had to go reach out to. So I think she had somebody.
It was super bad. And now, like, firstly, when I got banned, like, I was like, oh man, I don't want to be one of those guys who's so addicted to social media, this and that. But after 2 months of it, I realized the purpose of Instagram and Facebook. It's actually like it really is like your contact list for all the people you work with, all the people you've met over the last few years, all the people, like some of your family members. You're pretty much being cut off from your entire social network, and that's why it's annoying. And I had maybe like 10 friends reach out to me saying they were also hacked, had similar experiences. I had a bunch of other sketched out hackers being like, yo, I can get your account back if you pay me X amount of money. I had so many people hit me up like that. So like I'm glad it's over, but you know what though? It was surprising how much it screwed my mental health for 2 months, because it's like waiting in line to get your passport stamp to go through the refugee camp. It's like every day I'm checking Reddit, people are getting out, I don't know what place I am in line. And then when I spoke to Facebook about it, when I finally got a rep on the phone, they say that when you get hacked, there's so much paperwork that you have to do that it's actually really hard. They say if you're hacked, it takes way longer than you think to actually get your account back, because they have to go through approval processes, and one department has to submit your case to another department where they also approve it. So that's why it can take like 3 weeks. They're not just pressing a button to make you like approved or whatever. Yeah, so that like really sucked. But yeah, like I don't know, man, that was bad for my mental health.
Yeah, no, like they really need to improve that process. And honestly, Facebook is really bad for that, because there's been a lot of this crypto fuckery happening. Not crypto, there's a lot of scammery happening on like, it's rampant. The amount of scams are happening on Instagram.
It's crazy, bro.
It's rampant. And they need to find a solution for that. And the fact that they're not, I find amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Does everyone want to talk about anything? Okay, I'll tell my Berghain story next. We have like time.
Wait, yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is my Berghain story, so we can like Instagram clip this. So this is how you get into Berghain.
What is Berghain?
Berghain, it's like the hardest club in like the world to get into. Like Britney Spears, like Paris Hilton, they've all been rejected. It's like a hardcore techno club, but it's also like a place where people are like openly like having sex and doing drugs and everything. So it's really hard. There's like literally naked women walking around and everything. So they literally have to door check you really hard. And there's also like mazes and all sorts of places where like all sorts of crazy like assaults and everything can occur. So they really need to make sure you're legit at the door.
Is this sex mazes thing you're talking about?
Yeah, they have sex mazes, like all sorts of crazy shit. Yeah. Yeah. So
wait, hold on, wait. So I just want to.
Yeah.
Slow down. Wait,
yeah.
Can you explain to me what a sex maze is?
A sex maze is? It's a dark room with a bunch of like kind of like cubicle looking things and like glory holes and like places to fuck people and sex swings, chains, some red lights. It looks very spooky. It looks like a goddamn haunted house. And then you like go in there and you kind of feel around until you can fuck something.
Ooh, feel God. Around till you can.
Yeah, and they have like different. They have like different permutations of what this was like there. But the crazy thing about it is that the thing they don't tell you is the thing they don't tell you. The only reason Berghain is so shocking to straight people is because like they essentially have the layout of a gay club, and like gay steam like kind of like saunas, bathhouses have had sex mazes, sex swings, glory holes, cubby rooms, like full nudity. They've been doing that shit for the last 40 years. So when you go in as a straight person, it's like, oh, it's the craziest club I've ever been into. But like from a gay perspective, it's like, yo, this is where
this is Saturday. Starts. This is where everything.
When I was in there, a lot of the gay guys were telling me like, yo, this is like, they're like, you think this is crazy, man? They're like, you need to go to like, there are bigger, crazier, gay bathhouses in the world that are way more insane than this. You might have like 1,000 people having sex, like literally 1,000 active people with their dicks out having sex. It's crazy, yeah. So okay, here's the trick to get into Berghain. Okay, I watched their door process for 45 minutes. You have to do one of two things. You either have to look gay, or you have to look like really BDSM, like, you know, and not just like dress cool, but you have to look like you're kind of like really about it. Like, you know, you have to look like you're really participating. They don't want, the more normal you look, the less of a chance you'll have to get in.
Is this a gay bar?
It's mostly gay because it was also during Pride, so I don't know, but like it's actually not a gay club. It's a club that a lot of gay people will go to, but it's set up like a gay club in the sense where like they have all the things like a gay bathroom.
Yo, was that your weed?
No, that's my weed. Just have to smoke whatever. Just have to smoke whatever.
Actually, I'm gonna pick up some more weed tonight. Oh, and they're gonna be fucking close though.
Just smoke whatever, man.
Yeah.
Just burn it. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll get into it. Yeah, so you get to the door, the regular bouncer who's like the legendary bouncer who like picks people out, he's like looks really scary. He wasn't even there that day. It was like some young like German guy with a nice haircut. He looked really normal. And then he wasn't even like asking us questions in German or quizzing us who the DJs were like they normally do. He was just doing this, left, right, and he was just like he was just walking people left and right, and I saw him do it for 45 minutes just to figure out their door process, and one of their huge German security came over, and he's like, get the fuck out of here, man, what the fuck are you doing? He gave me this look where he's like, get the fuck out of here right now, bro. He's like, you cannot watch our door process. They search you, you go inside, you put your clothes up, and then once you get inside, it's just like absolutely beautiful Stalinist architecture building. It has multiple floors, it has an ice cream bar.
Wait.
Yeah.
So many things you see, you just casually say that.
Yeah.
Beautiful Stalinist architecture.
Stalinist architecture, like communist Germany architecture.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just glossed over that.
Yeah.
Real quick.
It was such a crazy experience. It was so much. So,
I've never heard beautiful Stalinist.
It was incredible. Well, it's in East Germany, right? That's the history of Berlin, right? So,
yeah.
So the bathrooms are like I looked up the design firm that did the bathrooms, but they look incredible. They're all metal and like panorama bars. There's enormous windows, and they have chains hanging from the ceiling. And then the main room is just like this giant like function one sound system. And then at 6 in the morning they open up the basement, which is essentially a giant sex dungeon called the laboratory. And then there's also an ice cream bar. And then like on the ground floor there's a bunch of like sex mazes that you can kind of like crawl through and stuff like that. And some of them are so pitch black. I was actually scared I'm gonna like knock someone's dick by walking through them. So it was actually quite intimidating to walk through some of them because they were so like dark. And then they have places where you can hang out. And then they have like a backyard area I couldn't get into because I didn't stay late enough. I didn't stay until like 10 in the morning.
Backyard, wow.
Yeah, they had like a full-on like garden area that you could go to. And then so I was there for about 8 hours. And they in Berlin.
Tempted. I think about it.
Yeah, it's headed down. Yeah, in Berlin they sell cigarettes out of vending machines and there's no last call, so people are drinking and smoking the entire night. There's a good amount of open drug use going on there. Women are walking around butt naked in sneakers. People are having sex on sex swings. There's like paper towels and like Windex everywhere to wipe the place down after. And then this is a bunch of dark rooms where like guys are just like fighting each other, and it was just like it was pretty wild. So I got in about 8, but most people when they go up the first time stay in for about 35 hours. But that's pretty much how you get in, and that's why it's one of the craziest clubs ever. And can I think of anything else in that story?
Yeah.
Here's one thing. So when you go to one of the bars, it's almost like a shrine to like gay orgies or something, because like you look at this bar, it's this beautiful amber glass ring that goes around the bar. Then you look closer at it, you're like, what the fuck is this? And it's just like a human centipede of like 20 guys like fucking each other in the ass and sucking each other's dicks and like jerking each other off, and the facial expressions were like carved into their faces of this absolute ecstasy and like this gay orgy like ring of like amber glass that went around. I'm like, man, who the fuck made this? Is like a beautiful piece of art, but who made this? And then I started looking this up. I'm like, because Germany was part of like Rome at one point in time, and like I think it actually just goes back to like the whole Roman gay orgy thing. And I think they've been keeping that tradition alive in the underground for like 2,000, 3,000 years or something.
Keeping it strong.
Yeah. So that's the Bergheim story. Anyone else want to tell a story?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wild, yeah.
I like cuddling after sex, so I'm not sure if that's exactly.
You can cuddle there. You can sleep there if you want. You have showers
with women. Women.
Yeah. So one of my friends told me that there was a scat room in the basement, and he saw dudes in hazmat suits carrying around turds inside Tupperware containers, frozen. So I actually looked for the scat room, and like I couldn't. There's probably other parts of the building you can get into, but like the scat room, I'm pretty sure that was a scat room. I went down to the ground floor. I went past the maze and the glory holes, and then in the basement, there's just like this tile room, and it's probably either for douching or whatever. But it smelled pretty bad, and I'm like, that's probably the scat room because like the whole room is just, it looks like a tile room, and it's not a sauna. It's just this, and there's just a bunch of hoses everywhere, and I'm like, this is definitely the scat room. So afterwards, I went on YouTube and I looked up where else in the world has this type of shit, because like I'm just like, they're saying that this is pretty common. So Toronto, people are like, oh, we don't have this shit in Canada. We do. So Toronto has Steamworks, which is like Steamworks in Toronto has a maze in it, glory holes. They have glory holes on ramps, so you can stand and do it. They have multiple rooms. Steamworks in Toronto apparently is a pretty accomplished one. We have a pretty big gay scene here. We also have Oasis Sex Club. Yeah.
Why would you need a ramp?
A ramp so you can stand while you're like giving dudes like BJs on the glory hole ramp. So you don't have to kneel, because the glory holes just on the floor. So they have like they have a ramp, and it actually goes by height, depending on the dude's height and everything like that. It's ridiculous. It's like a graded ramp that goes up. And then we have Oasis Sex Club, which has a rooftop pool. Upper floor is for couples only, and then the downstairs is for like I guess the dudes who don't have girls.
Yeah, all I know is Oasis. I knew this is like.
Have you been to Oasis before?
I was gonna take a girl to Oasis once, but she cried before we went.
Fair enough.
She cried before going. Yes. That's a good.
I was like, nah, we're.
That's as good a reason as any not to go.
Yeah.
That's a good nervous system fucking reaction.
Yeah. You know what? What's funny? Like sometimes I feel like there's parts of my mind that wants to like explore like a place like Oasis, but at the same time I realize I'm pretty fucking Wonder Bread, bro. Like
it's vanilla. You just don't want to like be shat on by somebody.
And don't get me wrong, I gangbang girls, but like thing is like I don't really enjoy it. You know what I'm trying to say is like I've done that in my life.
It's not intimate. It's very. So I'm reading the book right now, Mating in Captivity by a French author, and she has this French accent, which makes the book even more kind of ridiculous because it's just so romantic sounding. Where she's talking about like
Oh, you're talking about an audiobook.
Yeah, it's an audiobook. Yeah. I'm only doing audiobooks for this, but there's no way in hell I can probably read this much every day. Like I'm doing all mopping floors and shit.
Raw, bro.
Yeah, no, but her voice is wonderful because you get to like it's almost another sensory experience because you hear it's almost like watching like you're listening to like a lecture or something, right?
ASMR.
A little bit. And so she talks about how like a lot of people schedule sex into their week like it's just like a nut they gotta like bang out, you know. And she says even like husbands and wives are kind of guilty of this about how they make sex too mechanical. You know, they make sex too mechanical. It should be more sensual, more intimate.
Yeah, but like when you're in a relationship, it's hard though, because you have to really see the girls that I have similar sex drives with. I'll never be in a relationship with. You know what I'm trying to say? And like so, because basically it's like, when you're in a relationship, and especially when you live with a girl, you really do sort of have to start scheduling sex, bro, because like you live with her. You live with her, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? And like, so this is
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
You get a schedule of sex.
I don't know what you guys said. That was never my experience. I understand maybe a lot of people. I don't. Yeah, maybe you can walk me through this. This is a foreign concept.
All right, big dick Nick. I don't know, bro.
Yeah. You gotta schedule it.
I don't know, man. Like, not like basically, it's like.
How could you schedule sex? It just spontaneously. It feels natural for either person. Maybe you could schedule part of the time. I mean, if people are really busy, I get it.
Yeah, like if you're
busy, I don't get it.
You're probably not fucking at Wednesday 11 in the morning. If everyone's at work.
I'm saying working couple living together.
But I still don't get it.
Working couple living together, it gets difficult.
Yeah. Well,
how does it get different?
You'll schedule in the sense where it's kind of just like your work week might dictate when you're available to bang because you're both at work 9 to 5.
It's hard for you guys to.
Okay. In that sense, I understand. Okay, in that sense, I understand.
You can like bang between these times.
But so let me for reference. Not necessarily. The better way for me to say this, right, is that if you're in a working relationship and you live with a girl, you gotta plan date night. You gotta be intentional with the relationship.
Okay, sure.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's
because you're not just gonna. Because here's my thing. Like it's like I want to bang her all the time. It's like I wake up in the morning. I probably want to bang her and start jerking off. You know what I'm trying to say? But maybe she doesn't want to do that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just I don't know. This is like I don't know. Like that's a really random thing to say. First of all, that was a random tangent there. But
no, that's relevant. That's not.
No, we're just talking about sex clubs, bro. It's
all
on topic.
No, because the only girl that like I ever really had a similar sex drive to me. She's like I literally can't like I love her but I literally can't be friends with her. That's how crazy she is.
Yeah, that's the sort of like the intersection you have in your life. I feel like with girls we can intersect with them like intellectually, emotionally, intimacy, relationship wise, you know. And then there's some girls who are just like sex athletes. And sex athletes.
No, this one I know is like she's definitely a sex lead.
She's a
sex lead. So we were talking about it one time. She's banged over 1,500 guys.
That's fucking insane, man. Her pussy must be.
It's a little too many.
That's rampant, bro.
Yeah.
Like, how do you even do that? Huh? That's rampant.
On average of 4 guys per week for 4 years.
Is this girl a sex worker?
She's not a sex worker, but people have paid to fuck her.
Okay, she's de facto sex worker. I call her de facto sex worker.
Yeah, de facto sex worker.
You know,
part-time sex worker.
Huh?
Part-time sex worker.
Well, the thing is, she has to feed her cocaine addiction.
Oh, okay, yeah, no.
So it's like
you throw that in the mix. As soon as you said that, I'm like, you're probably just more of a drug addict.
Do you know what's funny? The funniest part about all of this, though, right, is her profession. She works at funeral homes.
Damn.
Jeez, wow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's wow. What a person.
You know what's funny? I actually have a podcast with her. I can't release. Because she's
Did she talk about her job at the funeral? What does she do at the funeral home? Does she just like staff or like did she like? She's not a mortician.
Nah, she works on the bodies, bro.
She's a mortician.
Oh, wow. She works.
That's interesting.
What she works.
You should get her over here. I want to hear.
Yo, I can't see her no more. She'd love to be here. Actually, I can. You know, I could probably say it. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna say her. But she's like honestly, like basically the backstory is she's one of my best friends. But the thing is like. She's really also sort of disturbed, and like the reason I had to stop talking to her is because I really think she has to go to rehab, and I'm like, if you don't do that, like we sort of can't still be friends.
Yeah, I feel on that.
Yeah.
That's real life sometimes. That's
rehab. Yeah, you gotta go to rehab. I hope because I was like after a while I can't. She's the only person I know that's been banned from the LCBO.
Gang shit, bro.
Oh boy.
Yeah, she's good. Actually, you know what's funny? She's literally the most gangster person I know. Like out of all people, like everyone I know, bro. Literally the most fucking gangster motherfucker I know. Anyhow.
All right, we got Odie Savia story. Here we go.
So this is like back in college, university, whatever. Me and the boys get some salvia, and we decided to hit out of the bong, and I decided to go first because why not, right? So I hit the salvia, and it's the worst hit in the world, right? Because when you start coughing, it's fucking terrible. So I sit down, and we're playing "Miss Me" by Drake on my laptop, right? And I remember looking over my laptop, and Drake started talking to me. Oh my god! And I was like, "What the fuck, right?" And then the next thing that happened, I got basically strapped. I was sitting on my bed. I got strapped to the wall. It felt like my arms got literally chained to the wall, and then I got transported to, I was chained to railway tracks in a subway.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, right. And then I started seeing a train fucking coming to me.
Oh jeez.
Bro, it was the fucking. So the train was coming, and then it just stopped. Wow. Everything just stopped, and I was like, "This is the worst." That was the worst minute of my life, bro. It was the worst thing.
Geez,
I have no idea why they sell that shit in convenience stores. There's it makes no sense, man.
That's why Canada's sort of a crazy place because
I'm actually curious to look up why this is legal.
Why was it legal? I think it was one of those things where they didn't have an issue with it being criminal. There wasn't an issue.
They didn't know what it was. They didn't know what it was. Someone just started selling that shit, man. What I'm trying to say is who's the marketplace? Whoever recreationally does salvia is also a school shooter.
Okay. Let me talk about my experience in salvia.
I'm just saying,
I'll tell my salvia story. So I did it a couple of times. So one time I was.
You did it a couple times?
Yeah, because I thought it was crazy. It was fucking trippy as fuck.
Jesus Christ, bro! Nigga, you crazy, bro.
Yeah, anyways, so I'm at my friend's house. This is a fucking salvia party. Anyway, so I bring the bong over. So we're hitting salvia out of it, and then immediately it gives you this really tingly feeling in your chest. And the weirdest thing about salvia is that it gives you sort of a gravitational distortion where I feel like the floor is falling in. So I feel like I'm fucking falling.
Yeah.
And then because it really messes with your part of your brain. Like having a gravity hallucination is one of the weirdest things ever because gravity is something that unless you jump out of an airplane, it's always just gonna be there.
Yeah.
So you feel like there's no gravity. You feel like you're falling, and then what ends up happening is that everything just exploded into what I would describe as enormous Lego bricks. Everything was just pixelated, like puzzle pieces, and there was just waves everywhere. So that was the first time. The second time I did it, I hit the fucking bong, and then someone pulled my field of view was I was pulled out of the top of my bedroom with my friends, and I was out in space. And then I was out there, and then they fucking took me and then dropped me right back in again. And it was almost just like I hopped dimensions, and it felt when I was out of there, it felt like I was out of my dimension. It felt like I could have fallen into another dimension very easily.
Yeah,
but they placed me back there. I was like, thank God I'm back in my dimension.
You feel like you're in danger. That's the one thing I know.
It felt very dangerous.
And it's not even just like panic danger. It's like, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't. I don't know. It's a visceral feeling of your soul of I'm not okay right now. And that's why I'm so happy it only lasts for a short amount of time. But bro, it's the worst feeling in the world, bro. It is for me, it was the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. It's crazy to me that it's legal in Canada to do that shit, and there's a lot of high school students who've been. A lot of kids go to the store and they're like, "Oh, weed's pretty cool. Maybe I can try some salvia."
That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah, and then you buy 40X and you go back and I went to my friend's house one time and they had an empty bag of it. And I'm like, "How much did you need to smoke to empty the bag?" It was like a bag of it was the size of a damn bag of rolling tobacco.
Oh my God.
And you don't need that much to get high. You need a little pinch of it. So my friends I don't know how many hits they took, but I feel like you did enough of that shit to cause mental illness. I swear to God, because it's so trippy.
It's not okay.
If you look at what it is, it's in the classification. It's in the same classification as doing a delirium. So and it's just the weirdest alien. It's the most alien experience I'll ever experience in the sense that you feel like you don't even feel human.
No,
it's a
terrible.
totally bizarre experience.
It's fucking terrible, man. I did not like it. I did not like it one bit. I do want to do ayahuasca and whatnot. I've done a bunch of shrooms. I've done a bunch of psilocybin. It's actually weird. Shrooms hit me different. I don't think they really hit me, to be honest. But if anything is fucking salvia, bro, nah, I'm fine, bro. Not that. I'm down to explore, the universe and whatnot, but I'm not down to go back wherever the fuck salvia took me, man. That place is terrible.
I feel like I think Jordan Peterson called university Pleasure Island, and man, when I was in university, people were smoking weed and drinking in high school, but university was so out of control. It's you take everyone away from their parents, you give everyone a bit of allowance. No one really has to work unless you're if you're working at university, I respect you because that's a grind. But
yeah, I did that.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. So no, you do that, you'll have no free time. But anyways, with all the partying and crazy drinking, it's people are our first year university, everyone's living together. It's almost like being a pseudo-adult where you have maybe the lifestyle of not a successfully grown adult, but if you're living with 5, 6 of your friends and you don't have any parents around and people are hitting poppers every fucking night. And by poppers I mean the cigarette You cut a cigarette off, put it into the bong hole, cover the top with weed, and then you just blast the whole thing through, so you get a huge nicotine rush. And people are doing like 15, 16 of these a day.
This is literally how I met Leah.
Yeah, and well, if she's doing like fucking harder drugs and stuff. Then,
She still hits poppers to this day.
Is she from Northern Ontario?
She's from Hamilton.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah. So it's a very like small town Ontario thing to just do insane amounts of poppers, and you do get a head rush off it, but now
it's so fucked, man. I don't even know how like.
Yeah, so doing crazy amounts, and then it's the drinking.
It's the worst thing. No, it's the worst thing you can do to yourself. Didn't they actually do a study where they said the combination of tobacco and cannabis is actually like really bad for you?
Yeah, I don't know anyone who does a lot of those who's a healthy person, honestly. It's like the most toxic way ever to be consuming like tobacco. So yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of like, I don't know, it's like now that I'm older, I'm looking back on those days and I'm just like, damn, those were pretty like wild ass days, and like I can't even believe that. It was like, I don't know what it's like for kids alive now. Apparently Gen Z doesn't really drink that much. They vape, they don't do cigarettes, weed's legal. Yeah, what's scary about Gen Z right now is that they're getting like Xanax bars with fentanyl and like ODing themselves. Like our generation, and then also lean. Like the millennial generation did not really have a problem with like ODing, and it was just a lot of. The thing about drinking is that drinking as your downer is pretty.
I lost a family member to OD.
Who?
You what?
I lost a family member. Yeah.
Well, your family members are my family members.
It's on my mom's side.
Oh Jesus Christ! Okay, that's horrible. Was it fentanyl?
We don't know, but probably.
Were they young or old?
They're like 22.
Oh my god, that's horrible! Holy shit!
That's pretty sad. Yeah.
Yeah, losing your life at that age, man, like right when you're in your prime.
Yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad.
So like I think Gen Z, there's a lot more dangerous. Like we didn't even have fentanyl like 10 years ago, so Gen Z is not drinking anymore. But if they are doing downers, it's like Xanax. Xanax is maybe spiked with fentanyl. You end up getting like just killed doing it. It's pretty crazy.
So I've been listening a lot to Ed Calderon.
Yeah.
Ed Calderon is a former. I forget like on what level, but basically he is some level, was a former police guy in Mexico dealing with the cartels, right? So he talks a lot about his experience with that. He's in the U.S. now because he literally had to run away. But the interesting thing is he talks about how a lot of fentanyl is actually literally being brought in by China.
Oh yeah,
this is well known.
Yeah, this is well known
to the cartels, and the cartels are exporting it up to the U.S. Right? And I think we talked about this before. I'm saying it's really interesting because like I was actually reading. I know that there's some Chinese political leaders that sort of look at this current political era. Like they were saying something the concept of like our concept of history right now is based on Amero history, which is the last 750 years. But prior to that, 3,000 years of dominance is basically done by the East. Yeah. Which is why essentially a lot of Western states are trying to find paths to China, right? Essentially to get resources back because they were the economic hegemony, right? But so I'm saying like basically there are some political leaders in China that are very cognizant of the opium trade that happened, which essentially was a period of time that the UK was trading opium into China.
There's a lot of YouTube recently, right?
And yeah, it destroyed China and literally like the government begged the UK to stop fucking trading opium, right? And I know on some level, I know on some level someone's like, yo, fuck the US, this is what we're gonna do. Ship that fentanyl, bro. Make these niggas fucking go back on their knees. You know what I'm trying to say? God. Like, I know on some level there's no way that's not happening. But like, and it's been happening for years. But I don't know. I know quite a number. I know some people too that have also unfortunately passed away due to overdose.
It's sad.
It's the largest cause of death in the US, I remember.
No, that's not true. Wait, fentanyl is not the largest cause of death.
Wait, what?
It's probably like a growing number of people are dying from fentanyl.
What's the largest cause? Is it cardiovascular?
It should be cardiovascular.
Yeah.
Your heart giving out. Oh god, that would suck. Imagine just being old and having a heart attack and like you're fucking like 85.
It might be for the millennial generation though. Maybe. I forget what the stat was, but it was some ridiculous stat where like fentanyl and overdoses is definitely like significantly killing the younger generation.
That could be true.
Yeah,
that could be true.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not really being like really looked.
Well, this is a bigger issue in British Columbia than it is in Ontario. So there's been a lot of discussion of this over the past 10 years. Yeah, so it's really sad. I think we're in the tens of thousands of deaths from fentanyl in British Columbia.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's a huge number.
It's a huge number.
That's a damn graveyard.
It is actually a staggering number. Yeah.
That's a graveyard of people, man.
Yeah, because now they just throw it into like the coke and shit, right? To like
make it more potent.
Yeah.
You do that one line. Whoa, that definitely wasn't coke. Next thing you know, you're like, I'm so fucked. It's 100 times stronger than doing like heroin, right? So imagine you do a line of coke, and then next thing you know, you're just out in space. Like you shot 100 needles of heroin. Like I can't even imagine. It It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah.
It'd be so overpowering.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like that stuff definitely is out there a lot. It's not a good thing. It's definitely not a good thing. But yeah, so strippers.
You want to talk about strippers?
Yeah.
Let's get into a stripper combo. Shout out to all my friends who run strip clubs. I know you know who you are. It's a crazy job, bro.
I think you know what? I think they should like throw stripping into the Olympics. You know?
No, what? How?
Because it's a very athletic endeavor.
No, you're confusing this with pole dance.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Thing.
Well, okay, you're right. I'm pole dancing.
That's a different thing.
But they need to strip at the same time. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, hold on.
Because I'll give you an example. The only reason.
Just slow down.
I think there is pole dance in the Olympics. It's called like 2-ring bar gymnastics.
That's not the same.
And they're way better. The pole is fucking horizontal, and they're doing the spins around it, and the women are just like, it's like the women are just like they're incredible, man. They're like gold medal finalists. They trained from a very young age to be able to do those skills.
So
pretty amazing.
When I was in Hamilton, I went to school in Hamilton. It's not one of my prouder stories, but I spent a lot of time at Hamilton Strip.
Okay.
It's not exactly one of the best strip clubs in the world.
Yeah.
But I will say this. It's an athletic endeavor, man.
Yeah,
these girls are actually
man. Your from doing that shit.
The ability to like strap your legs to a pole while like facing downwards and arcing your back up like a fucking dolphin.
Yeah, it's an art form,
It's
bro.
the craziest shit I've ever seen, and spinning around. Actually, do you know do you know how many years that I didn't know that the pole spins?
I found it out literally last year. Like my sister-in-law was like, the pole spins. But I was like,
I thought it was greased up.
It was like telling me like the fucking like Santa wasn't real. I was like, what the fuck? Because they always wipe the pole down.
See, I see that, but no, they're like, no, the last bitch is nasty.
That's gotta be sweat.
The last girl's nasty. Nah, I think sometimes like that last girl's nasty. I'm avoiding this shit down. I'm not trying to deal with
fucking herpes from the fucking
But it's always funny at strip club because it's always like the non-athletic girl. She's like, fuck, now I gotta compete after this fucking bitch done like fucking flips and shit on the pole.
I was at House of Lancaster and like all the strippers were so fucking.
That place is. Oh yeah.
No, that place is really hit or miss. So this one chick comes out. She's like, my name is Coco. Comes out this little. I think she's a little Sri Lankan girl. So some chick comes out, has these huge like blinged out like probably 12-inch shields on, enormous. And she's so small. Comes out absolutely spins so fast. Everyone was like, whoa, everyone just stopped. They're like, whoa, this is a spectacle. Spinning so fast, and then the poses and her form and her strength. I wanted to throw money at her. I'm like, yo, you're really good. You can work in Vegas. You're like really, really good. I was blown away, bro.
But the certain things in Canadian strip clubs that are hilariously fucked up though. Have you ever heard of the toonie slide?
Yeah, is that where you heat it up and then you fucking...
No, man, it's much worse. I've literally seen this. Again, Hamilton Strip, right? Oh my god. So you get a tootie, you put it in your lips.
Yeah.
And then you lay on your back on the stage, bro. And then she has to pick it up without using her hand.
Oh, that's actually nasty. I feel like a $20 bill where you're lying down.
They do it bills too, but only I've seen it with a tootie, bro.
Now that I know,
it was the worst.
Now that I know you can actually go on stage and like lay down. Every time I go to the strip club now, I'm gonna give all my friends $20 and like, if you're not getting a lap dance, I'm gonna bare minimum make you lay down on stage and make the stripper call you for $20. Because I realized like after the lap dance, I think minimum it's like a lot of them do not want to do one song unless they're having a really shitty night. I think minimum it's $100.
Well, it's $20 a dance.
It's $20 a dance. And there's also like a minimum amount of dances you can buy. Like they don't really want to do a $20 dance.
Well,
unless it's like a slow night or something.
There's some clubs that have minimum for dances, but that depends also if you're going to the VIP room. Allegedly, I don't know why I know all this information, but like
I know how you know this information. When I was in Montreal, dude, they were doing $10 lap dances, so you can get 9 songs for $90. And I'm like, that's
Montreal is the greatest. Yeah, $10 lap dance. It's the only place in the world that has $10 lap dances.
It was this one place where they had like $5 lap dances, and the strippers were hot. Like,
they're amazing.
The strippers were very
in Montreal.
Yeah, but that was impressive. The average was very high.
Montreal is a different story, different place, man. I went to Wanda's. You ever been to Wanda's?
No, I don't know the fuck that
Wanda's is unreal, bro. I went there with a couple of friends. Actually, this is like grade 12.
I went to this place called Battle Axe.
Oh my god.
Isn't that a dirty name? Axe wound.
I went to Wanda's the first time for a grade 12 month S trip.
Yeah.
So this is a whole bunch of underages. We got into this fucking
fuck.
We get into this.
You're gonna get their liquor license taken away.
We get in this strip club, right? And there's a group of us. There's like girls there too. And I remember basically we got like a lap dance in this booth. They were sitting there, right? And the stripper basically like started going after like one of the chicks like we were with and like taking her shirt off and shit like that. It was the craziest shit. Montreal is the wildest place in the world. The other thing, I think the first night I was in Montreal, I went to this Winston Churchill's. And then they had a
wow. What a name.
The owner's like, I love Winston Churchill so much. I'm gonna name my strip club after him.
No. This is a regular bar. This is a regular bar.
That sounds like disrespect to the fucking dude.
But we pull up to the dance floor, and then the DJ's like, "Yo, we're gonna have a wet T-shirt concert, right?" So I'm like, "Oh, they're gonna bring girls up to the stage." He's like, "No. Everyone on the dance floor right now, take your clothes off." So girls start taking their. Montreal is a wild place. Yeah. I lost my virginity in Montreal.
Good.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Montreal, I've heard some people compare like Berlin to Montreal, and like there is a bit of a comparison there. Montreal is smaller, but in the sense where like they have this European free sex culture. When you go to the clubs, you might see some people fucking in the corner, and the security's not gonna kick you out. They're like, okay, whatever. Like we're not so Puritan here. You want to like fuck in the corner? Just like don't get your semen all over the place, and don't like assault anybody, and you're good. And they just let you do it.
As a black guy, it's a lot easier to like just sleep with anybody there too. It's like it's hilarious.
I feel the women there are a little more aggressive. Like if they want in Toronto, kind of like maybe like look at you like you come hit on me, but the girls there, they were pretty aggressive chicks at the bar.
Do you know where the most aggressive place for women is though?
What?
Belleville, Ontario. Yo, so one time I'm at a bar, Belleville.
This is a soundbite right now.
I'm at a bar in Belleville, Ontario, right? Where this is Christmas party. Right? So I'm at the bar, and at this time I'm there with like I'm there with a girl. She's clearly my girl, right? Yeah. She's on my arm, and we're at the bar, and this one girl pulls up to me, right? She doesn't say a word to me. She just looks at me. She pulls up her purse, takes out a condom, just throws it at me.
Wow.
Just throws it at you. And I'm like,
that's absurd.
This will be like an STD after? Jesus Christ.
No, but I have experience with that too.
Oh. Skybunker podcast.
No, but Belleville, Ontario. Belleville, Ontario.
We're not getting any ad revenue on this one.
Belleville, Ontario is the capital of like I think it's like teenage pregnancy.
It's a baby farm.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Justin Trudeau. That's where you got to invest your money if you want to keep the Canadian population. Belleville, Ontario, man.
Oh my God.
We need 5 times the amount of childcare programs. They're $10 a day.
Bell Vegas. Nothing like Bell Vegas, I'll tell you that.
They call it Bell Vegas.
Yeah. Apparently, there's another strip club there that's just like they call it like a conveyor belt from like girls leave high school just go to there.
Oh, that's so depressing. There's no more opportunities.
I'm definitely gonna get canceled in so many ways for that last one.
Yeah. No, probably not. Like, I don't think anything in this podcast is really that offensive. Like, dude, like when I first started this, nearly everyone was saying, "Oh, Eric, you're gonna get canceled. You're gonna get your friends canceled." We're on episode 3. None of us are like. Even if like these were getting like a huge amount of hits, I don't really think we're saying anything that. You know what it is? There's no hate speech.
Yeah.
We're not. I went on YouTube. I actually went through all the things they can ban you for, and one thing is actually like promoting false shit, like promoting like a crypto scam and everything. They're a lot more like they're looking for shit like that. They're looking for more like viral videos that are promoting some kind of like fraud, because that's a much bigger issue because it actually really harms people. Yeah. If you're doing hate speech, they're gonna ban you for that too. But there's been a lot more like on YouTube. Has been a lot more like pump and dump, like more like robbing people type like things. Like they're like I feel like YouTube is more because that was one of the categories. They're just like, oh, you're promoting like some kind of fraudulent service. You're trying to sell some BS on YouTube. But in terms of like saying subjective things, we're not saying anything like objectively hateful. What we're doing is we're telling a lot of nasty stories, a lot of like personal nasty stories. Some sexual, maybe some drug related, and that's pretty much it. And like, and it's not like we're talking about like shooting heroin or anything crazy like that. Like, and even then. Dude, all I gotta say is that Softwhite Underbelly exists on YouTube and has 4 million subscribers, and he hasn't been banned. He's been demonetized in a couple of videos, but that guy's entire channel is just like prostitutes, drug dealers, people doing fentanyl, people ODing, people getting molested, like the craziest, most X-rated stories ever. And he's like, YouTube like pays that guy so much motherfucking money. I don't know who the fuck sponsors his ads, and who the fuck is buying Softwhite Underbelly's ads.
Well, honestly, no, it's
play a toothpaste commercial.
It's really well artistically done, and he's just sort of, it's an interview, and he's not really.
It's almost like anthropology, honestly.
Yeah, it really,
it's Skid Row anthropology.
Yeah. Because no, there are some cases, bro, that are just like, and that's the other thing too. I find I've been able to talk to some very interesting people. Okay, I'll give you. Here's one. I have some friends that are legitimate escorts.
Okay.
It's really interesting talking to them. It's a different world, right? Like but it's because like what I'm trying is there's almost like, and the whole concept of Softwhite Underbelly is the fact that like there's if you're a regular white collar person or blue collar person who's operating in regular society, there's a whole part of the world you're never even aware of, right? And it's generally these people who operate in like the black market, right? So whatever, right? So
the underworld.
The shit that they deal with, like shit I hear from her is and it's not like a crackhead. She's like honestly just a regular girl who happens to be in like the sex.
Yeah, there's levels to it, yeah.
But yeah, it's really interesting. Like the shit, even like the way they like their perception on marriage. Like dudes that are married that go see them and whatnot, the story that they hear.
Oh, I heard like a lot of sex or prostitutes. Nearly all the guys are married because they're really just trying to hook up and get some action and like and they don't like in terms of having like a companionship and a wife and a partner. They have so much that shit every single day that they're trying to almost like escape that a little bit.
Yeah, but I find so like she gives me a really interesting. It's almost like I get more wisdom from her because she gives me like a different perspective on society. I had another friend too. He spent time for actually selling coke out of fucking brass rails, and he was in he was in prison for a bit. And even him, it's funny. He's got like a because he's not like formally educated, but he's got such a unique perspective on life and the way he looks at things. You can learn a lot from that as well too, right? So I think that's like the reason why they post it like that, because these people have to operate in this life, and there's almost such a different level of knowledge to when you have to live in that world, and it's like fucked.
Yeah, no, dude, like, one of my friends, like, I think he was a sex worker at one point, because he just had way too much insider knowledge about, like, prostitutes. He was just like, yeah, like, there's something called, multiple shots on goal. It's, like, MGOS or something like that. So it's, like, that means you can, like, bang a chick, and, like, you might nut, and then you can, like, they'll let you do it, as many times as you want, but it costs some money to do that, so they have that listed in there, and then multiple shots on goal. He had all this weird terminology I've never fucking and then he was telling me other things. He was just like, yeah, it's like, you know, he's like, yeah, it's not a big deal, you know, sometimes you might have to, like, you know, fuck a bitch and then, like, go wash your dick off in the sink and then go fuck the next bitch so your dick doesn't smell like a condom, because then she'll know that you're fucking some other bitch. He's telling me shit like that. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like, what the fuck? Like the fact you have to wash, the fact that, like, it's not even a 24-hour gap where you're gonna be in the shower, you have to go and, like, wash your dick like a fucking surgeon washes his fucking tools, because you're about to service some motherfucker in the next 60 minutes, like, you're doing it, like, hour by hour. Like, when I heard that shit, I'm like, and then, my other friend, go ahead, yeah, my other friend, he was also, like, just having sex with, like, a lot of sex workers, and I think he was actually a male sex worker at one point. He's like, he could have probably done it.
From my understanding, aren't male sex workers exclusively, like, that's a gay clientele?
I would be surprised if he was doing gay shit. And
I don't think there's not really, like, a market for it. That's why Remington's closed down. There's not a market.
I thought Remington was mostly for gay dudes.
No, that's actually.
No, dude. The one time I was outside of Remington. Okay, I tell you this fucking crazy story. So me and Dave Forte used to run a studio, Young and Elm, which is right across the street from Remington's and a goddamn like shawarma spot was across the street, right? So one time, okay, there's two things that happened. One time I'm staying outside. We're just chilling, like smoking weed in front of the studio. And this like old Asian guy comes out, like probably like 50-something, and he walks out, and we're next to the Delta Chelsea Hotel on Young, so he walks out of the strip club, and he's walking away, and this like 6'7" huge white guy, very good looking Chad, he walks out, and he runs up behind the guy, puts his arm around him, and he's like, hey man, how you doing? And the guy's like, what's going on? And he's like, hey man, you just come upstairs, I have a hotel room, just come upstairs with me, and he just like whisks him away into the Delta Chelsea, and he's just like, okay, yeah, that guy's definitely like making a sale right now, that was crazy. And then the second time, we're throwing a party in the basement in the fucking Redford studio, and it's crazy, right? And then, like one of the strippers from the clubs come down, and he's in this like neon like tank top, and he's really tall and jacked, and he walks in, and he's like super fucked up, he's super drunk. He just walks in, and on some male stripper shit, he immediately starts like ballroom dancing with all the girls. He walks over to the DJ, tips him a bunch of money, goes to the bar, tips the bartender, gets some shots, and then he was just walking around like dancing with all the bitches, and like the way he operated in the club was like so different, because like all the guys are like scared to talk to him. He walks in like he's like, yo, I'm a professional male stripper. I will like service every girl in this fucking room, like, you know, and it was ridiculous, and like, yeah, but you know what though, like, it was just very it was just very spontaneous, because like we're at the same time we're right across the street from Remington's. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. What else starting?
Yeah. It's actually funny, man. Yo, so I was at.
We're getting some good sound bites today.
I was at the gym. And then like this dude just ended up like being homies with, right? Because I saw him at the gym a lot. And then like one day I don't ask a lot of questions, right? So like one day, what do you do came up, right? He's like, oh, I'm a dancer. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, like for what? Like music videos? He's like, no. Like I'm like an exotic dancer. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh shit, no way.
Was he really good looking?
Yo, yeah. So he's honestly, you should consider it too, man. He pays like crazy. You know what I'm trying to say? He basically
it pays like crazy because mostly gay dudes pay.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, this is funny. He's like a very happy guy, but like, but yeah, there's a prevalent market for that.
Yeah. No,
It sure is.
I was talking.
Sure is.
Yeah, when I was in China, we were talking about prostitution. My friend's dad, and he says that like if you want to be a male prostitute in China, you're literally gonna be banging like old ladies, like maybe like 40, 50 plus, maybe have husbands who don't like give them any attention anymore. And he says that you have to be down to pipe these girls all night long. Like, to 10 a.m. every single day, you're gonna be on Viagra. And he's like, and if you're not down to do that, man, and they're only gonna pay you maybe like $40 or some shit. That's how much.
Yo, what's the oldest girl you ever banged?
What?
What's the oldest girl you ever banged?
The oldest girl I've ever banged?
Yeah.
I've not really banged older women. I banged chicks either my age, and now that my middle girls were maybe slightly younger. I haven't banged any milfs. I'll say this on camera too. I haven't banged. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I can tell you're gonna be like, I banged some bitch who was 50 or some shit. Oh my god. Oh, smile.
She wasn't 50, but I banged like a 45-year-old Chinese woman.
How was it? Was that right?
It was sort of weird.
Yeah.
Yo, she kept on.
Yeah.
Yo, she kept on saying, "Give me that nigga dick."
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yo, you know where I've heard that? Childish Gambino said that in one of his stand-up comedies, where like he says when girls say that to him, it makes him like so hard.
That's so funny, man.
It makes them so hard.
Yo, the whole scenario for me was funny because pulling up there, a 45-year-old like, and she was like, I'm pretty sure she's a lawyer or something like that too.
Yeah.
So like for me, I was like. I don't want to say what age I was at the time, but the thing is, like,
you were in high school, were you?
No.
Okay,
But, to give you, it doesn't matter. But it was funny because like the whole scenario was weird. First of all, this woman and me would never be seen together ever. So
yeah, so
and I think like it was off like a dating app too. How we ended up meeting up, blah blah whatever.
Black Eyes, blackeyes.com.
Yeah,
Blacked.com.
But I think it was like Plenty of Fish, bro. I think it was like
there's a lot of older women on Plenty of Fish.
Yeah. But she just wanted to get dick down, so I went there, piped her down, and never talked to her again.
Dude, I think today, Adrian, do you want to throw any nasty stories on camera?
Well, I just don't live the lives you guys have, so I don't really have.
No, if you want nasty stories, you don't have to tell them. You just have to tell them. Yeah, I'm not really talking nasty stories. This guy's talking about like getting like mandingoed essentially on Plenty of Fish.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
One time
I don't have any stories in this genre really at all.
Here's one. One time I cuckolded a person.
Wow,
Yeah.
Are you gonna tell a story on camera right now? You can tell this gangster story on camera. You can tell
whatever.
Oh, you're no, because I'm gonna clip this. So. You know what's funny? When it's buried in the YouTube video, the only people who watch it are our friends. Like, my friends, like, yo, I was cleaning my apartment today, so I listened to your podcast for 2 hours. But when you clip it, everyone's seen the podcast so far. I said, how do you watch the podcast? Nearly everyone says I watched the clips. That's okay, because like 2 hours is a lot.
That's what everyone does.
The last one was 3 hours. Yeah, but I only watch. Well, you watch the clips, and if you're really entertained by the clips, then you'll jump on and watch like our podcast is 3 hours, dude. The only guys who get 3 hour podcasts is like fucking like Jordan Peterson versus Joe Rogan. They get a 3 hour. But that's why it's just fun though, because we got to make our own TV show pretty much.
So I should preface this. This is why I'm not a whore now. Actually, as Adrian says, I'm a whore in denial.
I think that's right.
I'm a whore in denial.
But I've really tried to reel things down. 2022 is actually a really good year for me. I've slept with the least amount of people that I've ever had in my life.
So which is like 500.
No.
This guy's bodying chicks twice a day.
No, I've never done that.
This guy's booking lunchtime BJs.
But anyhow, so I matched with this girl like a while back, like on Tinder, and then she was like a pretty like hot black chick, right? So then she messages me and she's like, "Yo, like I'm here, I'm from out of town. Do you want to participate in a gangbang?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm okay. I don't want to really fuck you. Like, I don't want to really do that." She's like, "Okay, well." She's like, "Do you want to fuck me with a boyfriend then?" I was like, that I could do.
You're gonna clip for this one, bro. I'm gonna put a title card on this one.
Oh, there you go. Cuckold king right here.
So this time I'm living at fucking like it doesn't matter where I'm living. So she's at Fort York and Bremner.
That's next to my place.
I already know the deal already. So I'm walking over there. I get in there, right? I get to the condo. Door opens up, they're there, right? So I walk in and she's like, hey, right? So she's like, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick to get ready. I'm like, all right, cool. So she goes to the bathroom, so just me and this guy. And I'm like, yeah, so what's up, bro?
I'll tell a story after this one.
Yeah, so I'm like, what's up, bro? He's like, yeah, well, we flew in from Calgary, like, she lets me bang a lot of chicks. She actually bangs a lot of chicks every now and then. She wants to have her own thing. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. So she comes out of the bathroom. We go into the bedroom, right? And he starts like hitting me from behind. So I'm like, I seen a porn. I guess like what I do now is put my dick in your mouth. You know, because that's how this operates, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So so I did that.
Okay, guys. So Otis telling a story right now about when this guy like cucked some other guy's girlfriend. Crazy shit. Here we go.
Yeah. So whatever. So he spin around. Did that for a bit, and then she's like, "Yo, like, dude." She's like, "Do you?" She's like, "I want to get DP."
Oh. DP.
So and actually, before this, it was really weird because like when I was fucking her, he was like, "Yo, babe, do you like this shit?" And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh.
Talking dirty to her, he's like, "Yeah, you like that shit?"
She's like, "Yeah, I like this." I was like, anyhow, so we DP this chick, and then he already fucked her in the ass. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just fuck you in the ass too then.
Were you guys wearing like any condoms at all during this?
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't. I was about to say that's super high risk behavior.
So then he just like his guy fuck. He's like, all right, dude. He's like, I'm gonna go off the balcony and smoke. So he does that and then proceed to like fuck his girlfriend for like the next hour.
Wow.
I guess it's not really his girlfriend, but like
he's like cigarette break, bro. You swap in.
Yeah.
Then do 90 minutes.
Yeah, and then also left there, never talked to her again. It's like this, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ruthless, and honestly, like
that's so ruthless, bro.
No, that's not even that. No, that's not even that bad. It's like because she was into that. That's what she wanted to do. I'm pretty sure that she had the gangbang still later that day.
I've been talking about this. Yeah, you said you got off her and you're wrapping up, and then she's like, "Okay, yeah, now I'm calling the game."
Yeah.
This was like her Sunday.
This is
Slay session with fucking eight dudes.
I've definitely met some interesting characters in the city, but again, this is why I've now lived a very, very straightforward lifestyle.
Otis living a Christian lifestyle right now. I'll tell a story, but it's not nearly as crazy as that. I'll tell you, if you're talking about older women, so the biggest gap I've ever had was probably when I was like 18 at the time and she was 25. So yeah, so I'm living in China, I'm a foreign student. So I'm teaching English and this chick's like, so this woman, she's taller than me. She's probably like 5'10". She's like thicker than me. She's 25, this Swedish woman. I think Aiden turns the story before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, she's like, "Oh, it's my birthday tonight. Do you want to come have a drink with me at the bar later?" I'm like, "Okay, well, we're foreign students and, a lot of us don't have friends out here and stuff like that, so I'm not going to make it to your birthday alone." She was a nice person, so I'm like, "Okay, let's go to the bar." Do you want that, or do you want like just straight? Do you want liquor? Do you want like soju or something like that?
Yeah, let's just do that, I guess.
Okay, let's do it. 1 second. Let's fucking pause this shit for a second. All right, guys, I'm gonna tell about. Mans are asking about my story. Anyway, so she's like, "Okay, come to the bar with me." So I go to the bar with her, and then I'm just telling her about my high school drama, this and that, and then she's just talking to me, and we're just drinking, and at the time they serve these huge pitchers, now I know they're called Steins, but it's a huge ass 1 liter cup of beer. So anyways, so I'm pretty hammered. I'm in the bar, so I'm telling her just about ex-girlfriends, and I'm 18, so it's like high school level ex-girlfriends. Then she just fucking grabs me and starts making out with me, and her lips are so big, and I'm just like, I'm just like, "Why are you doing this for?" And I'm like 18, I'm really naive, and she's like, "Oh, you just look like you need a smooch." Now if I'm older, I'm just like, okay, this chick's trying to make out with me, but I'm 18 at the time, I'm really fucking new. I'm just like, maybe she's just trying to I just took it at face value because I'm not reading the sub-communication. And then she read my horoscope on my palm, and she's just like, "Yeah, you're gonna have 2 kids, and she's like, you're gonna be successful, but you're not gonna make crazy amounts of money, being a multi-millionaire, millions and millions, because you're having too much fun doing projects with your friends," which is crazy because this was 15 years ago, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm all about making money and everything, but at the same time, I'm trying to do it while having fun with my friends at the same time. Anyways, so she's like, "Do I come back to my place and smoke some weed?" Which is illegal in China at the time. Anyways, so and I probably should say that on camera, but fuck it. Anyways, so we go back and she barely had any left. I think her friend was illegally growing or something. So we're smoking a joint at her place, and then she puts on this music, and she's like, "Do you know back?" So she's from Switzerland, and she's from Zurich, and she said she used to be. I think she said she was dancing, but she's like, "I used to strip when I was 18 in Hawaii or some shit." Whoa. And she was talking about her seeing ghosts and everything, about how in Hawaii there's some zone where the equator hits, where all the dead bodies and spirits cross over to the afterworld, and there's a giant green glow around it. And they almost got raped one time by these 2 guys because they were so young. Anyways, so she's playing music at her place, and her roommate's out. And in Beijing, they had a really nice place. They had a 2-story enormous loft first floor with these enormous blue curtains, and then her roommate at the time had his computer hooked up to the monitor, because this is before YouTube and shit. So having your computer hooked up to your screen meant that you could play movies without a DVD player. So they're playing documentaries, and she's telling me these nasty things "Oh, do you know dolphins when they fuck each other? The dolphins have fingers on their penises they can use to grab each other." So anyways, so this chick is dancing and shit. So I'm like, okay, she's dancing. I used to break dance all the time. She's dancing. She's like stripping and shit. She's getting all wavy. I'm like, okay, she's dancing. I'm gonna dance too. But I was breakdancing at the time. So I'm on the floor fucking breakdancing next to her because he's dancing. I'm like, let's all dance. I was fucking breakdancing at the time. Let's do it. And then I'm sitting on the couch just watching, and then she just gets on top of me and starts like fucking like dancing on me and shit. And I'm just like so confused. I'm just like, I almost felt like how like maybe like younger women must feel when the older guys being really creepy and not really knowing what's going on because I'm so inexperienced. And I'm just like, what are you doing right now? And she's like, yeah, I'm dancing on you. And I'm like, I'm 18, I'm so fucking naive. I'm just like, yeah, okay, so she just kissed me, she's dancing on me. You know, I don't think this chick's like DTI. This chick is like way older than me, and like she's just like, she's bigger, and like this is too much woman. Anyways, so I kind of end up like, I didn't smash, but I ended up like kind of like, you know, getting some action with this chick, right? You know, anyway, so like at the last minute I try to get off, and she's like not letting me get off her and shit like that because her fucking legs wrapped around me. So I went out the place, and then she's like,
she has her legs.
She has her fucking just me like a fucking jujitsu grip.
She has full guard.
So I'm gonna get the fuck out. So I fucking get the fuck out of there, and then she's like, where are you going right now? And I'm like, I'm going home. She's like, you're fucking ditching me right now. You can't fucking leave. You can't be a fucking tease right now. I'm like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. It's 5 in the fucking morning. So I'm getting away. Then she fucking grabs me. She's so much taller than me. Grabs me, fucking kisses me and shit. So I go back to my place. I have a roommate.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, Washington Post is I don't know. It's a little too. Maybe honestly, Washington Post. It's not neutral, but it's maybe the most neutral. I don't know. What do you think of that, man? Any thoughts on that, Odie? Because like I would say, New York Times now is quite left. Jacobin's the most left because that's literally a socialist Marxist magazine that has decently high publication. Fox News is pretty far right. Even further right is obviously Breitbart, whatever. But like in terms of a credible news source, I mean, Fox News is so biased. They're right lying. But honestly, I feel like at a certain point, like, you know, it's really unclear that the media landscape in this regard is getting so polarized. I feel like, and it's like, you know what? Okay, here's my take. The most neutral stuff that I've seen, or maybe like slightly center rightish, is actually like Financial Times and possibly Bloomberg. When they try to cover politics, even though they specialize in finance, I find it comparatively at least more rigorous journalism. I don't know if you have thoughts on that.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say. So like, the interesting thing about me is a lot of people who know me from back when I was in university.
Yeah.
Is that I used to say a lot of things back when I was in school.
Okay.
Where people literally thought I was fucking crazy, literally to the point where they thought I should go to fucking therapy.
Okay.
Nah. Gang shit, bro.
Everything that I said is happening now.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, right. So
you're an educated smart
guy. My major premise essentially was that, like, specifically the U.S. is moving towards a civil war, right?
Okay. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I should. Agree
okay, do you guys think the U.S. going towards civil war?
I think it's entirely possible.
Okay, by civil, let's define civil war.
Okay, good.
Like NRA versus the U.S. military.
I'm really happy you brought that up because my thesis essentially was that one of the major issues was globalization and the influx of populations considerably changing essentially the nature of the culture that operates here.
Yeah.
And more so than that, the fact that politicians no longer operate on merit but popularity.
Yes.
And essentially when demographics change, they're going to have to significantly change their strategy as to how to implement their popularity.
Yes.
And that's
ever since Kennedy was the first televised president.
Exactly.
And that changed everything.
Yeah.
Because he looked good on camera. Yeah. He seemed like a good Catholic boy. I'm not saying he was. He seemed that way.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan was the apotheosis before Trump. Trump's the fucking height of this bullshit. So next we could get fucking Logan Paul, and then it's all over.
It's funny because technically speaking,
it's completely all over. The country's completely fucked.
If you sort of think about it, Trump is technically Reagan.
Yes and no. I think Trump is smart. Reagan was really stupid, man.
Yeah.
Reagan was so stupid. They had to get speechwriters to do stuff. Trump can at least talk.
But he was senile at the back end of his fucking...
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? But like Reagan... Okay, I hear what you're saying. I mean, Make America Great Again. Did you know that's a Reagan? That's a Reagan line? That's right from fucking Reagan. Yeah. I hear you on that because Reagan was literally a Hollywood actor. Not a great one. Not a famous one, but he was. And he had a lot of training in that. But the thing about Reagan, too, is there was a whole philosophy of neoliberalism that Trump didn't exactly have. Because the interesting thing about Trump...
I would actually say Trump's one of the greatest neoliberalists of all presidents.
I actually don't agree with that because on trade policy he's an isolationist.
No. Abraham Accords.
Okay, let's talk about this. Because he's clearly an isolationist on China. He's clearly increasing tariffs, right, on steel.
Yes.
Because Canada, it was more expensive for steel exports.
Yeah, against Canada. He tariffed Canada.
There's tariffs on Canada.
Canada's ridiculous.
I wouldn't say that's a key tenet of neoliberalism.
But the
Neoliberals typically like free trade.
But the Obama administration also tried to administrate TPP, which was trying to lock out specifically China out of global trade.
Okay, I agree with that, but maybe I'm missing your point though, because wouldn't you expect a proper neoliberal to want to deregulate things like this?
All I'm trying to say is that, like, if you look at, like, from a policy perspective, I personally don't think that Trump was too radical from what the general, like, mandate was from a lot of previous presidents, right?
Okay.
Right? Like, I don't think he was...
I mean, there's far less open borders, right? I mean, on a trade of...
but I also think that they were trying to create they were trying to create a more secure border during the Obama administration. They didn't call it a wall, but they were trying to create a more secure border amongst the southern part of the U.S. 100%.
Okay, yeah.
That's generally been, like, because that's actually... So there's the idea of internal and external sovereignty. The idea of internal sovereignty essentially is being able to control your borders, right?
Yeah.
There is like, if we're being subjective here, there is legitimately a security issue amongst the southern border of the U.S.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't know if I think illegal immigrants pose a threat. I think maybe it's more trafficking, human trafficking, drug trafficking. That's more of a threat.
That's a
cartel activities. Yeah. I agree with that.
I would say purely by the nature of the cartel being as active and as well financed as they are, specifically in Mexico, it is a national security threat.
Okay, I agree with that.
Because you're also basically financing the cartel by allowing this trade to happen through your southern border.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Because the coyotes are making mad money.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about coyotes in Arizona, dude? That's crazy shit.
Exactly,
man.
but
I know what you're talking about.
And it's not even just Mexicans.
That's some real human.
It's not Mexicans they're bringing Nicaraguans.
Yeah. They're doing all kinds of Central Americans too.
So there is a massive an issue happening in South America. The real issue that's happening here is it's a real American issue. And when I mean that, I mean Northern and South American issue, right?
Yeah.
So South America right now is suffering.
Oh, of course, man.
So South America is essentially...
In the words of Uruguayan journalist Eduardo Galeano, it's open veins. Man.
Yeah.
It's fucking hemorrhaging blood out of your fucking wrist. That's the name of a book, Open Veins in Latin America. Incredible history book. That's a great way to describe Latin America. Violence, pillaging, colonialism, imperialism, everything you can think of.
The worst.
It's worse. It's just like Africa, man. It's so
Latin America is bleeding, and they're leaving to go to America because that's the land of opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? And the thing is, the issue right now is that America doesn't really have a policy to deal with that because why should they?
I agree with that. I basically agree with that. That being said, I don't know if I feel like being tough on immigration is the right policy. Because I'll give you an example. Because so I'm not saying you're saying this, but one Trump talking point that's just empirically false from my read. So Brookings Institute, a famously nonpartisan think tank out of DC, these guys are running research that suggests that actually immigrants are typically getting jobs that white people don't even want. Okay, so janitor jobs, farm jobs.
Farming, collect,
okay, so when you get these like fucking Trump supporters out of like Ohio or fucking Texas or wherever, they're saying, oh, they're taking our jobs. They're actually not taking jobs you even wanted to have.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, and not only that, you need immigrants because it helps have a healthy economy.
Yep.
And another factoid that's important too is that illegal immigrants actually commit less crimes on average than even domestic. Even fucking domestics.
I didn't know that.
That's actually true. Look this up. They actually do on average do not commit as much crime. They commit less crimes.
Well, it can't be tracked because they're illegal immigrants.
Okay, fair enough. But they can partly be tracked. Because when they catch it, I swear
to God they can track it because when they arrest your ass, they'll document your face and your fingerprints.
I forget the methodology.
And
but
do what, bro? What are the faces
look this up.
They'll add you to the statistics. They'll be like this fucking random person from this country. Like
there's no system to reference. You're not trying to say you're some random fucking guy here,
dude. There was a bunch of Mexicans coming to the U.S. robbing banks all the time, man, or like doing crazy shit. They would have data on that.
Look, I don't remember the methodology, but I can tell you that there are methods. I'm not saying you can contest the methods. I'm just saying there are some methods.
I'm getting away from the point here.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say here, right? Okay, so like America right now is dealing with an issue in South America. The part I was trying to get to is that ironically, on some level, this was actually caused by America. Right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
The intelligence agencies were doing some fuckery, specifically the CIA in South America.
Oh, of course, man.
To uphold regimes that should not be in a holding.
Of course.
Like Pinochet.
That's well known. That's well known.
Yeah, and the FARC.
Yeah, I can remember all the dates, man.
Contras,
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
And all these
Oh, yeah,
motherfuckers,
100%.
all this shit.
100%.
These niggas were literally fucking selling guns for coke in the U.S. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yo, it's true. It's true.
Yo, I'm just trying to say, the CIA was literally fucking getting Freeway Ricky Ross to sell cocaine in South Central LA for fucking guns to the Contras. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Okay, but anyhow, I bring this up to say,
It's ironic. It's super
ironic right now that the U.S. is dealing with a South American issue that they don't want to deal with because they have no policy to deal with it, but technically they sort of he created it on some level.
Yes.
Yeah. And so like you ask yourself like what is the long-term like solution for this? Is it purely just
It's not clear to me. It's completely unclear to me what the solution is. Oh my god, it's so bad. It's so bad, man. It's really bad, and the U.S. fucked it up. And you know the thing is that Europe also fucked Africa, and it's the exact same thing. Because now you get all these North African refugees
leaving
from Libya, leaving Africa, going to Italy, Greece, fucking and trying to make their way to Germany.
We don't want migrants. Oh my god! Why
you shouldn't have fucked them so hard. But you fucked them so hard that you would have done exactly the same if you were in their position. Fucking climate change is causing so many problems too, increasing the probability of people joining ISIS in fucking Ivory Coast. Dude, 90% of Ivory Coast right now is agriculture. And because of fucking climate change, all the CO2 emitting assholes in North America and Europe were responsible for most of the CO2 emissions. Fucking this shit's causing all the jet airplanes, all the fucking meat consumption. All of this is causing more and more problems for developing nation states that are struggling, and they're the ones actually facing the downstream negative consequences. Environmental degradation, erosion, fucking... There's so many issues. Desertification, Sahara's increasing in its desertification more and more. It's so bad, man. And so it's no surprise. So to me, that's why I try to educate the undergrads, and a lot of them agree with me. But like, I emphasize the point further. Like, you have to understand, climate change will catch up to you because the net effects on the macro situation politically, globally, will end up affecting us in one way or another, and it's already starting to affect us. And so this is the key thing. Absolutely, man.
This is also why I think on like a global level, setting policies on a marketing level of altruism is bullshit.
Yeah, it's of course bullshit, man.
There's no good to be done globally.
You know what? And even if they tried, they're just gonna create another problem downstream.
Exactly.
This is why it's so hard to do geopolitics. I get it. It's really fucking hard.
You can't run the world.
You can't. The world is so difficult to run.
I'm sorry, girls. You don't run it.
You know what? Who knows? I mean, it's tricky. But you know, there are female politicians who are doing really well. I think Jacinda Ardern, fucking New Zealand outstanding politician.
Oh, she's great.
Fucking I forget her name in Finland. She's doing well. No, fuck Liz Truss. Oh my god.
Oh, there's so many great examples.
Dude, she's so bad. Man.
There's so many great.
Worst. Oh, fuck.
So many good examples.
She just went in to collect the pension and fucking leave. That's basically, she fucked it up so bad.
Yeah. No, there's so many great examples of female politicians. That's why they run the world right now.
No, man. What are you, Keith? Are you some fucking post-ironic shit right now? What are you talking about?
No, I'm just saying. Like,
Angela Merkel, great politician.
Oh, Angela Merkel is so good at. She's so good at running fucking politics that Germany is freezing to death right now.
No. She's been out of power for at least a year or two. It's Olaf Scholz now who's the Chancellor of Germany.
Do you know
it's not the same fucking person.
Do you know how Germans keep war right now? They're in fucking sex mazes. Trying to find holes to fuck. So
that's not necessarily their fault. Yeah, that's not necessarily their fault, man.
I find that's fucking. Is that HVAC? I find to edit that out. That's fucking crazy. Is that HVAC? I find to edit
Up to you, man. No, that's fine. You can keep that shit in. You can give a shit. It's just Odie being Odie.
Yeah.
I hear you on that. I mean, we need more. I don't know. It really remains to be seen. I mean, the future of politics. I mean, there are young voices. There are young people getting in positions of power. Chile has one of the youngest leaders. I think he's only 35.
Is that the crypto guy? That's not the crypto guy.
No, you're not. That's Nayib Bukele for fucking El Salvador.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy's fucking cracked out.
He's my favorite.
He's pure crack.
He's my favorite,
Yo, man, he's
bro.
memeing so hard. Yo, like, you gotta see his Nayib Bukele on El Salvador. Dude, you gotta see his Twitter account. Dude, he's making jokes about fucking McDonald's, working at McDonald's and shit.
Oh
dude,
my
it's
God.
so bad, dude.
Did you work at McDonald's?
No, because what he's saying is that he thinks Bitcoin will be worth so much that everyone else is gonna be fucking working at McDonald's.
Yeah,
Okay, you know what?
Dude, dude, it's
You know
so
what?
bad.
Yeah,
You shouldn't be doing that on Twitter.
He's the
Yeah,
president. He's the president of a country openly shilling Bitcoin.
It's
like,
true.
Like openly shilling. Yeah.
But not only that, to be fair, I've been trying to study it a little bit more. He has done some stuff that's probably in the right direction because he's also tougher on gangs. He's increasingly tougher on gangs. If you actually look at the domestic policy, he's actually gang violence is actually starting to decrease because he's putting so many of these fuckers in jail. Don't get me wrong.
Wow.
That's a systemic issue. Yo, El Salvador has some of the worst prisons internationally besides Philippines.
Oh yeah, El Salvador had like
Philippines,
yeah.
Indonesia.
I've seen the documentaries are legendary.
Yeah,
El
it's
Salvador,
crazy
crime,
violence
violence everywhere. Fucking rape, violence.
Third world country.
Oh, dude, it's
prisons,
so
yo,
bad. El
it's
Salvador's
fucking
such
nuts.
a tragedy, man.
They were a global leader in homicide. I'm pretty sure.
It's true. That's exactly right.
Yeah. The favorite part of Bolsonaro was when he was making a speech while eating.
Dude, I don't support Bolsonaro. He's fucked.
While eating empanada. You know, his whole country's starving because he's eating empanada while fucking. You know,
Okay,
like,
dude,
making his
that
speech,
Bolsonaro's so fucked.
Was he eating empanada on stage?
He's
Yeah,
ex-military.
That's so
Yeah.
ignorant.
Yo, that guy he said that he would shoot
that's
his
a
own son. He would shoot his own son if he was gay. He said that. I was like, what the fuck? Dude, that's so. You shouldn't say that, man.
Yo,
because there's other people who look up to you who are actually shooting their kids. You shouldn't say that. You see what I'm saying?
I had a coach. I had a coach
That's
that said
so
that.
fucked.
Yo, shout out Antonucci, I love you. But he also said he'd shoot his kid and leave his wife if he was gay.
Oh, what? This is what I'm saying. This is so bad, man.
I think they were gonna have so many good clips. Maybe 30 fucking clips out of this.
Oh, dude, the thing
ignorance.
about this is like contemporary
ignorance.
politics, man. It's just off the charts, dude. I was fucking reading about Comoros. No one's even heard of it unless they study African history. Comoros is an African island nation roughly northwest of Madagascar, east of Tanzania, southeast of Kenya. So this fucking place, tiny place. Dude, the leader of Comoros was caught in a passport selling scam where he made billions of dollars. It's so much money. The GDP of this country is like not even fucking billions or something. He personally made so much money by selling illegal passports. I'm thinking, what? Who the fuck wants to invest in Comoros? What is their exports? I can't even tell you. But he made apparently billions. I was reading Al Jazeera. I was like, what the fuck, man? The amount of corruption in African countries, and it's so cyclical, right? It's so cyclical, and it's almost become a fucking running joke, right? You know, I read the Wikipedia article on Good Luck Jonathan. He was the previous Nigerian leader. Dude, they said corruption flourished under Good Luck Jonathan. No, that's such a damning criticism to have on your fucking.
Do you know?
Flourish.
Do you know?
It is so bad.
Do you know where modern monetary theory came from?
MMT theory?
Yeah.
Okay, it actually has roots in George Knapp. So George Knapp was actually a German economist in the 1930s.
Yeah.
Or actually no, 1920s. So it actually comes from a view called chartalism. So I could get into that, but why do you want to get into that?
You know where it was first used?
MMT theory?
Africa. Across the board, Rwanda.
Where?
Rwanda, rampantly.
Oh, interesting. I actually don't know the monetary history of Rwanda.
Kenya?
Teach me this.
Kenya.
So we should teach people what MMT theory is. So MMT theory has actually different schools of thought. So you have Hyman Minsky and you have L. Randall Wray. So those are the major components in macroeconomics of MMT theory. So what they say is that you can actually spend your way out of recession. Okay. So this is actually.
Wait. Let's just bring down this.
This is Jerome Powell philosophy.
Let's bring down this.
implicitly.
Can you spend your way in a recession?
Well, you can because that's what they did in the 1930s.
Let's
That's
bring
what the U.S. government did.
This
is also what the U.S. government
is it
did.
invest in infrastructure.
Can we
Yes. It's also Keynesian. It's way further than Keynes
Okay.
would have ever gone.
Yeah.
Because the way MMT theory goes further because they think that you can spend yourself out of any recession. So they're crazy. That's why it's considered heterodox economics. They also think that the only mechanism that you have to tamper the monetary supply is essentially taxation. But they also think that you can indefinitely spend. So when they look at the trillions of dollars of U.S. debt right now, they think this is not a problem. And I think, what are you talking about? It's a huge problem. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is MMT theory. This is very controversial. But it depends on what phase of MMT theory, because it evolved since chartalism in the 1920s.
Okay, the idea of essentially like indebting yourself into perpetuity.
Yeah, exactly. That's essentially MMT theory.
Yeah, that's
super risky.
That's like literally every
Just keep
African
money
country did that.
printing, money
Every African country did that. Yeah, literally every. Kenya did that, and those are like there's so many scams that came through that. Basically, everything that we're seeing a lot of like G20 states go through right now.
Yeah.
Africa went through during the 90s, and it's hilarious for me to see right now. I actually laugh when I see it happen because it's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. And it's really funny for me to actually see Western states utilize the same economic policies that destroyed African countries to the point we had to immigrate to come here. So the hilarity is compounding. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah. I mean, I haven't studied enough of I need to read a lot more about certain African countries. All I can tell you is that there's the West African franc.
Yeah.
So that's controlled mostly by the monetary supply of France.
Yeah.
Because France made a deal with Guinea-Bissau, I believe Senegal, fucking Ivory Coast, Niger, Cameroon, even fucking Republic of Congo, etc. Maybe Equatorial Guinea, I don't know. And they made a deal saying that that we basically get to control your monetary supply and your monetary policies. And I think that's super fucked up. No, it's okay. What is that?
It's a cookie.
Cookies.
No, man, no. I've done too much junk food today.
I love the cookies.
I actually had 2 cookies earlier today. I had 2 cookies.
We're eating shit today, bro.
I didn't have a healthy diet. I was kind of like being a hypocrite today. I shouldn't.
Yeah, you're eating the popsicle. You're like, I'm healthier than you, motherfucker. You're eating a popsicle. I'm like, fuck you too. Fucking shit talker.
Yo, but you know what? I hear you on that. I mean, the worst offender is obviously Robert Mugabe for Zimbabwe monetary theory, because they're fucking hyperinflating the fucking asshole. Dude, they're just fucking diarrhea amounts of fucking printing money, right? You know what I'm saying? So like, but you know what? There's some countries that will print a lot of money, but they're fine.
Confessions of an Economic Man.
Yeah, I read that book.
That book's ridiculous.
That's a good book.
Was he seducible? They sent me sexy women. They sent me the money. Was he seducible?
Wasn't there something about like Tedros, who's the current like
WHO? Tedros is the last name of the head of the WHO.
He gave some award to Mugabe, some ridiculous award to Mugabe.
I don't know. That could be the case.
It was like humanitarian.
That's kind of fucked up.
It was like humanitarian of the year.
Okay, that's so fucked up. That's completely non sequitur. Like, what the fuck? This guy committed atrocities. This guy committed war crimes, dude. This guy's a straight pseudo-communist thug.
Oh my god.
Dude, Mugabe's awful, man.
Yo, please fact check me on that, but like, yo, Tedros gave Mugabe.
That could be the case. But you know what's absurd is didn't Obama win the Peace Prize? That's absurd. The guy literally was bombing innocent Afghan children and Yemeni citizens. It's completely absurd. I mean, what the fuck? I don't even remember why did he even receive it? What peace did he do? What was this? One of those hawkish, super hawkish government, dude. They fucking violated Pakistani sovereignty through 2011 by sending SEAL Team 6 to enter Abbottabad to fucking assassinate Bin Laden. What are you talking about? How is that peaceful? Pakistan Secret Service like, what the fuck are you doing?
With zero evidence. Zero evidence.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, guys? Yeah, like, why would you receive the... Dude, the Nobel Peace Prize is the biggest propaganda campaign for Western forces I've ever seen in my life. Peace Prize, man. Like,
let's pause for a second. I want
to
investigate something for a second. Okay, do you know how wild it is for SEAL Team 6 to say, hey, we illegally went into Pakistan to fucking go kill and capture Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
And when we did so, we decided to throw his body in the fucking ocean.
Yeah, that's true. They did.
Is that what they did? They threw his body. No, I thought they executed him, and then I think they handed his body over, and then they documented the body.
They took photos, but then they actually almost immediately dumped the body in the ocean.
Why?
Because there was some technicality in the CIA or something where because
disposing of evidence.
It wasn't a legal operation.
It should not have gone to Pakistan.
It violates international.
They invaded Pakistan.
Jesus Christ! It's from the 4th of the. No. It was a black ops mission, so it wasn't supposed to happen.
That's right.
Yeah, no, but they ID'd
him. Yeah. But it is a little sus. It's definitely a little sus.
That's extremely sus. That's black ops. That's fucking Call of Duty shit.
They should have took him back, but they said no. You have to dispose of the body.
Oh my god.
They say you got to dispose of the body.
It's Call of Duty shit.
And this is some Call of Duty shit. But I hear you on that, man. If you want to talk about some spook shit, the craziest to me is Pakistani Secret Service. I went on a huge binge. When was this? I went on a huge binge. I think almost last Christmas this year. Yeah, it was last Christmas this year where I went on a huge fucking U.S. foreign policy binge. Dude, the ISI, Inter-Services Intelligence, dude, Pakistani Secret Service literally has funded so much terrorism on India. It's an incredible amount of terrorism.
It's so funny.
Oh my god, dude! They fucking shared a bank account with the CIA in the 1980s too. They were funneling Mujahideen in Afghan war. They fucking Osama bin Laden was technically partially on their payroll at a certain point.
They trained by the ISI, funded by the US.
Trained by ISI, man.
Funded by the US.
Funded by US. I'm like, holy shit, man! The scandal of this.
Wait.
But the craziest is like all these terrorist attacks in India, man. Multiplied 2002, 2006.
Some in Kenya.
Some in Kenya, fucking
globally.
2006.
He was a hitter, bro. This guy was out here.
Yeah, 2008, fucking Mumbai. You know the whole. In 2008, it was not only a financial crisis; it was a year of terrorist attacks, dude. They had so many terrorists. There was the bus bombings. Do you remember the bus bombings in London?
It was the year of the tiger. It was the year of the terrorists.
It was the year of the terrorists, man. It was the year of the terrorists, dude. They killed so many people. These fucking poor Pakistani and Indian dudes who were trained by ISI. I mean, they're very well trained, Pakistani Secret Service, but they're like the most open besides Israelis Mossad in terms of like actively funding attacks and
is this like, okay, Pakistan harbors like this one guy who essentially is a guy who supplies states with nuclear arms, shouldn't have nuclear arms.
That could be true. I don't know his name.
Yeah. So there's a guy in Pakistan who essentially is the guy who like has he gives people sort of shit. You get
it's fine. Just this is a light town.
So I'm pretty sure he gave this. So there's I forget what it is. There's like 5 states that should have nukes, right? Like there's 5 known states that should have nukes.
Yeah.
But like basically,
it used to be. Did you believe it or not? Did you know South Africa used to have nukes?
Did they?
Yeah. So like probably the toughest intelligence job besides being Mossad is probably being ISI or fucking being Indian Secret Service.
Or
Indian Secret Service.
What about Fang Fang?
I'm not familiar with that Chinese Secret Service.
Yeah, no, she's the honeypot.
Oh, I don't know about this. You tell me.
Yeah, she was fucking with like not Jake Tapper, but like one of like
I actually don't know who the fuck that is. Jake Tapper.
She was smashing somebody in like U.S. like state security.
Oh, crazy!
But she was like Chinese, like full on Chinese.
Oh,
intelligence.
that's a fucking
Chinese
female weapon right there.
Chinese.
So I wonder, like
being old school Chinese.
Do you think it'd be harder to be a spy if you're using your vagina as a tool, or would it be like easier?
Probably easier.
Dude, have you seen the movie Red Sparrow?
No.
So it's about the Russian Secret Service. They sent sexual ninjas to seduce people in order to get intelligence.
I believe
sexual
ninjas.
ninjas.
It was in World War II, I think, and they were.
That's wild.
And it was fucked up. No, what happened with her is that she was put in. She was in a witness protection program, and they said you have 2 options: you can do this, or you can fucking die. So she was like, okay, I'll join the Russian Secret Service, and they made her into a female weapon where she would seduce people and get intelligence and kill them. And the men had to do gay shit and seduce women, and the women had to do gay shit and seduce women as well too. So
fascinating.
So the whole goal was to like you get sent there, you're like a diplomat or something, or a cover story. They get to send you to a city, and then you live there for a couple of months, and then you go to all the balls and everything. You seduce them, bring them back, and shag them, and then like try to get data out of them. And,
that's some James Bond shit.
It was, and you get murdered. It's called Red Sparrow. It's great, and but the training was fucking crazy because it was mad. The whole training was just extremely sexual. So it was just like people were trying to rape each other. It was all sorts of crazy shit, bro. It was good. Because your weapon is your penis or your vagina. It was trying to fucking rape each other. It's crazy, bro. Wonderful.
My one escort friend knows a whole bunch of information that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah.
Yo, I believe it, man. It's probably politicians.
She knows a lot of shit.
She's got that dirt.
She knows a lot.
Signed a bunch of NDAs.
Yeah.
Fucking NDA escort.
Not even that, man. Honestly.
Yo, imagine being a lawyer for an escort company.
I don't think you need lawyers, man.
No.
No, you don't think?
No, not really. Not really. No.
I mean, okay.
It's like lawyer.
No. Every lawyer needs. Okay, every escort needs to have a lawyer, right?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying.
No, I think every drug dealer needs a lawyer because they're gonna go to jail. Much more necessary, man.
No, but that's not even legal. Escorting is at least legal.
A good escort ends up being.
No, I probably is not legal.
No, I believe in Canada the law is that the woman is allowed to sell sex, but a man is not allowed to buy sex. It's asymmetric.
No.
That makes sense, but the transaction is illegal then, right?
Escorting is illegal. Solicitation is illegal.
Solicitation.
So you can be an escort, but you can't basically be a pimp.
I think that's honestly I don't remember, but I think it's right. So it's actually racist.
No, because in some countries like Germany, Australia, like prostitution is full on legal.
Australia, I didn't know this until recently.
In Germany, do they subsidize prostitution, or they subsidize?
Israel subsidizes some prostitution.
Prostitutes pay hella taxes.
So Israel subsidizes prostitution for people who are disabled.
Oh.
I read an article, and it's pretty interesting. I read an article in The Guardian. So if you're like someone who had like Israeli soldiers who have like
No, no
limbs
way.
blown off or whatever. They fucking
Yeah.
subsidize a fucking prostitute.
That's hilarious. I heard that's how Harvey Weinstein got started.
Who?
Oh.
Wait, sorry, who did you say? What?
I heard about Harvey Weinstein got started.
Yeah. Oh my god! Oh my god, dude! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh
Yo,
my
he got
God.
charged in California State recently.
Did he? Yeah.
He's going to jail. He's going to jail.
Okay,
But
wait.
no, recently he also got further charges.
Yeah, I heard about
Further
that.
charges.
Wait,
On statutory rape.
who's worse, Harvey Weinstein or Bill Cosby?
Probably.
I think Bill Cosby.
I think Bill
they're
Cosby.
both-
Honestly, I think Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby went to jail. He went to jail too, eh?
Well, yeah, but no.
I'm not going to jail when he's like 70.
See, at first,
You're
no.
jail when he's
See,
70?
at first, I had a real issue with this because I was like,
they're both equally horrible. It's hard to measure.
no. But I
But,
think
like,
okay,
Bill Cosby did a lot of he full on date rape, right?
I'll tell you why
He
Bill
did-
Cosby worse. I'll tell you why Bill Cosby's worse. Okay, because here's the thing. Harvey Weinstein is also disgusting because he basically put these women in a scenario where they had to fuck him, right?
Yeah.
But
That's
Yeah.
so evil.
It's so
but
evil,
I'm gonna put you in a scenario you have to fuck me.
But
so evil, bro.
the thing about Bill,
Satan.
the thing about Bill Cosby that I had to accept to understand why he's so fucked
Satan
up,
self-put in
Yeah.
place.
right? Was that basically Bill Cosby had these women who were willing to sleep with him, and he still drugged them.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's some
Yeah, I think he's
Jeffrey
like,
Dahmer
I'll
level
call
shit.
it pathological fuckhead.
And no,
Yeah, Bill Cosby
No,
was
that's,
next
that's
level.
social.
It's so
That's social.
psychopath.
If you just like if you want to be unconscious, you can have sex with Jeffrey
Yeah,
Dahmer.
yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
like
yeah.
social psychopath level shit.
And it's also because, like, for me, this is just for me, just for me. The concept of having sex with a woman that's unconscious is so incredibly.
It's criminal, bro. It's evil.
No.
criminal
I was
fuck.
gonna say, it's so unattractive to me.
Well, of course,
We're not psychopaths.
You need to
You're a
be
psychopath. You might be into that.
You, in my opinion, you essentially need to be a necrophiliac to be into that. You know what I'm trying to say?
No, because the body's still warm still.
No, oh
Yeah.
my god. Oh my god.
Dude,
Oh
don't say
my
it,
God.
No,
Dude,
no,
we're gonna edit that shit out.
No.
Because that could be misinterpreted. I hear you, but that could be misinterpreted.
I'm actually not. No, what are you say? No, necrophilia. Because I think they want because if the body's warm, like that's not. You're not.
Yeah, I feel like that might be a slippery slope towards necrophilia, though.
I know a girl that may be a necrophiliac.
Fucking unconscious.
No,
I think when he's like knocking the girls out, that's a power trip. Jeffrey Dahmer would just
man.
Jeffrey Dahmer was a necrophiliac, but Jeffrey Dahmer through like having sex with unconscious gay dudes, he went into necrophilia. But it was very much so about control and and objectifying people's bodies.
Yeah, I can see it, but because I personally I have had a scenario where like a girl's come over to my place and she's been intoxicated.
Yeah.
And when she came over to my place, like she passed out.
Yeah.
And like when that happened, I was like, okay, I'm not like this is.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah,
It's not
definitely
for
not.
you,
He's gonna
of course.
chill
Well,
that shit.
no. But you know, because like this is what I'm trying to say. The idea of having sex with someone that's non-responsive. Here's the thing. For me,
Yeah.
I get off on like getting a woman off. You know what I'm trying to say?
Of course.
You want somebody who's
Mutual
conscious.
mutual love.
You want a reaction out of her. You want her to be responsive. You want somebody
Any
who's
sane
unconscious.
person
So
does, man.
the idea of just putting your dick into a body for me is just like, yo, you are not okay.
No, you're
Yeah, of course you're not.
psychopath.
Yeah,
You're a
Dude,
yeah,
of
psychopath.
course
yeah.
Bill Cosby is not okay.
Yeah, you're a
Of
psychopath.
course
Yeah.
he's not okay.
And I'm trying to say, additionally to this, is like he didn't need to drug them.
Dude, that's why Bill Cosby's fucked.
That's
why
why,
that's why he's in prison. Is
yeah.
Bill Cosby in prison right
I
now?
think I hope he
again,
is.
I don't know. I think he's out. I don't think he is. To be
He's
honest,
Bill Cosby.
I don't think.
Oh,
he's.
Jesus, I don't fucking know. But anyways, you know what? It's good he's got canceled. It
Yo,
is
I
what-
googled Bill's Bill Cosby in jail, and it said, "Is Bill see something in Canada a good idea?" That's fucking hilarious.
Not the same thing.
Is Bill, thanks Google for misconstruing that he's in jail.
But yeah.
Well, someone gives Bill Cosby alive. Bill Cosby is a free man.
Yeah.
Overturned. No, that's from March, and then he's going back to prison probably. Ooh.
No, he should be right now.
No, he's released from prison. How long was he in jail for?
Oh, that's fucked up, man.
3 to 10
You
years
gotta
in jail.
fuck this asshole in jail, man.
Oh.
Fucking putting people in jail, man.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I fucked a lot of girls. You know what I'm trying to say? But like, yo, the idea.
He was in jail for 2 years out of a 3 to 10 year sentence.
Okay, that's so stupid.
The
He should be in
idea-
jail 50,000 years.
I don't understand. Okay, even.
Oh,
you
he's so
know,
crusty looking. Look, he's so crusty.
Of course he's crusty looking,
He's
dude.
crusty
He's
looking
beyond
in prison.
fucked.
No,
Here's how fucked
here's
up.
the.
Harvey Weinstein
okay,
looks like he's
no,
fucking dead.
Here's what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say.
He's
right?
83.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he's
disgusting.
old. Dude, he's
Wow,
old as
he's
fuck,
old as
dude.
shit.
Of course he was, dude.
Yeah.
Cosby
Oh
show was
no!
like in the
Drugging
70s.
and sexual assault of his one time just feed it to his friend. and former Temple University administrator at his home. What the?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, man. Okay, no,
60 women.
So I didn't say that like this is like okay. So
you know who's probably who's actually worse than both of these guys? Fucking Larry.
She drifted in and out of consciousness.
Oh.
This is too fucked, man. This is the.
Because my beautiful healthy young spirit crushed it.
Yeah.
I don't want to trigger anyone.
I think honestly, no. Here's my thing.
Wow,
my dad's been in Nepal. My brother been in Nepal.
That's next level.
They went to Kathmandu. He says it's incredible.
Yeah.
This is one of the most incredible things they've ever seen in their fucking life. They said that poverty is really high though.
It's probably more poor than India. I think I want to do India, but I think in my travels in my 40s are gonna be more shit like this. Just because I've done this, I've done the cities, I've done the party.
I'd be down to try Nepal. I don't think I can handle India, to be honest. India's a little too crazy.
Okay,
it's actually a health hazard. A lot of places are health hazard.
I think Nepal is also a health hazard.
It is because no, you're actually right.
Yeah.
Because the smog goes up.
I'm not talking about air pollution. I'm just talking about like food cleanliness.
I'm actually about air pollution. I'm really concerned about air pollution. I actually don't think I'll go to Beijing, to be honest. It's just too far. It's a little too far.
Okay, you know what? I lived there. Okay, I'll put it.
It's actually gotten worse even since 10 years ago.
Well, I've heard it's gotten better because they've done more green technology and they've also turned off some of the coal-fired plants near Beijing. And they're back on. They're back on. They're not going to stop running them, but like, dude, it was when I was there. It was pretty bad.
There's more coal power running right now globally than ever before. Right now.
Yeah, I'll look into it, but yeah.
You know what it is? China's a contradiction because he's right, you're also right. They've increased renewables and coal at the same fucking time.
That's crazy.
Because they just need more energy, and they're trying to be greener, but like, yeah. But no, don't get me wrong. I mean, like, it's not a complete deal breaker, but like...
Before I should do this, I should do, what's the one in Alberta called the huge mountain in Calgary, in Alberta? There's a giant mountain that you're supposed to... There's a giant mountain in Alberta you're supposed to climb.
Let's go back.
You been to Banff for?
I love Banff.
I've been to Banff.
I love Banff. Let's go Banff. I love Banff.
Dude, you look so excited about fucking Banff.
I love Banff so much.
Because it's so cheap for us to do it.
I love Banff.
If you've never been, I'm down to go.
I love Banff so much.
That's like a...
How much have you been to Banff for?
I've been to Banff once. I've never had...
Sorry,
I've never had such a great time in my life.
What the fuck, really? What's so fun about Banff?
Okay, it's
beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It's the most beautiful location I've ever seen in the world.
Holy shit.
The people there are amazing.
Okay.
I know a couple of like bad bitch Australians there.
Okay, some bad bitch Australians.
Only 40-minute drive from Calgary.
Oh my god. It's amazing. Yeah,
I feel like during the pandemic...
Have you been to Calgary? Have you been to Alberta?
I haven't.
Alberta's interesting. Alberta's a fucking trip, man.
Have you been to Calgary before?
Yeah, I've been to Calgary twice.
Holy shit. What's it like?
Because Calgary's very spread out.
It's a suburb.
I've been there in the winter, I've been there in the summer. In the summer it was completely...
My friend says kind of like Mississauga.
Yeah. It's like...
It's a suburban Canada.
Look, it's not that interesting. It's just interesting to meet Calgarians and to talk to them. Because the culture's different.
Yeah, it is.
It's more conservative on average.
Well, Texas is a Canada.
They're nice people, though. They're actually nice people.
But there's a more conservative on average, for sure. The whole thing's fucking run by oil and gas. There's an emerging fintech sector. But it's a trip because like they're also near nature. It's kind of interesting case because they're near so much fucking nature.
Yeah.
And yet it's run by, well, I don't know, in my head, like I can't imagine what it's like to live.
My friend,
it's also extreme temperatures.
My friend said it's very, very suburban, and if you're really like hiking in nature and shit, it's better than Toronto. He says, and the housing there's so cheap, but
the housing's cheaper.
The housing, but like there's a fucking Toronto life.
I'd be open to moving to Calgary.
And actually, I heard it's kind of boring.
No, but if you can find a good girl and you just settle down.
I think if you're a bit older, if you're done the party.
The women there are hotter. They're like more,
actually.
Yeah, the women there are hotter.
Really? I don't know if I agree with that.
That is less.
I mean, not that I have.
Dude, there's
I
less
don't even have actual experience on that.
I feel like the women in like I feel like women in Quebec, the French Canadians.
Don't get me wrong. I've seen a lot of lookers in Alberta, but like I don't know if I agree. I mean,
that nice country acoustic guitar.
Oh, I'm so happy it's right here. So yeah, this is.
Don't get me wrong; those are knockout. Those are great.
They look good, but I feel like
those are really beautiful.
French Canada has a lot of bad bitches too.
Yeah, how big of a horror is that? I brought my dog to fucking Alberta.
Oh, you know these girls?
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Is that your dog?
Yeah, that's my dog.
You don't have a dog anymore.
Yeah,
where's your dog now?
The dog passed away.
Oh, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. Sucks, bro. Your dog must have been old.
Actually, and
Oh,
you know
there's
what?
a dog.
unfortunately, no. She had a genetic issue with her stomach, so she passed away.
That sucks.
This girl has an OnlyFans now, though, which is hilarious.
Shout out to OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Yo, we're still recording the show.
Oh shit! No way.
Yeah, so let's.
That doesn't
It's
matter.
okay,
No,
it's
no,
okay.
it's their face on the camera.
The point is,
Face on
okay,
camera.
look.
You didn't say their name. You didn't dox them or anything, so.
Yeah.
This girl lives in this address.
This girl's live this address. She was here this time. I totally forgot about that.
I don't think I'd move to Edmonton. Edmonton's a little too ghetto for me.
No, Edmonton.
Is it actually ghetto?
It's
It used to be murder capital of Canada.
Are you fucking
Oh,
serious?
you didn't know this? It used to be. Yeah.
I am-
About 15 years ago, it was murder capital of Canada.
That's insane.
But it's gotten better.
What's the Canada now?
I think Winnipeg. Probably Winnipeg.
Why? Man,
Dude, you gotta. Dude, do you not know much about the rest of Canada?
You don't know about the rest of Canada. You're a
Oh,
dreamer.
dude, you haven't studied the rest of
No,
Canada. These are like intro Canadian studies.
I know Montreal. I know
Toronto.
Vancouver. I did Canadian studies as part of my degree, but there's no part of Winnipeg murder's fucking capital.
Oh, dude, you
It's
know,
like-
Middle Canada's suffering, bro. Middle Canada's like.
Middle Canada's suffering very hard.
Yeah.
Because like.
What the fuck? No.
Because there
Why
isn't enough development.
Why are people killing each other in Winnipeg?
Because it's a difficult place to live. Look, you have
so-
a large native population that's
Yeah.
completely disenfranchised.
Yeah, I heard a
It's
really
really,
big
they're
drug
really racist against, like, on average, they're really, McLean's ran articles.
Yeah.
McLean's. That's not an article, that's not
Thanks,
a news
McLean's.
publication you think of to run article on. But they even ran.
My friend's mom was an editor for McLean's at one point. I don't want to say whose mom it is, but yeah, shout out to her.
Yeah, I mean, for like a kind of second tier Canadian publication, like, it's decent.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, fucking Ryan McLean. And I was remember reading something, this is really sad. Okay? So many people are disenfranchised, okay?
It's really sad. There's no jobs, there's a lot of native people on drugs.
Dude, what kind of industry is there in fucking Manitoba, dude?
I haven't been there, I don't know.
There's like nothing
So-
there.
so-
man. What are you gonna do
I
fucking
didn't know Winnipeg was in Manitoba.
Well, you know what? What the fuck, man?
No, I know where Manitoba is. I just forgot. I thought Winnipeg was. When people say Winnipeg to me, I was just like, because my friend says from Winnipeg. I thought it was like.
What did you think it was?
No.
I thought it was like. That sounds so bad because I shouldn't be. I thought it was near Ottawa.
That's terrible. Yeah, that's
So
terrible.
yeah, I shouldn't have said that.
So-
No, because my friend's like, oh, I'm from Winnipeg. It's not that far from here. I was like, oh,
No,
it's from
dude, it's
Ottawa.
far. Dude, it's a 2 hour plane, 2.5 hour plane ride.
That's
I've been to
not
Winnipeg.
far. That's mad. What the fuck were you doing in Winnipeg?
Yeah, I was in Winnipeg. I was just staying with some old friends like a couple years ago. It was pre-pandemic.
Why did people live in Winnipeg?
Because it's cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't even know what the industry is in fucking Winnipeg.
So
Is
my
that living in
That's
Idaho?
what agriculture.
Is it
No,
living-
No, dude, Idaho's way crazy.
No,
way smaller than you think.
There's a bunch of
Idaho's, I was like, at most, I think 400,000.
Have you been to Idaho before?
No. Actually, someone in my department used to work in
The
Idaho.
porn star I'm talking to a girl today. She's like, I'm from Idaho originally. I was like, goddamn.
Okay, Idaho is full of Mormons.
Yeah.
And fucking crack addicts.
Yeah.
And hicks, and also country people.
So
With due respect to Idaho, that's essentially the demographics as far as I
And
understand.
potatoes.
So in regards to Manitoba, though, right? So anyway,
A lot of canoeing, a lot of river systems.
Oh my god.
yeah. So so my step family is actually. So I have a stepfather. He's from Melita, Manitoba. Melita is a city of 400 people, something like that. So basically, like a whole bunch of Middle Canada is agricultural, but the issue essentially.
Mennonites.
Yeah, a bunch of that
Fuck tons
too.
of Mennonites.
So the issue has been happening.
German immigrants, Polish immigrants.
Well, the bunch of people that exist essentially in the Maritimes of Canada, when NAFTA hit them, they got really fucked. Because essentially what happened was that when there was proliferation of global goods, especially agricultural goods, that were able to come to North America, their product went really downhill. So in that town in Melita, right, it's really interesting because basically all the men are basically working all the fucking time, and all the women are not really doing anything. So like when I pulled up there, bro, it's just like a really bad dynamic. Like because essentially also because the agriculture industry is also suffering a lot. There's a lot of drugs there, right? So basically, it's
there's a lot of drug use in Saskatchewan.
a lot of the dudes are working dead end jobs and they can't get paid and they're doing drugs. They're fucked up. A lot of chicks are basically just like fucking everyone.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So be like, yeah.
Is it like the movie? What's that fucking? It's called like Cold River or something. But it's about this. It's about these coal miners living in this town where this like native girl gets raped and they beat a guy to death. And the guys are saying we did it because like there's no woman out here and our lives suck and this is our only chance to get laid. And they essentially like knock the guy out. They knock the girl out and then the girls are conscious. They all just like gang raped her and then like
If you
dumped her
saw,
body. It was such a crazy movie.
so basically, like I'm not trying to say this like anecdotally, but like the behavior of the women out there is completely different than like city girls. I'll say that.
In what way? Have you been there?
Yeah, I was there. I was in Melita, and like.
What the fuck were you doing there? How come you know these places?
Well, I told you, like my stepfather is like from like he's from Melita.
Oh, he's from there. Okay.
Yeah, he's from there. So I was there. I met his niece, I guess. What's that like? Yeah.
Okay.
And they're very loose out there. I'll tell you that.
There's a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, a lot of partying.
Like
everybody.
basically, it's like from a very young age. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like yeah, they're just sort of out there.
But it's like the worst of small town Canadian life. Hitting poppers 10 times a day.
No, they're great people. Don't get me wrong. Like, they're really nice people.
It's just high variance, man. It's really high.
It's towny life on steroids.
Yeah.
It's a really high variance in the prairie provinces, man.
A lot of partying, a lot of drugs.
There's a lot of minerals. There's a lot of fucking like Saskatchewan's run entirely by agriculture, pretty much. They got Nutrien, the potash fertilizer company. Doing all sorts of shit out there. But you know what? I will not accept any jobs in Saskatchewan. That's just a big X, red flag.
I don't think there are jobs there. I don't think
there's hardly any jobs out there. The jobs there are probably not. But you know what? I mean, it's not as all bad. I mean, look, you know one thing they do really well in Winnipeg? Winter sports. You can go skiing. They have a winter festival on the river. It's so fucking cold that they can build structures on the river.
That sounds so fucking dangerous.
Dude, it's actually not dangerous because it's that cold. It's that cold. It was negative 40. Saskatchewan's so cold. You throw.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, you throw in a pot of water and it instantly fucking just turns.
I've done that in Northern Ontario before.
Do you know what else they're really good at though? Teen pregnancy.
Thanks, Eddie. Thanks, Eddie. That was
holy shit, man. But that's the same for like British Columbia and fucking Alberta and like most places. Dude, even like small town Ontario is gonna have high teen pregnancy rates.
Depends on the area. So actually I was in Oakville in high school for a year.
Did you get someone pregnant?
You know what? I'm not sure how many women have gotten pregnant in my life.
Dude, I'm pretty sure you have at least one kid you don't got. No, I'm not joking. I think the amount of women you fuck, at least one had.
I shoot blanks, first of all. Let's get that straight. So,
are you sure?
I mean, the amount of people I've slept with and I had a kid, so I'm assuming the averages probably works out. You know,
like, there's microplastics in your semen.
That's probably what it is.
Oh, is that the fuck is that? Is that a leopard? What the fuck, bro?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's an aesthetic creature. That's such an
This is so...
creature.
Dude, if I was climbing a fucking mountain and that thing approached me,
you'd be fucked.
I think it would try to eat me, bro.
You'd be so good. Yo, imagine this.
No, is this in Nepal?
It's a rhino.
They have rhinos in Nepal.
No, I don't think this is Nepal. Yo, look that the horn got removed.
No, this looks, this is Nepal, dude.
Wow, I didn't
There's
know.
a fucking rhino.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right.
Wow, how the hell is there a rhino in Nepal?
Relaxation, holy fuck.
Relax.
Well, that actually looks idyllic.
It looks idyllic when you're probably actually living there. When you're actually...
We're gonna get canceled by our friends.
No,
our friends will
dude, our friends are gonna be fucking mopping their floors in their house. These guys are fucking...
Oh my god. Yeah,
you know what?
This
This is fucking great. But don't get me, Squamish is beautiful. I've been. It's really nice. It's by the Sea to Sky Highway. It's right on the coast. It's a little elevated. It's a nice place.
Western Canada is amazing. Being next to mountains.
It is amazing. You need a car to get anywhere, obviously, but it's a good time.
Being next to the mountains for me is the best experience I've ever had in my life.
Dude, maybe you're a mountain guy.
I love it. There's a level
of... Dude, look at this mountain because...
I think it would calm you down. You'd have a good time.
Yeah,
because then you could be full hiker, dude.
Yeah.
I could see you fucking hiking.
I love hiking, actually. I thrive in Banff. That was really great.
Dude, you're a hiking... Well, dude, you should maybe move to Calgary.
Dude, if you're exercising 4 hours a day, then, like, you're fucking just do a fucking tack on and go do some hiking for, like, you know...
Yeah, I was actually
really... Go climb a mountain. My brother went to Yosemite, and they went hiking.
No, I've been to Yosemite.
Yeah, you imagine... Did you go hiking?
No. I did some waterfall stuff with Turner because Turner's father has property in Yosemite.
In the park?
Dude, Turner's father was very wealthy.
Holy fuck! No, are there other people who have property in the park?
Yes.
Is there like a village there?
Yeah. There's towns in Yosemite.
Yeah.
How fucking big is that? It's fucking enormous.
Yosemite's very big.
But you gotta be.
Yosemite's there. Let's look it up. It's massive. It's massive.
I feel like to be like, for example, for you to
live your whole life in Yosemite.
Fuck, bro! Is it like Anchorage?
Anchorage is pretty small. Anchorage in Alaska.
I watched a documentary recently why Anchorage is fucking so lit, and they say it's like oh look, there's monkeys. What the fuck? Dude, I need to go to Nepal. There's monkeys, rhinos, and leopards.
Yeah.
Oh, these monkeys.
You don't want to see a leopard though; they'll kill you.
Okay, no, these monkeys. These monkeys will bite you and give you fucking like.
Okay, the square footage.
Hepatitis.
The square footage of Yosemite is 3,074 kilometers. It's huge. That's really big.
Rhino and fucking what are these rhinos doing? The motherfucking what? This doesn't like a goddamn dinosaur. I'm actually eating a rhino.
Let's say you taking a piss.
So, dude, the water probably has like fucking like E. coli and all sorts of crazy shit in it. Probably has mad cow disease.
Yeah, but look at mountains, bro. This so like this.
That's idyllic, man. I would smoke a joint and look at that.
Honestly, that's why I really like Alberta, but specifically Banff, because of this level of peace I had there. I can't even explain.
No, I understand. No, you can't explain because I'm from British Columbia.
Yeah.
Because I've been on ski slopes almost every weekend.
Oh my god!
It's in half the year. So like, I understand.
Man, you're walking around the town, an elk pulls up to you, like, yo, what up, elk? You, like, daps it. I didn't actually daps it.
No, you shouldn't.
You probably see the fuck with fucking bite you, bro.
Yo, I actually have a video. There was a couple of,
like... You don't want to fuck with that.
How'd they get close with them? Film is fucking
Probably a remote.
Yeah, remote, yeah.
So, dude, they're so fucking close. They're probably still, like, at least 20 meters away, but still.
No, I think it's remote. It's gotta be remote.
Wow.
Go check this plane.
Oh, look at this guy. He's coming sideways and shit.
You know what I think of when I see this? I think of the training of the 9/11 hijackers.
Okay, dude, only
no landing?
Dude, because they were training them in planes like this at first.
I thought you were going to just train them
at
in
US
the
flight schools.
I think you said you were training them in the
Yo,
ball.
I like what they explained is that, yo, for some reason they weren't concerned about landing the planes at all.
Oh, God. That's gotta go in.
Yo, I don't think that the CIA. Maybe. Are you sure? I think you're just joking, man. You're just fucking Jesus Christ, dude. No, dude. No. They passed flight school, man. Dude, they got a lot of training in the US. Anyways, we're fucking. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. Man.
Oh my god.
You know what's really elevated is Mexico City.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's very elevated.
Yeah.
Most of Bolivia is fucking elevated. It's fucking hard to breathe fucking those places, man.
Yo, what about Colombia? Is it higher or lower?
There is some high parts of Colombia, but it's not as high up.
Because every Colombian woman I've ever met is absolutely gorgeous. I'm trying to figure out why. Is it the water?
The history.
They look ridiculous.
Well, there's a lot of plastic surgery. There's a lot of surgery.
It is a beauty capital, but I think it's just like Latin American women, big boobs, big ass, big
genetically diverse.
There's like colonialism, the Portuguese and Spanish people there. And
Latina women are hands down the most beautiful and entertaining, but also the worst headaches.
Okay, what's that going on? Okay, alright. You're not
the only guy to say that on YouTube.
I'm openly okay saying that. Latina women are essentially our rose. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, they're beautiful. You know what I'm trying to, you look at it, but you try to grab the rose, the thorns are just right fucking.
You know what? I kind of hear, but I personally have literally zero chemistry.
With Latina women?
I have zero chemistry.
Really?
Yeah. I don't attract them. They don't attract me.
The kind of sex you're into, I think you'd be into some Latinas. You know what I'm trying to say?
Don't get me wrong. I'm into it. Like, I find them attractive for sure.
Dude, one of my friends is so into Latina girls. He literally learned Spanish and like toured all these like countries and stuff.
No, I get it. Sure, why not?
He's honestly just like obsessed. But at the same time, too, though, man. Like, I don't know.
Obsessed. I'm into Asian girls. I'm obsessed.
Yeah. My first child is probably gonna be half South American.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
What about your second child?
Huh?
What about your second child? What about your third child?
Probably white.
You know, get all the rainbows?
Yeah.
Get all the bitches, bro. Get them all in the bag.
I know. You know what? I'm actually thinking I'm gonna have 50 kids.
Jesus fucking Christ. I'm gonna have 50 kids.
I'm gonna have an army.
You know what? If I had a lot of money, I'd be open to that.
Yeah.
Cody.
That's what I'm trying to do.
I'd raise a whole cult.
Yeah.
Teach them. I'd homeschool them if I was rich. Okay, kids, we're learning about Al-Qaeda today.
Oh.
Okay, kids, we're learning about linear algebra today.
Oh.
Okay, kids, we're learning about Galileo today.
Learn how to fly these planes.
I'm also considering.
No. I did not say that.
I said that, not you.
I did not say that.
Wait. I'm also considering cloning myself.
Cloning yourself?
Okay, dude.
No, dude, that's science fiction. Dude, what are you talking about? One of the main Wall Street investors who's actually interested in this space is Kathy Wood. Did you know Kathy Wood has an ARC genomic? She has a genomic fund. Their investment firm is going to buy fuck tons of Coinbase shares at this share price.
Do you know what I respect about Kathy Wood?
What?
Her box.
Her box?
Yeah.
What do you mean her box?
Her vagina.
Oh my god. Are you saying you find her a looker?
Kathy was sort of hot. I put my dick in her.
Dude, for her age, she's looking great. Don't get me wrong.
Hey man, I'll tell you this. I put my dick in much worse.
Jesus Christ.
How about Hillary Clinton? You into Hillary Clinton?
I'll probably give Hillary a twirl.
No, I would not, dude. What are you talking about?
Dude. You know what? I do want to titty fuck Pelosi though.
What the fuck, dude? That's okay.
She's got cannons. She's got cannons,
Yeah,
man.
Really?
Nancy Pelosi.
40 years ago.
Oh, this is so belligerent.
Nancy Pelosi has
This
cannons,
guy's actually
bro.
a savage, man.
I can't.
I
You're a
think
savage.
Yeah, just say,
Harvey Weinstein versus Bill Cosby. That's gonna get hits for sure.
Yeah.
So
Fucking
bad.
Nancy Pelosi. Jesus Christ.
I am not the only guy in the world that wants to titty fuck Nancy Pelosi.
What the
I
fuck
refuse
are
to
you
believe
talking-
that.
That's your sound
Dude,
bite.
she's so old, man.
How
So-
is she 60?
No,
Hey,
she's
man.
older than that. I think she's like 70.
Old girls deserve dick too, bro. What are you talking about, man?
Oh,
Come
you are
on,
a savage, bro.
Yeah,
This is what I'm saying. This guy's actually a fucking set. Let's look up.
I'm a liberal.
Dude, she might
alright?
be older than
Yo, this
that.
podcast, I'm gonna have to play this.
I'm
Dude,
a-
the
dude.
content is more ridiculous
Dude,
than worse.
Nancy
than
Pelosi was born in 1940, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, Nancy Pelosi's age now.
Maybe I want to fuck a girl that's
Dude,
born
she's
5 years after World War
She's
II.
82 years
That
old.
pussy's like 3 times your age,
She's
bro.
82 years old, man.
Yeah. Maybe I want some dusty pussy.
That's like, you
Yeah.
could call her a
Oh.
gilf. You find her a gilf, man. It's
Yeah.
kind of fucked up, man. Dude, I mean, okay, look, for the memes, of course you would do it, but like, but without the memes, dude,
I think this is why Odie still deserves title as like primary host on the podcast. He's
Yeah.
just down to say the grossest shit on camera. Like, Hillary Clinton versus Nancy Pelosi. Who'd you bang?
Nancy Pelosi for sure.
It's nasty as fuck.
Nancy
dude,
Pelosi
she's
for sure.
82.
I'm gonna look her up right now. I don't know the fucking bitch.
Dude, if you banged her, she literally died.
Have you seen?
The amount of newtons, the amount of Newtonian force that you're putting into that. Dude, the F equals ma, right?
Oh
The
my
force equals
God.
mass times acceleration.
But that's what it's.
And the newtons
That's
per
what-
kilogram is fucking so much, you would literally kill her.
That's why I would have city fuck her though. 'Cause she got
What,
cannons.
City?
Titty
Oh,
fuck her.
titty
Titty
fuck?
fuck her.
No, dude, you'd fuck them so much that the cum would be so shocking, because you're so turned on by her, I know you are.
What the
She'd be
I'm
fuck?
not
so...
so turned on.
Dude,
her.
you're so... No. The fact that you even
Oh,
said that
yeah,
means
I'm
that
just
you
gonna-
fact...
dude,
Yo,
yeah,
this guy has
that's
fact to
right.
Nancy Pelosi.
If that's her like 80, she looks pretty good.
I told you.
No,
I told you.
that's- well, okay.
This is what Nancy Pelosi looks like. It's not bad for like 80. honestly.
Yo, this guy would...
Shut the fuck
Let me
up.
see.
Yo, this guy would fuck her too.
She does not have cannons. Those are not cannons, bro.
No. Search Nancy Pelosi's tits.
Oh
Okay,
my
no one has footage of that. Okay.
No. Search.
Okay.
I promise you. Search Nancy Pelosi's tits. You'll see this, bro. They're cannons.
Oh, holy shit!
She
You're
has
right,
cannons.
dude.
She has cannons.
Jesus Christ.
Let's see.
Those are
I
cannons.
told you, bro.
What the fuck?
She has cannons.
Those are that. You know that doesn't matter. That's like some like southern.
I
fucking
told you,
American
bro.
big-
That's actually
those are some
absurd.
southern
Nancy
states.
Actually, I
Pelosi-
didn't know that.
Nancy
But you know
Pelosi
what?
has
I'm not gonna-
You're a
cannons.
nasty hoe, bro.
Yo, cannon. Yeah, I tell you, she's out here, bro.
Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
You're a nasty hoe.
You know what else? I'd fuck AOC.
Well, of course, come on,
She's young.
everyone would.
She's
She
young.
looks great.
Yeah.
Obviously, dude.
I'm not great
That
per
doesn't.
se.
No, I don't think she looks.
She has some
great.
stress fades in her face. I'm not exactly.
No, but
Whatever.
come on,
She's
no,
like-
no,
she's not-
but
she's not-
looks
she can't even
really
afford
good.
it. Can't even afford it.
She's a no. AOC is hot, man. I'd say she's really good looking, man.
I'd fuck Madonna right now.
Everyone, no, but she's like a sex idol. Everyone's fucking on her, bro.
Even at her age, yeah, sure.
She's not that old. She's like 55.
No, I think she's old.
No, I think she's my dad. She's like
No,
67.
she's 60
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
She's not young anymore.
Mariah Carey gave me my first erection.
yeah.
but that's fine.
There's just a
That's-
starship.
Come on.
She's
She's
got-
only like
she's-
what? She's like
She's
early
like
50s.
she's like 50, 49, I think.
I'm wondering who's borderline. Who's borderline that like I may not want to.
Dude, if you start to fuck Nancy Pelosi, you're a
That's
nasty hoe.
hilarious. That's so.
That's your talking for the
Dude,
week.
that's the
I'm not
hilarious
sure.
shit, dude.
You're a nasty.
That's the hilarious.
It's like,
That's so.
which wrinkly ass US fucking government officials are gonna fucking be big?
Dude, I almost like not almost, but like I like if I was drunk enough, I might have banged one of my ex-girlfriend's grandmas.
Okay, dude. What the
Okay,
fuck,
no,
dude? You're a savage.
dude, you're
You're a
like, oh my
professional
god,
savage.
that fuck,
Yeah.
Dude, you know what?
is that the craziest thing said on camera today?
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
that's nasty.
It's the mixture of like
Dude,
the
you're in
intellectual
the guilt,
conversation
so
with
you
this
fat in the
nasty.
guilt porn, man.
And in all fairness, I would have had to been really drunk. But like, if I get drunk enough, I can fuck anything.
Yeah? Would you fuck a guy?
No,
Are you sure?
It's not
I
anything.
just need
A hole's not a hole.
no.
What if it was a dude dressed up like Nancy Pelosi?
Yo,
Okay. Yo.
who knows?
Yo.
Fuck, that's
Oh,
it almost doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
He's turned on by that. Just give him a little more of that.
Is Joe Biden? This is what he's on.
Jill Biden?
I've never seen Joe Biden.
I'm gonna make you finish this, bro.
Dude,
I'm gonna make you finish that, bro.
Do you know?
Dude, Jill Biden? No, dude.
Do you know?
Jill Biden,
Do you know who I would fuck? Do you know who I would fuck, bro?
Is it like finish this soju? This is gross.
Christy Freeland?
Margaret Trudeau.
Sponsorship, Moon Soju,
Okay,
Toronto,
that's-
Canada.
no, come on.
I would bang the shit out of Margaret Trudeau.
Okay, sure. I think a lot of people. I don't
Especially-
think
She's not that old.
Young Margaret
No,
Trudeau.
now she-
look,
Oh no, Margaret Trudeau. No,
Young Margaret
Justin Trudeau's dad.
Young Margaret Trudeau.
No.
His mom.
Margaret Trudeau's
Yeah.
mom.
Yo, but back in the day, Margaret Trudeau was a bad bitch.
No, we know that we had talked about this.
Yeah.
They're young.
Yo,
She's francophone.
Oh yeah, she's pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
yo, how about the Princess of Jordan? Princess of Jordan's is
The
fire.
best pussy I've ever had in my life was Jordanian. I dated this girl literally
she's pretty. Yeah.
I dated this. I dated this
Yeah,
Jordanian.
dude, look up the Princess of Jordan.
I dated this Jordanian girl for a couple of months, and it was perfect because she was moving back to Jordan at the end of the summer. So it was great. It was like no commitment, but like I was able to commit fully, right? Man, Middle Eastern girls, I'm telling you, they're the fucking best.
Oh wow, this girl's extraordinary.
Oh
You
my
see what I'm saying?
God,
Dude, you see what I'm saying?
Oh, dude, she looks like a princess.
Do you see what I'm saying?
She's a
The
model
Princess
shit.
of Jordan is one of the most
Wow, she's very
beautiful woman, one of the most beautiful women I've seen in my fucking
I think she might be is she one of the prettiest
woman you've ever seen.
prettiest maybe
Yeah, she's a very good looking woman.
No,
That's what I'm saying. The Jordanian princess is very good looking, very elegant, very, very different than the Japanese princess.
Let's put it on camera for everyone to see. Because I'm not gonna agree with that, but that's Jordanian princess.
The girl I banged works for the royal family. This is for the Jordanian family. Yeah.
Face track that shit, baby. Let's go. Now zoom out again. There we go. Come on, zoom camera. Let's go. Autofocus, baby. Let's go. Whoop. We got. Keep going. We're good.
Okay, yeah. So fucking I mean, there's lookers all around.
But anyhow, but no, Middle Eastern pussy definitely here. Like Middle Eastern women, for me, it's like every other girl. Middle Eastern pussy is like up here.
Wow.
Yeah. Because Middle Eastern women are basically like they're so classy, but they're also so freaky, bro. It's like the greatest.
Well, the repression from Islam is very strong.
I can't date them though because I'm black and their brothers will kill them and me.
Jesus Christ.
So like yeah.
That is actually correct.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
Shout out Aloe Vaporizers, 800 hits deep. It's been 2 months between 3 people and we still haven't finished it. It's crazy. Like this is like I wish I was a hit counter just to know how many hits we have left, but I don't even. I think we're maybe at maybe half.
So I started a funny story, right?
Crazy.
So I was at a gym. I was at I'm not gonna name where the gym is, right? And like I thought I saw Kate, but I'm not sure if I was.
No, you wouldn't have seen her.
Yeah.
Because she's only at gyms in Markham.
So I was like, am I just racist? Do I just think
Yeah,
I'm
you're probably just racist.
Oh, you Asian 90 pounds. I kept joking that like you can't be like an APG unless you weigh less than like 80 pounds. I was joking.
No, that's so
Like
low.
I was joking. I'm just like, yo, bitch, you're like, what do you like? 65 pounds? She's like, what do you like a pack? What do you like a 24 pack of Coca-Cola?
Oh my gosh.
Yo,
I'm gonna drink here in one go.
Funny story. Here's a funny story though. Okay,
I'm gonna bench with one
so
arm.
there's a bunch of very, very like fresh off the boat like Chinese people in my building, right?
Yeah.
And the reaction when they see me, at this point now it's hilarious because they're frightened by me. Like so, one time for example, like so the elevator is going down.
They see the BL.
Yo.
They see the BL.
So the elevator opens up, and there's like this chick in there, tiny like little Asian chick.
Yeah.
This is what she does. She elevator opens, she's me.
So funny.
Yo,
welcome to Canada,
It's
bitch.
so
there's been a couple of times where there's a bunch of there's
It's actually so funny.
No, this podcast is fucking hilarious.
there's one Asian chick, she plays the piano all the time. She's like down the hall from me. There's another one like down in the other hall, right? So like a couple of times I'll leave my condo, I'll come out, and I seen one time like the one chick, she opens the door, she'll see me there, she closed the door. And she'll go back inside.
That's so funny.
Like she's ready to leave the
Yeah,
country.
you know why? Because a lot of Chinese people are racist.
Yeah, she is. I'm just gonna wait for him to leave.
racist.
Like, I'm just gonna wait for him to leave first, and then I'll go out there, right?
Dude, oh man, it's so bad that racism against black people.
Yo, basically, I'm starting to accept my dominance though. At this point, yo,
They're just not used to it, bro.
They're so not used to it. They're like, what the fuck? Yo, you know what? The more I think about it, I don't think I should be